This episode of Beaten Down is brought to you by ABC Dump Roll-Off Dumpster Rental. ABC Dump is a locally owned and operated company. With 11, 15, 20, and 30 cubic yard dumpsters, they have the size for every occasion. Whether you're remodeling the house, cleaning out the garage, or doing commercial construction, they have the right size for your project. With upfront pricing and easy online ordering, ABC Dump makes ordering a dumpster as simple as possible. Give them a call or text at 682-803-8031 or order online at abcdump.net. That's abcdump.net. And we're back. What's up, guys?
Hello.
So today we got a couple special guests in studio with us. We got Seth Hobbs, very important man in the community.
Yeah, very important.
Oh, yeah.
Now,
Super important.
Another guy that was important, but he stepped off the what were you? City council.
Yeah, formerly important.
Formerly
Yeah,
important, still important. Brian Shoemaker's here with us.
He's important in the summertime because he has a good pool.
I think he's ahead of me just for that.
No, I've been there a few times, and it is a very nice pool.
I lost a pair of Oakleys there. For some reason, I asked Brian. I was like, "Did anybody find out?" And he says they didn't find them. But
We found all kinds of sunglasses, but not Oakleys.
I'm pretty sure.
He has a garage sale twice a week.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that.
And it's all sunglasses.
Sunglasses,
I'm pretty sure I saw one of those.
Koozies, yeah.
I think I saw one of the cats wearing them.
Some random shit gets left over
Yeah.
after a pool party. I can promise you that.
I have no doubt about that.
I've walked from my
Well,
house.
I'm sure, but now there's two people I've heard stories from, and they were both. I say. Let me take that back. One person I've heard two stories from, and they were both the exact same, just different dates, and that was Toe.
Mm-hmm.
Turns out Toe likes to drink in your pool
He does.
and
yeah.
does not always remember.
Especially when sangria is involved.
Yeah.
Yeah. More than
sangria
once
fan.
I've drove to that party and walked home. I'm close. I said, I don't know, chance it.
Yeah, you're just down the hill from him, right? I mean, up the hill from him.
We're up the hill. We're on the hill.
Okay, we
Excuse
know.
me. I'm even higher than both these guys.
Right
on the
now?
hill.
Just right now.
Yeah.
So we'll get into some good stuff about what's going on in the community.
Okay.
These two guys are in the know. Before we get to there, let's just kind of go through. Last week I went to the rodeo. Have y'all been to the rodeo yet? Fort Worth Stock Show and Rodeo?
No.
I went Monday night 2 weeks ago, a week and a half ago, something like that.
Was it like a special night, or was it just?
It was pink out. I don't know if it was
That makes a lot of sense.
specifically for like breast cancer or whatever, but it was you're supposed to wear pink, which my daughter did wear pink.
But
the
you
rest
didn't.
of us didn't.
Yes, he did.
So you
Don't
didn't-
let him lie.
So
to
you
you.
didn't support.
Yeah.
So you're
Dang
pro breast cancer then is what I'm hearing.
You got me. Yeah, you got me.
He's just like,
Damn.
I'd rather they did have
I can
it.
see why he stepped down.
I did wear cowboy boots. I mean, that's about as far as I could go.
Hey, so I went and I wore my cowboy hat and my boots, and I wore Ariat jeans.
That you probably bought from there.
And they were bought for me from there. So I was dudded up, looking like playing the part. You know, I am not a cowboy in any sense of the word.
He does dress up good like a cowboy.
I do.
Probably had
Nobody-
a vest on too.
I did have a vest on.
Nobody thought I was a cattle baron. I can promise you what I was wearing.
They probably,
that's-
thought Daniel was in like a mariachi band or something.
A boy band.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite times of year, though. I just love. So I go over there. We walk through all the little places they have where they sell all kinds of stuff, and we buy a bunch of needless stuff. My wife, she likes to go. Cavender's has a booth there, and so she buys the 3 for whatever price, and it's the stock show special.
Sure.
And I'm sure
Sure
it's
it's real-
probably less
So
expensive
last-
if you go straight to
Y'all
Cavender's.
might not listen, but last year when Daniel went, he got him some air out jeans,
I did. It was the same ones.
and you left your phone.
I left my phone once the rodeo. So we go do that, then we go to the rodeo at night, and I had a few beers, and yeah, well, right. And when we left, I get to the car, and I'm like, "Where is my phone?" Turns out it was at my seats, and it was a big ordeal. I thought I had to go poop, and I went to the bathroom. I thought maybe I left it there. It wasn't there, and they weren't going to let me go check my seats because they were already cleaning. And turns out it was right there on the floor under my seat. But not this time. Had it in my pocket when I walked
Had it
up.
right up his ass. The whole thing.
Did not drink near as much. as
Well,
I did last year.
I was going to say, you definitely had it going in because now, your ticket is on the phone. And
Right.
You can't even do a screenshot anymore. It's got some kind of little scanner looking thing going
Yep.
back and forth. Which is the same thing. I went to a Dallas Stars game a month or so ago. Same deal. So I guess that's the new way tickets are. I don't
You
know.
should
Yes.
have heard.
Yeah,
So,
you
like-
can't screenshot and send it to somebody for them.
Right.
Like even
Right.
parking passes. Like, why would I have somebody's parking pass with
So
me?
that brings up what I've been. So there's some old timers I work with, and boy, I can't even go to a goddamn football game and buy tickets there. I got to buy it online, and they say, "But use your phone," and he pulls out his flip phone. Like, God, they're. I was
Oh,
like,
here at the school.
like, all high schools have done
Right.
it.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Pretty
you
much
have to.
everybody's
You know what I
doing it
mean?
now.
And-
Which is fine other than the convenience fee. So whatever the ticket is, $6 or whatever for a high school football game. But then they also get you with $2 or $3 for
Convenience.
convenience of doing
if
it
you
on
go
the phone.
and if you
so-
go to Graham, you buy an $8 hamburger. That's a hockey puck. That was that's it. Our Ramburger is freaking $6.
yeah.
$7 during the playoffs, and
That's other people though.
that's a double freaking cheeseburger.
Yeah.
The Ramburger.
It's worth
and
it, though.
We went to Graham this year. $8.
For a single.
It was charred to shit.
You're
I
welcome.
Think, and I think it's only on. If I know Graham, that's the visitor's side. I'm sure they're.
Oh, they have two different burgers.
Yeah.
One for the home side and one for the visitor side.
I mean, Iowa State and their pink visitor locker room.
Yeah.
I think
Right,
that's
right.
That's like how you
Well,
gotta
we
do
had
it,
we got the pink jail cell. Here, is it still pink?
Excuse me?
Oh,
saw
Palo
it.
Pinto County. Yeah, a million years ago. I don't know if it still is, but
I think
Mineral Wells City, Joel, used to be
It's still-
pink, but
is
they
it
don't
not
really
pink anymore?
They don't hold anybody in Mineral Wells City, Joel,
Would-
anymore. I don't think. I think
is it
they were-
still pink?
I,
oh, is it
I haven't been in
Mineral
there in a
Wells,
while.
not Palo Pinto?
Yeah.
I mean, I hadn't been in the police station.
I mean,
in a
you've
while,
been
but-
you've been there.
But when I was
I
on
don't
city
remember.
council, and I did a tour of the facilities because we were looking at updating police and fire department and all that. That's the last time I went in there, but it was definitely pink
Yeah.
then. So I mean,
when I was in the leadership,
18.
leadership thing, and
Somebody let you on leadership?
oh yeah,
Oof.
I'll come.
Hey,
and
all three
Shameless
of
plug,
us,
by the
so-
way. We need
Yeah,
more
not
people
me.
for leadership,
We're
so
like,
sign up now.
yeah, I think I was 24. We did the crazy sign. You're
Oh,
welcome.
Oh, nice.
But we did the tour,
So-
and it was still pink then.
it's a sign up thing, not a hand pick thing?
Well,
So we have like nominations, but if you call and you want to do it, you can do it.
How much work is involved?
It's
no, it's easy. If I did it,
once a month.
yeah.
On a Thursday.
It's one.
normally.
Yeah.
It's the last Thursday of every month.
Oh, I'm always busy that day.
Well, actually not for a full year. It's what 10 months.
It's
No, I mean-
March. The biggest one that throws most people off is in March they'll do an overnight, bonding ropes course, whatever you want to call it, and that's
Camp Grady.
Friday night. Yeah, Camp Grady
Oh, okay.
Springs. Friday night till Saturday, probably at 3-4 o'clock in the afternoon, and that's where my kid's playing softball on Friday night
Yeah,
or
no, we-
whatever.
we had fun doing it. Like I'm
But yeah,
born-
March to November.
Yeah, I'm
Oh, that's
born
not
and
bad.
raised in this town. Well, I found out about shit about this town that I didn't know, and
Yeah.
I'm like, I didn't know that. And
So you need volunteers? How do they sign up?
No, not volunteers, just more. So
People that wanna
the
take the leadership thing.
optimal class size is in the 20s,
Mm-hmm.
and I think we're in between 10 and 15 right now, and we'll start end of February,
Yeah.
and so we need a couple more.
no,
So.
our work always sends somebody.
Yeah, we've got at least one from Genesis. I
Yeah,
know.
we always send one person, and they've been trying to get me to do it for years, and I was like, I know. I was like, but then I was like, I get off every Thursday, paid because the work
Sure.
sent me,
Yeah.
and then
Oh, so it's during the day.
yeah,
Correct. So
Oh,
like,
okay.
like 8 o'clock in the morning till 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Oh, it's like a full day's work.
It's a full day, and
Okay.
so imagine a group of 20 people, and then at that retreat, you're going to break them up into smaller groups, and then those groups will teach basically something about the community from March until November. So
Oh, okay.
education, tourism,
Business.
city, county government,
Yeah.
small business, history.
yeah. You pretty much pair up with somebody, and you're okay. You have this, so you got education. So you need to set. You got to set it all up yourself with your partner.
And that's the really cool thing about ours versus a lot of other communities do a leadership program, but theirs are all based on a curriculum. Ours is based more on like an outline or a format, but then every year the tourism or the history or the education is going to be a little bit different because those people that set it up have A, B, or C contacts as opposed to the last year's or whatever.
Yeah.
And so it's a very cool view of the county and the city, but then from a little bit different perspective every time, and then obviously driven by different groups of people. And so to me it's very, very neat because you learn a ton, like he said, that you never knew, no matter how long you lived here, a lot that you never knew because you just never, like industry out at Parker or
AMR.
AMR, different places like that if you don't work there, you don't go there, right?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
To be able to get like a full tour of all the different things that they do there, it's wild
To see what's happening in your own community.
Yeah. And the
Wow.
number of people that work there at different places like that.
Yeah.
And then the one that blew me away was nonprofits. There's a ton of need in our community that has a very low socioeconomic base in general.
Yeah.
But at the same time, all the different people that are trying to help all those folks and seeing how hard they work and how much, blood, sweat, and tears they put into that stuff. This current class was the last one I was in. Focused what we did, which was volunteer our time for nonprofits and for community service and stuff. So to me it's really, really neat, and it's very much class driven, so you do it by the group of people that you're with, and in the end you end up with between 10 and 25 people that you then have networking contacts with forever.
So does the class decide on the class project? Because there was one that did welcome sign, one that did the crazy sign.
Yeah, you decide. You kind of get together at the beginning, and you get together as a group, and you're like, all right, what do we want to do?
What do we want to accomplish?
And you always want to. What less? Everybody
wants to top the one before.
Yeah. What did last year's do? Right? And they're
we're
like,
going to do one better.
So they were like, the class for us did the welcome sign.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't remember. I'll take credit for it. I thought of it.
Of course you did.
But the crazy sign that used to go over 180
Yeah.
it used to be over there by the baker. We were like, man, that'd be cool to have. And we never thought we'd be able to get it back over 180 because.
Yeah, I mean, you had to do a text dot. And all kinds of
Brian
stuff.
was involved with that a lot.
So easy.
So we thought it would go like on one of the side roads by the baker because we never thought we'd get it over 180, but they were actually pretty cool and said if you meet all the requirements,
So there was like a certain height that had to be.
wind, all that stuff.
That had to be cheap.
That was the thing, though. We're gonna do better than the next team, but then you got to go out and raise all that money.
Jesus.
But it does get you really involved in a lot of stuff. I had fun with it.
Yeah, the dog park is a leadership class project.
Yeah.
Let's Grow Crazy, so the community gardens, that's one. Welcome sign.
All those.
So what class is it right now?
So we just got done with 29. Okay. It's about to be 30.
So I was in leadership 13, so like 2006 or somewhere around there. And we didn't do the project then.
Gross.
But we kind of came up with the idea that we wanted to do something. And the year we did it, we had toured the Dunbar Neighborhood Council and all that kind of stuff. And of course, it's no longer there, but it was in bad shape. And so we as a group said, hey, we ought to get together and maybe, go paint or, do some inside stuff, which then it never came to fruition. And about 6 months later, it burned down anyway. But anyway, and I think after that, like a year or two, that's when they kind of really started coming up with the idea of, we have this group of, people that are active in the community and all that. Let's come up with something and, add back to the city.
And
that's awesome.
The main goal too is to grow your next group of leaders, right? So, unfortunately,
not you.
What I mean by that is, so there's only so many folks that are going to sign up to take darts every week when they go to the city council meeting or serve on the chamber board or whatever, right? And so the more you grow that community, the idea is the more it makes it easier on everybody to be able to participate in that, and you don't have to serve on 17 of them because you're a person who might have a little wealth or time or whatever. You can make a more influential group out of out of more people. So that's the general concept.
It 100% led me into volunteering and stuff. So after I did leadership in Mineral Wells, the next year I got asked to be on the Chamber of Commerce Board of Directors, and that was like my first kind of thing to really volunteer for or be a part of. And so I served on that for, I guess, 5 years. And the last year there I was Chamber of Commerce chairman of the board or whatever. And then that led me to doing Mineral Wells, I guess, the Board of Adjustment or something like that. So I was on that for a year or two. But anyway, that all stemmed from leadership Mineral Wells. Had I not done that, I probably would have never known where to sign up to be on a board or anything like that. So, I mean, I thought it was a cool experience, and made some friends that I didn't know in that class. And of course, you get to top it off. You go to Austin, and so you get to tour the Capitol and, meet your reps and all that kind of stuff. And of course, everybody goes out and parties, the night before, and so you kind of bond in that way. So I think it's really cool.
Yeah.
deal.
Wow.
Now, of course, it does cost some money. That's why
A lot of
Genesis like that
companies would
sponsor
sponsor
somebody.
Yeah.
Right.
When I did it, I mean, at the time I was just Chicken Express was my deal, so I just did a write-off out of my account to be in it. But what's it? Probably $400-$500
It
now?
was 500. We actually went up to 750. But
Inflation.
yeah, COVID.
Thanks, China.
Yeah. But really, the reason why we did that was because we put the pencil to paper and we just added up the hours that it involves, and it ended up being like at $500 for basically what amounts to 3/4 of a year. It was like $450 an hour, and I was like, gosh dang, I can't get my neighbor to mow my yard for 5 times that anymore.
Oh, yeah.
And so we kind of went up on it a little bit, and it's been fairly well received, and I'm sure there's probably 1 or 2 people that said, oh, I can't do it for that. But at the same time, there's also leadership type things that happen around the country, not only through chambers of commerce, but EDCs and things like that. And those things range up into the tens of thousands of bucks because they're going to other communities. So like I saw one this last year at one of these like professional development things I went to, and it's a chamber group, but they're like, it's not really a chamber, they're like home builders. Okay, and it's all these influential people in the Charlotte, North Carolina area, and they went to Salt Lake City with this group of folks that flew on a plane because Salt Lake had this very neat idea about how to do EDC / development / whatever, right? So that was their whole class, was all this planning and then going back and implementing what this other city did, and it was like, I don't know, $15,000-$20,000 a person to be involved in that. So of course, obviously, you're talking about a very unique clientele, but those same people are seeing that as a benefit to them. If I can implement these things that are happening in this community that I know is going to get me 2,000 more rooftops for my company, well, then obviously the ROI is there for them.
Right. Jeez.
Yeah, it was a good time.
There's a lot of thought going into all that, right? So, I mean, we're here, so let's just go ahead. Mineral Wells development, we want to bring tourism in.
Sure.
We want to bring not just tourism, but we want to bring people in, people that want to live and be a part of this community. We want, we want to grow and to be a destination place eventually, and not that we're not right now, but and that's a big part of it. And you're a huge part of that, Seth, because you're president.
Yes.
You're president of the Chamber of Commerce.
Yes.
So you play a huge part in that. And Mineral Wells downtown area, the revitalization, I mean, it is just booming downtown. I mean, it used to be a long time ago on a Friday, Saturday, Thursday night, there was nothing going on downtown.
No.
But that's because there was nothing there.
Right.
There was nothing open.
Oh, yeah, all the businesses were just closed.
Closed storage. I mean,
Yeah, I
thing
mean,
to
yeah,
do-
some of them were used as just storage.
The only thing to do downtown was break in the baker.
Break into the baker.
That's pretty
That's
much
right.
it. Don't do that now. You'll
No,
get caught.
no.
Yeah,
You'll
there's
get caught
cameras
for
all over the place.
Just don't do it.
cameras, and Mark gets a notification anytime there's movement in there, so it pops up on his phone, and
He would actually.
he's more than happy to go down
Yeah,
there.
he would
and, like, meet
actually
somebody.
encourage you to go down.
Yeah,
there
back in our day, they didn't care.
Well, just because there was nothing there.
Because but there was nothing like when we were in high school. There was nothing downtown worth nothing open.
And so talking, growing up, and I don't know, maybe your parents are the same and yours. My dad was always like, dude, one of these days somebody's going to redo the baker and this whole place is going to be booming again, like back in the heyday and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, yeah, okay. I'm young. I'm just like, maybe, whatever. We'll see. Hopefully one day. And And while the start of the Baker may have been the snowball effect to cause everything else, but there's just been so much going on downtown. New businesses, restaurants, places to eat, places to hang out. I mean, what else is? I mean, y'all brought new festivals to town. So let's get into.
Go ahead. Well, I was going to say one of the main things right now with the downtown thing, one of the most important things to me is that the Crazy Water Hotel got revitalized.
Right.
Because, that venue, I mean, of course, there's shops and all that in there too, but just meetings and stuff that can go, a place for meetings, a place to have wedding receptions and all that. I mean,
Christmas parties.
Before that we had the Country Club and, Clark Gardens has space and, a few other spaces, but man, that building is so important. I mean, that's such a hub. And then you, like for Mary Wells now, if weather's bad, you have an indoor place to still have events. I mean,
right.
That being revitalized to me, and if the Baker gets up and going, having those two, it's just, man, that's I think the most important thing. It's huge. And also, obviously, you have a place where visitors can stay downtown, walk to Pastafina, walk to Coffee and Cocktails, shop, at the shops down there. It's just, man, it's amazing too. And that hotel to me is just so nice. Like when you go in the rooms, when you, the whole lobby, everything to me just looks awesome in there.
Well, Second Bar in there has great food. I've been there a few too many times, and just great food every time I go there.
Oh, and a good happy hour too. That 2 to 5.
And,
right.
And Rick House is.
Yeah, Rick House is right there.
Yeah.
But go ahead. Sorry, Seth.
I was going to say the retailers in there specifically, all very cool. And then the retailers downtown, there's a huge part of it becomes a travel shopping destination where it also benefits the locals. Mm-hmm. And what I mean by that is if I want to go buy Lululemon pants, I don't have to drive to Fort Worth. I have a pair. I didn't buy them. My daughter bought it for me. But my point is like you can go downtown Mineral Wells, a population of 17,000 people, 45 minutes from an urban population, 20 minutes from a semi-urban population, and you don't have to drive anywhere to do something. Now, can you do everything here? No, not yet.
Yeah.
But also, people that live here, they don't want everything. They don't want because with everything comes
everything.
Total expense.
But they want to keep it the small town vibe.
Exactly,
too,
and that's really the metamorphosis that we hope to get to is, in the end, the expansion of DFW is happening. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
It's not going to change, and west is the direction where that's happening. If it happens down I-20. And this is myself, Nate, with EDC, now community development director, Main Street. Everybody kind of agrees that probably like your Santos of the world, Straughns of the world,
right?
Those are going to be big communities in the future. And then, that blows people's mind when you talk about a 6-man school that'll be a 3A school in 25 years, and they're like, no way. And
maybe even sooner.
Yes, that is 100% a guarantee.
Right.
If you're a stock market bettor, like that is going to happen. Like you can't stop it.
All you got to do is go to Weatherford and see what's happening there.
Exactly.
Just go to Brock, which is right outside of Weatherford. That's already happened. They're 4A now.
Right. And there's some limitations on things, natural resources, water, things like that obviously are all hot topics.
Right.
But at the same time, can you just off of I-20 become a developed community because everybody wants to move? It's the next outside circle. Mm-hmm. Property values are 30 or 40% less than what they might be just to the east, but also keep your small town feel. And that's where our community, I feel, has done a fantastic job, from previous city managers to the mayor to the city council to Hawes Hill and Dave Hawes and those guys that worked with the comp plan and all those things to develop a plan that we follow. And now that we have that plan in place, the comp plan, the economic development plan, the airport plan is almost done. Airport comp plan, is almost done. Or as far as I think it's done, but not approved or whatever.
Right.
So the idea that, now we have this roadmap to follow, and it will keep our community in a way where it can grow and be beautiful, but also keep that downtown feel, also keep the small town feel to where it's the perfect size and the perfect mix of all of those things. That's really in the end where everybody's focus is based. And there's some very, very high dollar things that every single day cross my desk, cross Nate's desk when it comes to economic development, things like data centers.
Yeah.
And so those are super high dollar things for the city. If you rewind 15 or 20 years ago and somebody said, yeah, we can bring 2 buildings that cover a 15-acre span each that will generate what amounts to a billion, billion dollar tax revenue back to the city. So whatever your tax percentage is off of $1 billion,
Right.
that just blows people's minds in a community like this. That is a real thing, and we have to kind of hold our hand out and say, we can't put it here because this is going to be single family housing.
Right.
And so those kinds of things, that's what all that stuff is built for. And so navigating that, yes, it is difficult, but at the same time, it's also really cool because you get to really be the point of the spear when it comes to the development and doing it the right way. And all the things that people hate, you can drive from El Paso to Shreveport on I-20.
Right.
And the one place I guarantee you're going to slow down is Weatherford.
Yeah.
Like you're going to
you
come
have
to
to.
a freaking stop.
No matter what time of day.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
matter.
Doesn't matter. And so, that is the roadmap for us to follow when it comes to, all right, what's the right way to develop this where we know our arteries in and out, we know our population, points and where we put them, and the commercial development and where we put them.
Right.
It's not just ad hoc and we throw it against the wall and see what sticks.
And hope it does, yeah.
Yeah, and the first guy that comes in and says, we'll bring X amount of jobs to you. Cool, yeah, we'll give you this tax abatement or whatever. Now we have this really well thought out plan ahead of time to where, yeah, we'll give it to you, but what are you going to give us in return, and where are we going to put you to make it work for our community to where the soul of Mineral Wells stays what it is, and then we get all those really cool ass things along with it. And so I think that's the mission.
People that come to you like that, is it just like, do they come to you and say, we want to put it here, or do they say, we want 15 acres? Where do you have
some of both?
Yeah,
it all depends.
Like my thought would be Fort Walters Industrial Complex,
Right.
somewhere out there. But that isn't always the answer.
No, it isn't.
Because there's not. I mean, there's only so much room out there. You can't just bring everything in.
So the Fort Walters area is one of our 4 districts that we've identified in the comp plan as areas that we want developed for industrial, whether it be industrial or light industrial. But the cool thing is, if you've ever been to Austin, especially kind of on the west side, if you kind of squint your eyes and look, there's lots of areas that look a lot like what that area out there looks like, with some cool topography and stuff like that. So it's not just let's build some industrial manufacturing out here. We can do some really cool campus-centered things where people work and live in the same place. All those things are possible. And we have an airport, which is by far the biggest asset that we have in Mineral Wells.
Right.
But it's also in Parker County for the most part.
Right.
And so that's another cool thing, is that we can add working with Parker County, which is a kind of, according to what everybody I work with, kind of a new thing. Before, Weatherford and Parker County were the growing place, and Mineral Wells was the redheaded stepchild that got pushed around the edge. Well, they're figuring out now that they don't have any more available places, or their available places are leaning up, or their available places don't have water or whatever, right? And so now Mineral Wells becomes very attractive. Well, believe it or not, now they're back at the table wanting to work with us.
Yeah.
And so anything that's anywhere out there close to the airport or close to Fort Walters now becomes an area where, if an industrial production facility wants to come in there, well, now they have the ability to land a 737
Right.
at that airport, or private jet. And private jet traffic has been, up. I don't know what the percentage is. You have to ask Haley at the airport, but it's ridiculous, and you might run into Tom Hanks or Billy Bob or whoever out there too. And
Is that real?
Yeah, no, 100%.
Yeah, Tom
Billy
Hanks
Bob
has
was
been out there.
Billy Bob was staying at the Crazy Water during the summer when he was filming Landman.
Yeah.
Hey, Blake, I mean, you work out at the airport basically, or Genesis out there. Over the last, 5-6 years, I mean, does it seem busier to you, just, or what you see going on out there?
Yeah, I mean, there's some more air traffic going and stuff. Where I'm at, I don't deal with the airport a lot. Like so we have a hangar on the airport.
But you see the stuff going on over there.
Oh yeah, like you can tell stuff's picking up. But yeah, what he's saying, like, I remember like Jewel when she was married to
Tough Heaterman?
yeah
Or Tom
Murray.
I'm sorry, Ty Murray.
Tom Murray.
Sorry.
When her private jet would land. Like,
Yeah.
He's an
people would be
Ariat
like,
guy.
Yeah.
people would be like,
We all know.
People like there's Jewel landing. You know, that would like blow your mind.
Just because it says Jewel right across
No,
her
but
plane.
There
This
wasn't
is Jewel's
There wasn't a
plane.
lot of big private jets landing on the airport,
Yeah.
right? Even
Yeah.
though, and that was a big deal. But now it's kind of like it happens so much.
Right.
So you've brought what's the concert right before Crazy Water?
Are you talking about?
it's a Crazy Water.
Crazy Water,
Yes.
kickoff concert.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So, but that's not. I mean, that's been going on for a while, right?
I think this last year was the 4th year, maybe.
Fourth year.
Oh, that's okay.
A true blue concert
and it was
separate
big,
from.
man.
yeah.
We went to
Yeah, no, we went to it.
I was
Kevin
like,
Fowler the first year, Great Divide the second year, William Clark Green, Josh Abbott.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So
We
So
went-
4 of them. Okay, that's awesome. But
Yeah.
was there another little concert going on before?
they used to do like a
At the
street dance thing, like
Amphitheater or something?
yeah, they did that a year or two before they started the well, and actually the first year Kevin Fowler's on a Friday night. The next year it switched to a Thursday night, basically to kind of not conflict with the Friday night football game.
Right.
Was the idea, and also it kind of gave the volunteers for the concert a day between then getting ready for the Saturday festival.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they did something out there kind of behind Fannin at the amphitheater, like an acoustic type
Yeah.
show, and then they do the crazy car run. But I didn't go to it, so I don't remember all the details. But they did have that.
But that's becoming like every year. I assume it's gotten bigger and bigger.
Oh, it has.
So I've only been to one. And that was this last
and
year,
it was big.
and it was. I mean, it was a lot of people.
I
there.
was shocked.
It was awesome.
When I was looking around, I was like, man, there's a lot. Of
No, we had
It's capped at 1,300.
Yeah, 1,400 people, and that was sold out.
So you've created a new festival, Flying Pig,
Correct.
right? And that was part of the chamber,
Yeah,
or was
so
that just?
Main Street is the driver of it, but it's basically a Main Street and chamber combo.
So that's
whatever
it.
you want to call
That's in July.
June.
June.
So Father's Day weekend. It'll
Yeah.
be June 13th, 14th, or 12th, 13th, whatever the Friday, Saturday is of Father's Day weekend
And then
this year.
and then Crazy Water
And it helps people remember Father's Day.
helps people remember
There you
Father's
go.
Day, right?
That's
Right.
important.
One thing that I wish would come back, and I don't know that it ever will, but when I was growing up, there was always the air show. And I don't know if that's anything that could happen, would happen, whatever, because it's a busier airport now.
Right.
So I don't know if it could happen.
Yeah, and same. Whenever I was a kid, I remember going out there several years, and I thought it was awesome, because you'd see all the planes flipping around and all
Right.
that stuff. I don't know who put that on back in the day, or what organization.
Yeah.
If it was a city thing, or if there was a group that got together and put it on. But yeah, I think that'd be cool to bring back too, because man, I remember it being crowded out there with
Oh, yeah.
people.
So my mom still lives in the same place, but I grew up literally on Cass Holland, which is on the south side of the airport. And when the air show happened, we just sat in our front yard and watched it all, because I guess all the spectating was on the north side, but all the action would happen like right there above us, like kind of right where we were. And it was awesome to see. And they just shut off their engines and do a nosedive and then cut them back on, and just awesome to watch. I never actually went to the, I guess, festival part of it, because I could just sit in my front yard and watch everything. But that was always just something that I loved, and then all of a sudden it stopped and never came back. I don't know if that's anything that could happen, but
I know they've done it out at Breckenridge.
Yeah, a couple
Mhm.
years ago
Several
for
years.
sure. I don't know if
Yeah,
that's
I
still
don't-
going on or
I
not.
don't know why because
it may have just been the organization that was putting it on.
Right.
our company used to be pretty involved in that, but I don't know. I can't tell you because it stopped like.
Oh, I mean, it was before
Late.
I was even in high school. Yeah.
I mean, I think it stopped like mid to late '90s is when it stopped doing it.
That
I
sounds
don't-
about right.
And I don't know why it did.
We also have several groups that are looking at doing things out of the airport too, because of the capabilities of the airport, and then being able to do things that. So, for instance, we talked about Billy Bob and Paramount and those filming operations. Well, there's several, specifically one company that does a ton of their filming, especially aerial filming, that has approached us about stuff like that out there as well, and being a real life partner, and having like a hangar and stuff like that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because that it makes too much sense if you're going to use in Palo Pinto County and Points West are unbelievable for filming, right? And
Yeah, the hill
there's
country's
not that many places in the state of Texas where you can look out and film a really cool topography and not get a ton of buildings or today, to quote today in your frame. And Palo Pinto County is still kind of on the edge of that where you can do that. And so being able to incorporate that into, filming something that's supposed to take place 100 years ago, there's only so many places. And if you go too much further, well, now it's just flat.
Yeah. And so you get past Palo Pinto, and anybody's ever drove to Breckenridge. Even Breckenridge, like, you hit the spot and you're like,
there it is. You can see forever.
But yeah, the hill country out there is not a lot of people, and it's still pretty enough that you can do stuff. I mean, I guess the first thing I remember, like, movie-wise was, what was it, Prison Break.
It's not a movie, but yeah, go ahead.
TV show.
TV show,
but they did something.
He's rolling.
Yeah, of course.
No, but they did something
downtown, right?
Yeah, they did something downtown, and then they did something in the hills, like when he was breaking out and all that stuff. And
and I couldn't believe, what show was that, the 1893 or whatever it is, that they filmed in Granbury, because that square is so busy, but they shut it down to film whatever they filmed.
They filmed a lot of stuff in Stephenville too.
Yeah, some in Stephenville.
Yeah, and Strawn, they basically basically built that back up for Bass Reeves, or
I think Bass Reeves. I mean, it's one of those.
Yeah, they're around the Brazos River a lot too.
Yeah,
it's so much opportunity for stuff like that, especially in this area.
Sure,
and that's all.
And that circles back to, okay, so what are we doing with our development?
Right?
Are we letting Best Buy, come back in and build a big box store that now blocks that view, because so that gets you the idea of what the comp plan is all about, and what the city of Mineral Wells is committed to doing is sort of keeping as much of that real nostalgic Western Texas downtown / you can see forever, but also I mean, how many counties have in June, July, somewhere in there, 3 state parks?
Right.
We have 1, and that's Palo Pinto County.
Mm-hmm.
When Palo Pinto Mountains opens, we'll be the only county in the state of Texas with 3 state parks.
Right.
And so, all of those things come together to where you want to make it a really, really attractive place for people not only to come visit, but also to move. Mm-hmm. Because in the end, you're everybody on Facebook says, I really want to see a Wendy's, or I really want to see a Chipotle, and yeah, that's great. But in the end, you're adding your $15 an hour jobs. That's not how you develop an economy. How you develop an economy is you add a $100,000 a year job.
Right.
That person can afford a house, and now you're.
Well, let me tell you what they don't want to see. They don't want to see another burger place. They don't want to see another chicken place. Sure. They don't want to see another, taco place.
Dude, I cringe.
I want to see another bank.
Anytime I start seeing dirt moved, I cringe, because I know there's going to be a Facebook post saying, what's going on here? And then it's just 400 comments of what they don't want or what they want. But I cringe. I just have to get out of there.
I'll give you a dirt moving like late breaking story for you.
Okay.
Hats off to all the folks that have made this happen. And this is, a lot of people will say when.
So is this like news, like breaking news?
Like they have a shovel right now while we're talking.
Let's go.
Ooh. Here we go. This is the break we've been looking for.
Yeah.
The papers will be signed on February the 12th and February the 13th. Dirt will move for the Wells housing edition.
Oh, on Garrett Morris.
Yes.
Awesome.
Now, I went to the groundbreaking of that like
4 years ago.
Right, exactly. And the only thing you can remember about that is there was a dead pig in the road, like where you pulled into.
Well, they had Desperados tacos there too. It's pretty good.
I'm all about some Desperados.
Awesome.
To get Desperados down here as well.
Yeah, it's going.
But so that's going to happen.
Okay.
So now we get to hear where's the water coming from?
Yeah.
Exactly. And all the things that you want to throw darts at at that community, or at any progress or development, right?
But
that's going to happen. And so, as much as you want to say, oh, well, it may never happen, or I'll believe it when pigs fly, or whatever, but that really is this month happening.
Dude, that's awesome.
And so that's the next step. And it's been a long time in the works, and a long time in progress. And that's the other thing that's hard for people to understand is, you throw out an idea, you throw out a concept, you build it into a plan that makes a lot of sense, and then you have to revamp that plan because interest rates go from 2% to 8%.
Right.
Well, then you can't build the same effing house,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Yeah,
things have to
exactly.
change. And so people with conceptual, properties that move above your knuckle dragger type folks
Right.
understand that, but not everybody understands that, and of course, folks on social media don't. But at the same time, it's happening, and it's real, and when dirt starts moving and houses start getting built, and the chicken and the egg thing about can we get businesses here? Well, can we get jobs here? Well, what do we have to do? We got to have housing. We got to have workforce.
Right.
Well, we got to have jobs to have workforce. We got to have jobs to have housing. Well, certain people have stepped out on the edge of that plank and said, "Eff it, we're going to build a house, and we're gonna make it available."
And now that's no longer a part of the equation.
Exactly. And now it's a real simple equation, and now it's real simple to bring people in.
Right.
And kudos go out to all those folks. I'm not going to name everybody that's involved because it's too long of a list. But at the same time, everybody that's involved in making those things happen deserves the biggest pat on the back. And also too, like it's a group effort to where some people that get vilified for owning a lot of stuff,
yes,
right, and championing development. Everybody kind of wants to look at the other view of it as, oh well, they're in it for their own good. But then those same people will very often move people that are interested in moving mineral wells. They'll move them to something that's not their property. This might fit you better.
Right.
And when you see that, and not everybody gets to see that, but when you see that first place, you're like, oh shit. Like this guy's actually looking out for, or this person is actually looking out for the betterment of our community.
Yeah, and not himself.
And trying to make money too, right? Like everybody's trying to make money, but
yeah.
The same people, everybody's going to always bitch, and social media makes it
God, it's so terrible.
way easier to bitch, right? Because you're not really talking to anybody.
It's the terrible, reality TV show that it is just mind-numbing to watch.
That's why I just stay away from
But
it.
that's what Facebook
Yeah.
discussion pages are.
God.
All those pages, uncensored and censored and da da da. But every one of them, they're just. It's like, you can't just see what happens. It's if a plan comes out or an idea or a thought comes out, it's immediately everybody's like terrible, 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 blah blah blah.
And most of the ones that are bitching are half of them. They don't even fucking live here.
Well, that's a big part of it too.
And being a former business owner, like I said,
Humble brag.
I've sold my Chicken Express. So but it does bother me that when somebody's going to open a business, whatever it is, I don't care if it's a seventh pizza place in town, whatever it is, somebody is putting possibly their life savings into opening that.
Right.
And so, whatever their passion is, they've decided to open this coffee shop or whatever. And yet they're going to take it in the shorts before they even get open by somebody saying, we don't need that. It just bothers me because I feel bad that I know those people are reading that like, man, this has been my life's dream to open whatever, this clothing store or whatever. And here it is, people telling me like, no, we don't need that. You should put a skating rink in or whatever.
Well, yeah, skating rink is a huge one apparently that everybody wants. There was a lady, and I don't know her name, so I obviously won't say it because I don't know it. But she was like looking for anonymously at first, who owns this property? I guess it was for lease, rent, sell, whatever it was. And then all of a sudden they found out who it was. And so then she posted with her name. She's like, proud to announce that I'll be opening a ladies bookstore or something, whatever it is.
I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah. And at first it's like, congratulations, good luck, blah, blah, blah. And then it's like, what do we need that for? Right. Why just the ladies? Why not me? And I'm just like, shut up. Just let her, whoever it is, let her do her thing. Yeah. Who gives a crap?
If it's not for you, don't
go.
Right.
It's
100% don't go. But it's just, you'll always have that. So is there anything you can tell us that's currently in the works? Is there anything you can tell us looking forward?
The wells is the biggest thing, obviously. And then, the baker is moving forward. And it really is like literally on the precipice of moving from 30 or 40 workers a day to 100, 200, 300.
Wow.
Yeah. Like literally, it'll happen overnight somewhere in the next 6 months.
So I'm assuming y'all both have toured that and seen kind of the progress going on?
It's probably been, I don't know, 4 or 5 months maybe since I've been in. But, it completely from 2018 or so, the first time I'd really been in it since I was a kid or whatever, and it's before the company that bought it. They actually bought it in 2020, but it was just you walked on 6 inches of trash. It's just the whole 13 floors was nothing but just penis drawings on the wall and
What are we talking about?
beer cans or whatever.
You were there.
Baker.
And so obviously,
I was drawing that one.
the first thing was to clean all that out, which they did.
Yeah.
Then they've done basically all the demos. So they've knocked out, back then rooms were small, so they're knocking out walls to make basically 2 rooms one, that kind of thing. They've basically done all that. They've, walls have kind of been painted. They've obviously redone all the windows. It's sealed up now.
One of the biggest things so A and B. A is the windows. So there are 997 windows in the Baker Hotel.
Yeah.
The crazy thing about that is because it's a historical renovation project, and therefore that's a lot of how their funding is backed by the federal government and stuff like that. They took every single one of those things out, redid it, and put it back in, and made it a new window out of basically 100-year-old window.
Yeah.
That in and of itself is a project that everybody at this table and everybody that we know would be like, hell no, I'm not doing that.
I'm not worried about a new window.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And so that by itself is amazing to me.
Right.
The biggest thing to me when I walk in there is the smell.
Yeah.
And I mean, everybody knows that has been in a building that's more than 50 years old or more than 10 or 15 years abandoned. It smells like bat shit. It smells like dirt and must and mold and old. And in the last year and a half, 2 years that I've been in there a dozen, 20 times or whatever with different groups, it doesn't smell like that anymore.
Wow.
And that is very cool. The biggest thing too, project that they've done is all of their conduit that they had originally that ran electrical lines and all that kind of stuff has been rewired, but not with wire, with string. And I could be misspeaking, maybe Mark and them are doing wire today.
Yeah.
But it has string for them to run power and internet and all that kind of stuff to all those rooms through the whole building. But they're using the existing conduit so that it will look just like it did 100 years ago. And that to me is fantastic.
And they're redoing. They're reusing the door handles
as much as they can.
Everything they can, right?
Obviously, a lot of stuff while it was abandoned, either got stolen or broken.
Yeah, a
or
lot
whatever.
of stuff got stolen from them.
But they have storage rooms where everything's labeled from the room it came from, and whatever didn't or survived, I guess, the abandonment. They're going to reuse, and it's cool. When was the last time you were in there?
Dude, it was probably 99.
Same with you, Blake?
We went through there on the leadership.
Okay, so you've been through.
They had just
within
cleaned
last
it all
month.
out.
Okay.
And it was
Well, man, we
pretty
need to get y'all a tour or whatever. Get
I
Mark to take y'all in.
bought
'cause it's
one
really cool.
in an auction. I haven't used it yet.
Okay.
There you go.
Idiot.
So
Idiot.
there we go.
Daniel,
We'll
you
take-
know somebody.
Yeah,
I
take
know.
Daniel with you.
Well, I mean, I know somebody, and I know 2 people right here. Let's just put Mark on speakerphone right now. We'll get him.
We'll give them to
So-
say yes.
Ancillary story to Baker Hotel. Josh Abbott Band was here for Crazy Water Festival concert, and one of my jobs was to drive those guys, and they have quite the entourage besides just them. Drive them back and forth from the hotel to the various things that they did. So I did that like all day, and they were super cool. It was not hard work. I had to eat at the second bar, so it was super tough on me.
sucks.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But one of the things we did was Mark took them all on a tour. Well, those guys that play in the band, 3/4 of those guys are, college students that played music and became professionals, but they still participate in the band. One of them is a GC and does contracting work and builds houses and stuff like that. And so he's fairly well educated when it comes to how construction projects work. He is absolutely blown away by Mark and all of those guys' ability to label everything. And if you go in there, like there's a room with 500 doors in there, and they all say exactly where they go and which side of the door they hang on, and all those different things. Amazing. And he's blown away by all of the intricate details that take into account all the work that they did, I won't say tearing it down, but dismantling it to be able to make it back again, new as it can.
And the other thing people don't understand. So like initially there was like, it'll be done in 2022 or whatever.
Sure.
And then the sign was changed to 2023 or whatever the year was.
Yeah.
And now here we are in 2025. But they don't understand that when you start getting into it, you run into things that are going to start delaying.
And plus shit happened like
Yeah.
COVID.
And then obviously the prices of everything went skyrocket.
I think COVID did kind of throw,
Yeah,
because tourism kind of got put on hold with COVID. But also, I mean, the financial stack to make this happen, and it's been explained to me numerous times, but it's so complicated. I mean, so the city is throwing in on the backside. That will be the last money in.
Yeah.
The vote, and I guess
Are you kidding me?
20
Don't put that out.
Hey, you're the one that edits this.
the vote in 2014, citizens overwhelmingly voted to do that little tax part that goes in. So I think it's about $250,000 a year basically goes into that. But $4 million is what the city is committed to. But again, the city doesn't give that money until the doors are basically opening up. Or they get a certificate of occupancy.
Right.
So it's not, the city's not going to give them that money and then be like, oh, they never opened. I mean, it's committed before the city gives money. But so the city has some money that, goes toward the project. Obviously the investors have put money in. My understanding is what the holdup right now is they're waiting on one last piece of financing, and supposedly it's close to being secured.
It's done. Really, they're done with the financing part. At this point, there are so many different
You don't even know.
groups that have so many different lawyers that all have to sign off on many different things, and then you compound that with. We started in 2019. Well, now it's 2024. So certain things have to be redone.
Right.
So bids,
Right.
plans.
Yeah,
things
Mark
like
obviously has to update.
Right.
What the cost was 5 years ago as to what it is now.
Sure.
But to touch on what Seth said earlier, when he was saying that all of a sudden it's going to go from seeing 10 workers there, whatever they have daily there now, to 300, is when that's finally signed. That's when they're going to go in and they're going to start doing mechanical, electrical, plumbing. They're not doing that until they get that last piece of financing.
Right,
But that's
right.
basically, it's kind of in a holding pattern of once we get that, I mean, then it's going to be construction as opposed to what they've already done, which is getting it ready for construction.
For construction,
Yeah.
yep.
Sure.
I was amazed when we went through it back in the leadership because they had just cleaned everything out. And if you go up to the Baker's Suite, if you've never seen it before, just as it is,
Yeah.
it's pretty cool to look at.
It's super cool.
Because everything's hand done. His ceiling, all woodwork, everything. The false cabinet
Yeah.
during Prohibition. It's just.
Have you seen that?
It,
Danny?
it was cool to walk through that place.
So it opened during Prohibition. So in that room, that was Mr. Baker's private suite, but there's kind of a little cutout area, like a shelf, and you push it and it opens up, and then there's behind that like a hidden place where he'd hide his
Liquor?
booze or
Oh,
liquor.
They used, to
wow.
have, they used to have a tunnel. So you see that little red brick building that's
Yeah,
up
yeah.
on the hill? They had a tunnel that went from the Baker to that building where they were,
Bootlegging?
yeah.
Oh,
'Cause,
wow.
I mean,
I've never been down there. Is there bowling alley in there? Is that right?
I think there used
yeah,
to
there
be. but-
used to be. It's not there.
There was.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But like everyone always said there was like secret tunnel. Maybe that's what it is, where
Yeah.
dignitaries or whatever could get out.
No, yeah. Well, it was for Prohibition, but it collapsed in.
Now there are rumors that there's tunnels underneath there, like hidden tunnels to go under. That's not true, but you can walk underneath the swimming pool. So the swimming pool is like hanging, I guess you'd say. So you
Yeah.
can, because initially that's where the Baker was going to be built, where the pool was. They had dug a hole for the foundation, and then Mr. Baker apparently changed his mind after he had seen some hotel somewhere.
California.
I thought it was the Arlington
the
and
Arlington's
Little
full.
Rock.
It may have been. I mean,
in Arkansas
That's
somewhere.
the sister hotel.
Yeah.
It's still going.
Yeah, in Hot Springs, but
Hot Springs.
But
that's what-
basically, he moved it to its current place, and since there's already a hole there, then he decided to put the pool in. But you can walk under that, and I think that's why some people think there's kind of tunnels.
Well,
but,
didn't there used to be like a parking
yeah.
garage under there or something?
Parking garage across the street.
No, I thought there used to be like an underground one.
No, I mean there is a ramp going down, but I think that's like a delivery.
Yeah, it's
You know.
basically
Oh,
like
maybe
a
that's-
back door entrance for
You could drive
for
cars down
goods
there.
to come
Yeah.
in, but it doesn't go all
Yeah.
the way down. Like so, the idea that there's because I of course heard that too, that there's 15 Model Ts that have been down
no, I
there
never
for
heard
100
that.
years
Yeah.
or whatever. That's not true. But at the same time, you could certainly get lost in all the stuff that is the support system for the Baker Hotel. And remember, this was built in 1929 or excuse me, opened in 1929, a week before the stock market crashed.
Oh,
So think about the infrastructure that occurred at that time. They actually had the ability to produce enough power for the whole city of Mineral Wells just on their power generation from the Baker Hotel.
wow.
In 1929, 1930. And so, you take that into consideration, then that makes a little bit more sense as to what some of that stuff looks like underneath, what you would call the Baker Hotel, the subfloors of it, it's
And they
pretty
used to have
significant.
crazy water running straight to it, right? I thought
maybe.
I
they
thought Mark
definitely
had told me that one
They
time.
definitely had mineral water.
Yeah, they have mineral water.
Yeah.
Whether it's the
Well,
same wells that
I'm
are
just
the
talking
famous
the mineral water was going
yes,
they had it on
100%.
tap
Yes,
at
100%.
Wow.
That's one of the core things too. Is down in the basement or whatever. It's just the machinery down there.
Yeah, it's crazy to look at.
You're looking at it, and to me, it's like looking at the Titanic or something.
Yeah,
It's like-
100%.
It's just humongous metal contraptions,
boilers
like you
and
said,
everything?
like a generator that ran the whole thing, and there's boilers, and then
Yeah, it looks
the
crazy.
washer and dryer. Excuse me, washer and dryer and all that kind of stuff. Like it looks. I don't know. It's just something
And that was flooded.
that's
Like, they
cool
had
to see
pump
from
all
100
that.
years ago. Or
The
close-
elevator
Yeah.
machinery that operated 100 years ago
Yeah.
versus what they're using now.
Right.
And they moved that in with, cranes and skid steers and stuff like that. The stuff that's in there now, like some of that, they can't even move out. They're going to like
So-
move it to the side.
so
and
back
make
Just
it like
kick it to the side while the new stuff comes in.
So
not
back in
kick
the,
it, just build
Yeah.
around it.
so back in the day when the crazy water used to be like the little downtown part, they used to give like tours in the Baker when it was still like open, and you could even ride the elevator. And they'd have a guy. Do you remember that?
Mm-mm.
Do you remember?
Yeah, a little bit.
They used
yeah.
to have a guy dressed up like a bellhop,
Gotcha.
put you in the elevator, close it and everything, and you could ride it to a certain height. I don't think they took you to the top, but you could still ride the elevator stuff. And there's always been the rumor about this guy got decapitated on the elevator.
My
Remember
big
that?
question is, we're not getting rid of the ghosts, right?
No.
The ghosts are going to stay.
Yeah, they need to stay there. I
There's no
think.
ghosts in there.
Hey, Blake, can you pass
Hey, bartender.
Yeah.
So, is there anything else in development that you can tell us about? Is there anything else going on?
There's
within
there's a lot of darts being thrown.
Yeah,
right?
of course.
Specifically the wells, that would be the biggest one that I think is,
Yeah.
at the front of folks,
Any businesses on the horizon?
So one of the things that we just got done going to a deal called, so it's me, Nate, which was economic development, Rose tourism, and then Brittany with Main Street. We just got done going to a thing called ICSC, which is basically the originally was like shopping centers, but it's more like a retail recruitment type of deal now. And so it's engineers, it's construction people, it's retailers, and their sort of like promotions type people, like people looking to find the next place to go,
Right.
And all these civic organizations, so different cities trying to all meet together. Last year we went to it, and it was very new to us, and it's a shit ton of people, right? Like a bunch of people. It's in the Dallas Convention Center, and so all this stuff going on. Well, this year we went again, and this year the number one thing we heard was we're on everybody's radar, and the reason why is because at some point in time you got to get out in front of development. If you go too late, well, then it costs what it costs.
Right.
And they're all trying to get out in front. And that's not just housing. That's affordable housing. That's multifamily housing. And everybody kind of cringes when you talk about apartments and duplexes and stuff like that. But at the same time, there's a way to do that where, so what's the best thing about Mineral Wells right now? You can get a house for between $250,000 and $400,000 here. That's a really, really nice house. That same house in Brock or Aledo is $500,000, $600,000, $700,000, and so that's the attractive nature of what we have here for folks that might move here. Well, the sad fact is that if you are a employee of Mineral Wells ISD or an employee of PBGH, which is our two biggest employers,
right.
even in two family income households, there's a real good chance that a $400,000 mortgage is out of your realm.
Right.
So where do you live? What do? You either live in a house that you don't want to live in, or you live in Weatherford.
Right.
or you live in someplace else. And so the idea that we got to be able to expand not just new houses but new affordable housing to be able to keep the folks that are here, so that your third grade teacher isn't here for 2 years and then moves somewhere else.
Correct.
She's actually here for 10. He is actually here for a number of years. The same with hospital and etc. The list goes on, right? And so that's a big part of what we consider as a whole other aspect of what's coming.
Yeah.
QSRs, quick service restaurants. That's what everybody on Facebook wants to see.
Of course.
When's that Popeyes opening? When's the next thing coming? And there are a ton. The list is too long to tell you about all the different ones that are coming or are already being built right now. The coolest one right now is we're about to have the opening, I don't know, in the next month or two of 7 Brew. Yeah. Right. So that's
do you know how many people were pissed off about that?
Oh, sure.
You took away their drive-through.
Yeah. And wow. They took away a drive-through at another coffee place. That's just what we need.
So A, 7 Brew, not just coffee. I don't know if you're familiar with them. They do all kinds of stuff. But B, their business model is so cool. So they do, like, it's a drive-through only restaurant, right?
But it's both sides, right?
Yes.
Right.
But they do a lot of work for the parking pad, and then the actual footprint of the quote restaurant is a rectangle doesn't even have anything in the middle of it. It's plumbed. It's just a restaurant, and they bring the whole thing in on 2 trucks.
I watched them driving it in.
Is that not wild ass?
When I saw it, I was like, they're bringing the whole.
No, it's the whole shooting match.
They brought the whole freaking building.
So there is a rectangle that's like 15 by 30, and there are 2 piers, concrete piers, out like this, and out of that they put down the main restaurant or whatever you want to call it, and then the roof, and then so that's the main restaurant on one truck, the roof on the other truck, and then the awnings, which cover the 2 things, those also came off the same truck. They're just like folded up. They pop out. It's
I
like,
saw when they were bringing. I was like, they're bringing the whole damn building.
Yeah, no, it's crazy.
Bam! I was like,
yeah.
They took away your
I'm not a big
shortcut to
coffee
bullshit.
drinker, so I don't know much about them, but my youngest daughter, I guess they're big on TikTok or something. I mean, she knew a bunch about 7 Brew, and
yep.
Well, they're big.
I never heard of the chain.
They're
anything,
in Lubbock.
Okay.
So Blake Blue,
okay,
when he heard we were getting one, he's like,
hell yes.
His dad, he's like, that place is badass. That place is.
I just don't know how when they open up, because I mean, obviously in that little area, you can't get a lot of cars, I guess, on either side.
I don't know, that's actually,
man, Mineral Wells, when something new opens,
it floods.
They will wear you out for the first couple of weeks.
I mean, look at when Popeyes opened.
So
that line was all the way out into 180.
So I got
the chicken sandwich is pretty fucking good.
Yeah,
I do love the chicken sandwich.
I love the spicy
chicken sandwich.
The ghost pepper one. Mm-hmm. So I got to say something.
I haven't tried.
I'm not this guy, but I am today.
You are today.
I am today.
We'll see.
So I'm not got a bitch about fast because I worked fast food all through high school.
Mm-hmm.
I was a Brahms guy.
Pizza Hut.
I was Pizza Hut.
Yep.
Sonic.
And I know how dickhead people could be, right? So 2 days ago, I was like, no, yesterday, actually, 2 days, it feels like, I want that spicy chicken sandwich. And the guy from work's like, I want one too. And I was like, I'll get you all one. I'm going.
Round for the house.
Yeah. So I left my work at 11:30. Yeah. I was going to get me the ghost pepper. I said, I want to try the ghost pepper one. See how really hot it is.
Sounds terrible.
Pulled into the drive-thru at 11:39. There was one car in front of me that had to move for me to get
I know where
put my
this
order
is
in.
going.
Good
And
timing.
I usually do the online order.
Sure.
App. It wasn't working for some reason. It should have been my red flag number 1. But got to the window within about 10-15 minutes to pay. Not bad.
That seems like a long time for a drive-thru.
still,
But go ahead. Yeah, I'm with you.
I'm fine. Whatever. Pay. Sitting there. The guy in front of me, because they have 2 windows. He's sitting there too. I'm watching him. I'm looking because you can see people working. I see
You're
people
doing
moving.
math on how long it takes to cook chicken.
Yeah.
Versus like
You're
plucking
hoping he's
it
paying
live.
it forward.
But like I know. They ain't plucking these bitches, right? 30 minutes
Man.
Oof.
goes by since I paid. And I flagged the chick down the window, and I'm like, and I can tell she's a young girl that's just working there
Yeah.
so I'm not going to be a dick to her. I'm like, hey, I've been here like 30 minutes. What's the holdup? Oh, we were shorthanded, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, well, I need to go back. I'm on a lunch break for work. Right? I need to go back to work. I'm trapped at this point, and I've already paid.
They got you.
Yeah.
You're not going anywhere.
Best business model ever.
So she yells to the cooker. She's like, how much longer? And he says, 1.5 minutes.
Damn.
So I'm like, all right, well, can you speed them up? I was like, whatever you can do.
Can you make my chicken rare?
Well, it's like whatever you can do to make it faster. I need to get back to work. 5 minutes goes by after the nothing.
Well, 1.5 for the person in front of you.
10 minutes because now it's been 45 minutes.
Oh man.
So I'm like trying to wave the chick down again, and I think she's ignoring me on purpose because she's like,
she talked to you the first time.
The guy in front of me left. The old man and his diesel behind me gets out of the truck, walks up to my window because I'm at the window. What's the deal? I said, I don't know. You haven't paid yet? I just fucking leave, dude. I'll be honest with you. Just call it a loss, right? So he did. So finally, 12:40, and I pulled in at 11:39.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
I pull up, I go in. I said, just please reimburse me. I can't wait any longer.
I've waited an hour and 10 minutes.
I can't.
Give me my money
I'm like,
back.
I can't wait any longer.
Here's your food.
And maybe I wasn't speaking that nicely, but I was like, and she reimbursed me, but
So you did get the food and you got reimbursed?
Never got my food.
Oh,
just got the money.
An hour?
And what's funny is they kept coming out, like announcing people's names, and nobody was there to pick it up because everybody. Like when I walked in to get my money back, there was 3 guys standing at their receipts waiting on their food.
Oh man.
And when I said, "Just reimburse me,"
So
they were like,
what'd you tell your coworkers when you got back and
I
the guy's
said-
like just waiting for a sandwich?
He's hungry.
when I came in,
He
when I
threw
came
his
in,
lunch away that he brought away.
when I came in, my attitude was like,
Screw this
I think my attitude was strong enough that they weren't going to question, because I was like, I might have been mouthing a little bit, but
You know we cuss on here. It's fine.
the thing is that the thing that irritated me the most was, so it was the manager that reimbursed me.
Mm-hmm.
I could tell she was a manager because she had a different shirt on.
Sure.
And it said manager on her name tag.
Not sure I looked at it. Could give a fuck. Like, not, I'm sorry, sir, I understand. Took a long time. Yeah, sure, let me get rid. She's like, all she asked me was cash or card, right? I don't have to reimburse you. That's fucking
anything but gift certificate.
Right.
That's fucking it. Like, like, that goes a long way to me if somebody's real apologetic and they really like, that would go a long way. Hey, I understand. It's hard to find good fucking workers, right? Yeah. It seems like worse since COVID because people got used to not having to work. The fact that she could give a fuck.
Well, but so you can't put that blame on her.
No,
I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt.
I'll give her
she's
credit.
Probably dealing with something that you don't know what's happening back there.
No, I can see her.
And so she's just already checked out too because she's pissed off too.
Pretty much at that second window, you have a pretty clear shot on people getting the food and the cooks.
But again,
it didn't seem like a lot of motivation on anybody's part that I was seeing. But I was just like,
with you getting there at 11:30 or whatever, 39 or whatever you said, you said there's one car in front of you.
I worked fast
so
food.
they're not. I
no,
wouldn't think they're super crowded.
That's why I was like, the online
I
order.
Those sandwiches maybe 6 minutes in a fryer.
No,
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm guessing it can't be more than
Right.
No,
that.
it's not. I worked at Brahms. We made fucking fried chicken. I know how long it takes to put in the hot grease. It takes 5 to 6 minutes. Yeah. But that's when I pulled it. I was like, the app ain't working. I'll just go there. And when I pulled in, I was like, oh, the line's not too long. There's like 3 cars in the lobby.
But again, I never use an app, so maybe there's 120 people that had done their
rides. Well, I know 120.
So there's one car in line, there's 120.
I know there was about 3 or 4 bags of food
it's all the,
stacked that nobody was.
It's all the DoorDash.
Yeah, exactly.
I know, but there was like they're just stacking it up because nobody was. Everybody freaking left. Like something. I was like, what the hell's going on? Sorry, Popeyes, but you let me down.
Well,
and I've been there 3 or 4 times, and it's always been fine.
I've actually never been to their Mineral Wells location as a customer.
Well, I waited. I was like, I'm not going there that first month. It's going to be crazy.
Yeah, no, I waited too.
Same. I've never been go to a new place immediately guy ever. Like it's got to be like a month until I don't see a line. I don't like even Chick-fil-A. I know they're pretty quick. I'm not real big on Chick-fil-A food, but my daughters and
Excuse
wife
me?
and everybody
Everyone
are.
is, except for you,
But-
apparently.
But when I see that line, I can't do it. I'm like, and
Dude,
my wife will be like, no,
they-
it takes like 5 minutes. I'm like,
No,
I don't
they-
care. There's
Yeah.
200 cars there. I'm not.
No,
going
they
to
are-
They're-
fat.
the fact that they operate without multiple traffic accidents a day blows my mind every time I go by.
Especially that old building. That old building, you'd have to wrap around twice.
yeah.
And then
Well, it's like an airport.
yeah, and then they would
insane.
direct traffic to hold
Yeah.
on, let this drive-through customer leave.
No, that old-
and now you keep going to, and it was like that's the only place where if I see an extremely long line, I know it's no longer than 5 minutes, and I'm in and out.
Yeah, well,
But I understand what you're saying.
it's just hard mentally for me when I see that. I'm like, I'm not doing it. And then my daughter's like, but I want whatever the chicken bites or whatever.
Well, I'd be
Like,
in the back seat saying, I want that spicy chicken sandwich, Brad, and get in that fucking line. Because that shit is good.
Their spicy chicken sandwich, I put at the top.
That's the.
I did,
But
until I had Popeye's
hey,
spicy
don't you
chicken
say
sandwich.
that fucking name in front of me right now.
Okay, so just so we're clear, those are very good. They're not the same as Wendy's. Just so
Spicy chicken?
Yeah.
Never had it.
You know what I loved about
So
Wendy's
when
was
you like to step into the realm of like the clouds part and light shines on you and you're like, oh my god, what is happening to me? Wendy's spicy chicken, whole other deal.
I
They-
get a
No
junior bacon
shit.
cheeseburger
actually
and a biggie fry.
their spicy chicken nugs are pretty fucking good.
I'm telling you, bro.
It's got to be the same thing, then,
And-
huh?
Yeah, no, it's the same. It's
But
just
a
chopped
nugget
up.
form, so you can
So
just fucking
Wendy's-
feed your fat
Wendy's,
face with
yes.
the.
Why have I never? Have you ever heard
It's because
that?
every time I go to Wendy's, I say, "Give me the fucking baconator. I want to clog my
Right,
arteries."
right,
fucking
exactly. And
Well-
that's low hanging fruit, right?
Yeah.
But if you move on down the combo meal to number
never had their
6,
spicy chicken
6 or
sandwich.
7, yeah,
Really?
then
Legit?
life will change for you. Yes.
Okay. They've
Well,
got one in Stephenville.
And you got the frosty.
They got
too,
one in
so-
Weatherford, don't
Yeah,
they?
you
well,
got
but
the
that's on the,
No, it's
in the
the-
pilot.
There might be one in Mineral Wells sometime soon. Too.
Oh,
You know,
it's
that
probably
was a-
going to take the
That
place
was a rumor
of.
a couple of years ago that it was like going in where Mr. C's.
No. I would
Again, this
look.
is true.
Could I hear?
years ago.
Could
I
I
would
hear it's
look-
taking probably the place of like Arby's, maybe?
maybe just to the east of Panda.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Now
So
I
in
have
that
heard.
general
I have
area.
heard a. My daughters told me about this.
Brookshire's.
This should be legit because my daughters told me that
Mark it down.
CC's is going into the.
No,
is
that,
true.
no, that is
That's
it.
a real deal.
I told you that.
I-
It's going into the old Pasta
My
Fina.
daughter's Daniel. It's the same fucking
No, not Pastafina. It's going in.
The
No.
old Pasta Fina.
Original Pastafina.
Original
building.
Pasta Fina.
thing.
I thought it was going in
next to Jimmy's.
in Brazos Shopping Center.
No.
No.
Okay.
No,
No,
one next to Jimmy's.
Crazy
that was,
Cajun as
yeah.
last.
So I talked to the owner that's opening it. He called me, I don't know, a couple months ago because he wanted to ask me about old school
Well,
pizza.
there's another
He
brand.
said, "Hey, I'm opening a CC's. I
Jesus.
wanted to ask you about that." So I did talk to him, but again,
No, I heard
this was
it's going
maybe
into
5
the-
months ago. But I did feel like
Maybe
it
he
was
said
going in
next to
Brazos.
Brazos.
Maybe so.
Yeah, across the street.
Okay.
So yeah,
Yeah,
that's
CC's.
where Key is doing it, and
Yeah,
like it's
both,
gonna.
Yeah.
both my kids are pretty fucking pumped.
I'm excited about it, but he better have the Bavarian pizza, the sweet, because like a lot of people love CC's for the cinnamon rolls.
Oh.
They're okay. I love cinnamon rolls, but the Bavarian cream pizza that is the
The
one.
last time I was at probably was 15 years ago that I probably ate one of those.
Yeah.
Now I remember their barbecue pizza was pretty fucking
Mhm.
legit,
Nah, I don't know what you're talking about.
but the girls were pretty, especially the older one. Audrey was pretty pumped. She said it's cheap, Dad. And you can get all.
I heard, and because I heard, I then started spouting the rumor out, and Aldi's might be coming to Mineral Wells.
I heard that like a
And
year
It's
ago.
been kicked around. I don't know the very cool thing, but also the very tap the brakes thing about Mineral Wells is we have multiple available properties. We have
Right.
multiple available second gen. So like it used to be this, and it might become this.
Yep.
And so because of that, everybody under the sun, Planet Fitness, Aldi, all
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
those
I heard-
companies are
I heard
poking.
at Planet Fitness where like Bales and stuff was.
Yeah, totally.
Okay.
And then you
That's
look
what
a
I
little
heard.
bit closer, and some of their specs that they need to have don't quite fit that second gen building, and
Yeah.
so it gets a little bit dicey as to what they want to do. Anyways, the crazy thing though, so we're back to COVID. When interest rates are 1.5, and I'm like, hell yeah! My house went from 30 years to 15 years overnight, right?
Right.
The bad thing or good thing about that, depending on who you are, is everybody else that had money in their pocket also invested in properties and or buildings down in Mineral Wells. And so a lot of those folks are simply just hanging on to them. Right? Because what's happening to their value is just going up.
Every
And
day.
if they got it for what amounts to free
Right.
in the grand scheme of things
Right.
to them, then they're just going to sit on it because every month, week, year, the value goes up. And there are several deals that are on properties that I'm not trying to name any names of specific places, but places where you could only imagine the blight of our community would be greatly changed if this went away and something else went in its place. So
Right.
Broaden your horizon
Yeah.
just a little bit. It doesn't take very long to throw a rock and find one of those places, right?
Right.
And to the point where the city would love to come in and help you knock that down and do an asbestos abatement or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And but even because of that, the price tag on those has a couple of them have gone from, oh yeah, it'll be 2 point something million to, in the time that I've worked in the job at not very long, a year and a half.
Yeah.
Oh, now it's 4.
Yeah, of
No,
course.
like,
God
Absolutely.
almighty. And so, hey, can we have a Chick-fil-A here? Of course we can. Is it going to have to be a deal with somebody else, another retailer, whatever, to where, and I'd use Chick-fil-A's name in vain, you call it, right? In
Yeah.
QSR or retail box or whatever.
Yeah.
Can it happen? Yes. Is it going to have to work in concert with another one so that it makes financial sense for that group to come in and do it? Because yes, they want to be here, but they're not going to hang their ass out in the wind, right? They're going to do something where they make money. They're not idiots, and some of them, our population doesn't fit what they need to make
That's
money.
what I heard about Chick-fil-A was the population thing.
So
what
that's a very common call, is that, and there are some that have flat out told us, you don't have enough people yet. You don't have enough rooftops. What's a good one, like a Burlington coat factory? They need 50,000 rooftops within 20 miles. Well, that ain't here,
Yeah.
right? So that's not going to happen. But at the same time, if you look a little bit closer, some of our businesses that are here perform at 10, 20, 30, 40% above everybody else in the region. McDonald's is one of them. Their number, like the lady that's the
the
regional,
McDonald's here has to be crazy.
the lady that's the regional manager or I say regional manager, regional director of blah, 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 makes more than all of us put together.
Right.
In charge of McDonald's. She knew Mineral Wells by name last year when we went to that
crazy.
that thing. She's like, "Oh man, I love Mineral Wells." Well, it's because we kick ass and take names. Because people buy way more shit at Mineral Wells, McDonald's, than anywhere else. But part of it is the location. That hot corner right there is
And they've been
traffic.
there since they opened.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
it's not where they changed
and what's funny is
locations.
that
They've
the
been there
opposite,
before Walmart
Right.
came in
Yeah,
originally.
exactly.
what's funny is that opposite corner though, where Arby's is now.
Yeah, and
It's
part
like
of
a
it,
dead zone. Like
a big-
I guess McDonald's just fucking kills it.
a big part of it is that, and then a big part of it is like who's going home and who's going away. So what side of the road you're on,
Right.
and
Yeah,
what kind
you
of
just
business
turn
you
right in.
have, as to who do you want to buy your stuff, whether it's food or whatever. Do you want them going out of town, or do you want them coming back in town? And so that's a big part. That's why I was blown away that Starbucks ended up on the south side of the road. I thought for sure they'd be on the north side of the road because I thought they'd be going out of
people
town.
going to work. Right?
Yeah, but really, they survive, and you might die in traffic right there. Where you
Right.
try to cut across the road. But
yeah, Panda went right there too.
yeah, exactly. And so there's a ton of opportunity, but we are a little bit hamstringed by the value of the property versus what somebody X, company X, and
So let's
really
get-
it is a zillion people long list.
So let's
might-
get back to
might
the
pay.
Wendy's thing.
Okay.
You said one's coming for sure.
He didn't say
Oh,
that.
no.
He
I
didn't
no,
say
know.
that.
Do
I
not
heard him
quote
saying
me.
it.
He
No,
didn't.
I'm joking.
He literally
I'm
didn't say
joking.
that they would be.
No.
The one thing I love about Wendy's is, which I haven't been there in forever,
The
because
Baconator, we know.
no,
No.
their value meant
Baconator dipped in a Frosty.
You can get a fucking, you can get chili, you can get a
Oh, yeah.
baked,
Baked potato?
Yeah.
You buy that chili and
wide
dip them
menu.
fucking.
What I'm hearing is that a Buc-ee's is coming south of town.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
that's what I heard.
I heard a QT.
Well, I've heard that too.
I heard QT bought land south of town,
Like,
and they just
It
sit
was
on
either QT or racetrack.
I-20. I mean,
No.
281.
So a long time ago, I heard 281 and
well, I
like
meant 281 and I-20.
no 281 and 1195 Oaks Crossing Road, that big empty lot that's there.
Okay.
I was told like QT Racetrack bought that. I don't know if that's true or not. I
I
don't
heard
know.
that too.
Don't know.
'Cause
I don't know
I
either.
heard the rumor like QT buys land and sits on it for like 5 years.
That's like HEB does the
to
same thing.
study traffic.
Shoot, HEB is like one of the biggest
Yeah.
real estate investors
Mm-hmm.
in the state of Texas when it comes to courting communities, and then we'll tell all the communities that we might build one here. And so what are you going to do? Roll the red carpet out, right?
Right.
And now Mineral Wells is a little bit different because we have an HEB product produced here in Mineral Wells, so that's a whole other
Right.
aspect. So definitely not throwing rocks at you, HEB. I love you.
I also love HEB.
Right.
Come close.
Yes,
closer than where you are right
Well,
now.
we are going to have one closer.
Yeah.
There's
Well,
one coming to Weatherford.
That Costco's almost done.
So HEB's coming to Weatherford, like catty corner from the high school.
Is that true? Or
That's
did you hear
100%
that?
true.
Yeah, it's coming.
Be right by you at work. You can just leave.
Right.
Great.
Which is just going to make that intersection terrible.
There won't be
That
any over there.
Costco's almost done. It looks like it anyway.
Costco's crazy.
You can buy all kinds of crazy shit in there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm at a grocery store. Oh, there's a TV. Oh, there's a kegerator.
Mhm.
Shit, there's a. That's like, what the fuck
I
is
need
this?
tires for my car.
The first time I
They
walked
got them
in
in a
there,
bundle.
well, the first time I walked in, there's a, what the hell is this place? It's like half Home Depot, half Super Sam's Walmart.
And you can get samples,
Right.
which is
which is
you want to talk about.
that's
Like,
what I
if I
love.
can get a kebab
That's what I love about
while
While you're shopping.
while
That's what I love-
browsing for tires.
That's what I love about
Man,
HEB is they do
That's
like
$50 a year all day for me.
Right.
yeah, that's
Right.
what I love about HEB is they do like the old school samples.
Sure.
And it's almost every aisle when you go there on the weekend. I'm like, you
Little
don't tell
something
me what
on
it
the
is.
toothpick.
I'll fucking try it.
Yeah, sure.
Well, look, if this doesn't get you excited about what's happening in our community, here's what's funny though. So, our highest listeners, like our biggest audience of listeners, is in Dallas.
Wow.
And how that is, no idea.
Okay.
Because honestly, I know some
Because
people.
we're gangster, man.
Right. I know some people in Dallas, but honestly, our highest volume of listeners is in Dallas
How do you get that data? Like, I mean,
through all of our streaming
it
platforms.
shows you, like, just, I guess, where their IP address is.
It tells you the city.
Okay.
Yeah, and it'll give you like Dallas.
I know not their specific, like, it's not showing you, like,
it
their
tells me.
location on the
It tells me
street.
John
We get-
Smith
we get
at
satellite-
103 Main
Right.
Street.
We
Yeah.
get satellite images of their house.
Yeah. So, but it tells me like Dallas is our highest volume of
Which is
listeners.
insane.
Weatherford. I'm sorry. Fort Worth is number 3. Mineral Wells. I'm sorry. Fort Worth is number 2. Mineral Wells is number 3, which
Thanks.
is weird,
Yeah.
right? Because
Well, I mean, I know most people don't like
Well,
you
we-
here, but I mean, that's
Right.
still that.
Right.
You
I,
know,
I would have thought
But
you'd
they're
been
gonna-
lower than that, but
I agree. And
I'll
then,
take top 3.
right, but we're number 3. Weatherford becomes like number 4 or 5, but then we have listeners like
We have people in different countries.
different countries, like steady listeners in
Well, that-
Sri
that-
Lanka.
how do you think they stumbled upon this?
that proves
God,
Social
that
media,
proves a
baby.
point I've had for a long time, which is if there's something weird that you're into, you can find it on the
Oh yeah.
internet.
for
oh,
sure.
100%.
You call whatever disgusting porn that involves octopuses or whatever else. you know.
Donkeys,
Yes,
clowns,
yes.
whatever.
All,
Daniel.
or all those things combined with strawberry yogurt.
I've got
those
the
things
I've got the
exist.
side for you
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
no.
And there's a million people that sign on to that and probably pay money.
100%.
to watch that.
Right.
So-
Like whoever thought foot fetishes would turn into something that people can just make
This
money
guy
on.
right here would.
Well, I mean,
His own feet, though, it's weird.
yeah, I sign
He'll
up
tell
for
you-
my own
He'll tell
feet.
you about that later.
I'm out on feet. Out on teeth, out on feet.
I don't like feet either.
But there's just so much, that I don't know how these other countries and like it is
That's cool, though.
It is every week we get the same amount of listeners, and it's not like we get 400 listeners from Sri Lanka, but it's every week there's a consistent 3 people that listen in Sri Lanka, and that's just specifically that place, 3 listeners every single week.
And it hasn't spread, though.
Yeah, it's only 3
They're like,
people.
what the hell are you guys listening to?
They're like, we don't even understand them, but
They
Yeah,
need
well,
to have
that's the
somebody
only-
call in sometime, to the show.
No, that's
from
what we
Sri
need to
Lanka.
do. We need to open it up to the phones. Really. That's what we need to-
Let's go to the phone
happen.
lines.
So we have
888.
done. We have done a remote. We have done a remote podcast before.
we did one time with you when you were in
I was
India.
in India,
Okay.
and
What time was it over there? So we were recording on a Sunday morning, or whatever it was. And I don't know what time it was. India's like 13
I was
hours
a
ahead of
day
us.
ahead of them, so it was
So
like
you're midnight or whatever.
yeah,
or
and I
past
was
that.
like, I'll do it, and they put like where I usually sit. They put like they put like
twisted
a twisted
T-box.
with my headphones on.
I put the headphones just so he could hear,
so we are.
or we could hear, or whatever he could hear. But then I had my phone
Was this in
connected.
Stephenville? Like when y'all did the...
No, that was here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
so we could hear him. I had my phone to the microphone. Then I had the headphones so he could hear what we were saying, kind of thing.
The India was some crazy shit. You want to
No, billion and a half people there, man.
redneck son of a bitch talking, but you want to all these fucking people that want to bitch about living in America and bitch about how bad they got it. Send their ass to India for a week.
Were you there for work, or you?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was there
It
for a
wasn't
week.
vacation.
No,
I know people that have traveled there for a vacation.
I don't know
you
who would, but no, go there for a week and you will. It really did make.
Did you
me-
get to do like cool stuff there?
Oh yeah, we
as
would.
well, or
oh yeah,
just
We-
go talk to.
we had to
people
go on a
about
military
airplane parts?
base, which was
Right.
something.
Do you know what he
I had to
does?
get. I had to get through like 2 or 3 different clearances to get on like gate after gate after gate,
Right.
and they're just
So,
fucking cruising.
do you
on
know what he does
motorcycles.
for a
Security
living?
for them, right?
He does like
What?
what? Just explain to him what you do.
So we build autopilots.
Well, right. I know that.
Drone
Genesis.
type.
I am in the repair station side,
Yeah,
so we fix the broke shit.
Right.
they
And
update.
we're working on stuff that goes from brand new almost to 78, right? That range of field. Different lines, different techs, work on stuff. So the guys that fix it, when it's done, they've fixed it, they've ran the test, it works good. I sign it off to go back in the aircraft.
So this is the idiot that signs off and says everything's good.
Right.
This guy that I've known my whole
Why
life.
am I an idiot?
I've known you my whole life. You're an idiot. That's like saying I'm smart. No, I'm an idiot.
None of my stuff, everything's worked out for 20
Well, let's ask
years.
Kobe.
Kobe Cox? He's
Kobe-
down the road.
no,
We can
Kobe
call him.
Bryant.
Did him Dan? No, but
Yeah, no. When he told me that, he goes. Oh, the other guys do the work. I sign off that it's all good and it's ready to go. And I'm like, no fucking way I would ever put you in that position.
you don't know what I do. man.
You sign paperwork.
No, I started off as fixing the shit. I've worked my
That's
yeah.
even scarier. It's even scarier to me, just so you know.
No, if you told me you did that,
I'm with you.
I'd be like, God damn.
100%. That's
What
why
do
I
you
sell.
fix? What do you repairing dildos?
That's why I sell beer. I'm
guys-
very good at repairing dildos. I taste them first.
He was working at the shop next to yours,
Yeah.
at Genesis, where the dildo
We called it. It's
storage
like,
was.
he's Daniel answers his phone. He's like, oh, dildo repair. What do you need fixed?
Have they gotten that place out yet? Do you know what I'm talking about? There's a by Genesis out there at the airport. There was a storage building that basically was a warehouse full of sex toys.
I might know what you're talking about.
But I
What?
think the city was trying to.
No, I think they chased them off.
I think the city is trying to get them out.
Yeah.
But basically, I guess.
So
you
why
know,
are we
it's-
chasing them off?
Well, it's like an online sales deal.
So apparently,
Hold on. Why have I never heard of this?
I forgot about it until I just talked about it. So apparently, a few years ago, I
Yeah.
guess when it was discovered, the guy that really discovered it was somebody you know, somebody that lives down the road from here
Mm-hmm. Okay.
that works with me.
Right.
They walk.
he
like
kind
they
of
went-
fell into it.
Yeah, like he,
Oops.
like they said the door was open and he walked in. There's all this crazy shit.
Just
man.
sex toys and
sex toys, sex outfits, the dump, like the
the
ball
gimp
gags.
outfits.
Yeah, all that shit in there. And he's like, "What the fuck?"
Well, the guy that owned some other business here, or like out. I mean, like a legitimate. Not that that's not
Like a
legitimate,
business,
but,
yeah.
But he had a business, but then there's like a side business or something. But
Yeah.
I think also there's some issues with his rental agreement. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Well, the
but
weird thing was
I don't
is-
remember all
So
the
if
details.
his rental agreement was fine, everything's fine.
Well, the weird thing was is nobody was in there. The door was like not even it was unlocked, like kind of partially open, and walked in and he's like, "What the?"
So he trespassed, is what I hear.
No, he went to because they had to go there like to ask. I can't remember what they needed to find out, but he was like,
They needed to find out what the fuck was
"The
in
door's
there.
open." He's like, "Hello," and he's like, "What the fuck?" Is this?
Well, I'm assuming they weren't like laying on the ground, like rolling
And knowing him, he probably stole a couple of
They're
things.
just vibrating all over the
He's
ground.
like, "They won't miss this." There's
This one's a lightsaber.
Yeah, I I forgot about that. Damn, I haven't thought about that since you brought that up.
I just never knew what happened.
How have I never heard of that? I didn't know that was a thing.
No, it's a thing.
So it was just like it was a side business. Was he
I guess
He
so.
was using it for storage.
like online selling or?
I think so. That's
yeah,
the thing. But it was
looked like he
his
was
storage
using
facility.
storage.
Procurement and
Okay.
distribution. Yeah.
And you could have found anything you wanted, Daniel.
Damn it.
All that
I
fun,
missed it.
All that fun fucking
I
shit. you
missed
into.
Fuck. I wish I'd look when we're done. Give me some names.
I can
Maybe
tell
he
you,
still has
it's
some
right.
stuff.
It's right. It was right down the road. Maybe you can find something from my work that maybe there's something left.
Have y'all ever? You drive a? Do you still have a Prius?
No,
Jesus.
I got rid of that maybe 5 or 6 years ago.
But you got your Jeep, so
Yeah.
you went the exact opposite of the spectrum.
Yeah.
You did.
Well, we got tired.
Actually,
He
I'm
got
sorry.
tired.
I got rid of it in 2017 because I bought a
got
Hyundai Sonata.
Oh,
And then my daughter took that when she turned 16, and I bought the Jeep as like a
he
midlife
got tired
process.
with the Prius. People got tired of
he
people
did.
throwing dildos at him.
That's why you brought it up.
He's like, Jesus.
People
So-
rolling coal at me or whatever you call it.
So I have never been in a Tesla. Had never been in a Tesla. Have y'all ever rode in a Tesla?
Fantastical.
I have
experience.
not. No.
So I always looked at the Tesla. I'm like, those guys are pretentious assholes.
Sure.
And that doesn't mean they're not.
So, Brian, you got one?
No.
But I,
It's on the shopping list.
Yeah, it's on the shopping list.
But I finally got the last Wednesday for work. We have another warehouse down in Temple. Well, one of our guys has a Prius, so he's taking me around to these different places, and we're just
Pushing
doing.
it.
Yeah. Well, so I was like, I do have 2 complaints. It's a Model 3. I don't know if that means
You
anything
said
to y'all.
Prius. You're talking about Tesla.
I'm sorry, Tesla.
Because you said he took you around
Sorry.
in a Prius.
Tesla.
Yeah, I was about to say that.
It's a Model 3 Tesla,
Hot damn.
which is just like the sedan.
Yeah,
which
basic sedan.
Yeah, I don't know what that is,
Yeah.
but okay. And bad decision, white seats. Like he had
Okay.
white seats.
Oh, yeah.
Especially with
That
Daniel.
seems like a
if you don't listen, which y'all don't.
Maybe in July. Maybe
Daniel,
not such a bad decision.
Right.
Daniel, more than 3 occasions on the podcast, has talked about shit in his pants.
Okay.
In a vehicle.
Correct.
So
Yeah.
white seats is a
So,
very bad decision.
Black seats are bad at that time anyway. I mean,
Exactly, yeah.
it doesn't matter what color if you're shitting.
They're all going to be bad anyways.
Right.
But I just think white seats is a terrible decision.
I
But
would
it
say-
did
I
look
think
great.
so. Yeah.
Like it looked awesome. And so I
They
get
call it
in.
clean.
Yeah, I get in, and I didn't know that like there's no gear shifter.
Right.
Like it's on the screen, and you just say, "Hey, push up to drive and push down to reverse and hold it to whatever it is to park." And it was like I get in, and I'm like, "Oh, this is just kind of weird because there's nothing. Like there's just it's a screen in the middle of the car, and just
Like
that's
in
what
the,
it's
in
like
the
getting an
middle
airplane.
too, not kind
Yeah.
of over to the driver.
it's like
like
getting
it's
an
in the
air-
middle.
It's like getting an airplane and sitting down.
No,
the
it's a
seat.
cockpit, is what it is.
100%. And so, like, so he's driving it because we're like some of the stops we're going to are just real close to each other. Well, then we decide to go to a whole nother town, whole nother city, and this guy,
Like,
Blake, this.
yeah.
Oh,
And,
so
and
like-
this guy goes, I'm just going to let the car do the driving. And I don't know if he pushed a button or what he did, but he just sat back, hands off the wheel, feet back. And we are going down a interstate or whatever it is and driving. And I'm just watching, like, I'm freaked the fuck out. Because, like, my truck has, like, lane assist.
autocorrect,
Yeah,
yeah.
all that stuff. I don't trust it for
he's
shit.
got a lot of alerts too.
Yeah, I don't trust it for shit, right? And he is just like sitting back and puts his hands behind his head. He's like showing off.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know what? I hear they can drive themselves, but I still don't know that I trust it. It's not that I don't trust the car.
I'd be the same way. I'd be like,
It's everybody else that I don't trust. But it drove us what was about 30 miles to the next place.
And he had put in the destination
Yeah.
or wherever he was going.
Yeah. And it was passing cars.
Sure.
And it was doing, and I'm like, this is fucking insane. And I did enjoy it. And then the one thing I've always heard, they have a lot of torque. So
Right.
when you hit the gas,
Yeah.
you fucking go. And so finally we got to this one little section and we were at a stoplight and then it's just straight away. And he goes, I'm just going to punch it for you. And I said, okay. You know that you ever been on a roller coaster and you get that little tickly feeling in your belly? You know what I'm
Yeah.
talking about on a roller coaster?
G-force, homie.
100. Dude, it knocked me into the seat and I'm like, like I felt like this pressure on my chest, and I'm like, I've never felt that in my life. It was fucking awesome.
Is this one of the times you shit your pants, or no?
It is now the 4th time I've shit. No,
Y'all got to hear the Walmart story, which is recorded and out there for everybody.
dude, it's awesome. Again,
Yeah, it's crazy.
But here's the only downfall that I have for this car. It is so low to the ground.
Right.
Well, you used to be in a truck, so
Right. That it's to get out. Like you've got to pull yourself out of it.
I get that Cybertruck thing that looks like.
Well, and that's what I thought. I go, maybe the Cybertruck's a little higher and
It is.
easy, but I've never been in that. I have a cousin that has one, and he didn't take me riding for it when he was down here for Thanksgiving.
Well, that's
jerk.
not a very good cousin.
I know, what a jerk.
Was he?
But I did enjoy the riding around, and like there was another destination we went to, and he was like, I'm just going to let it drive us there, and it was like taking these back roads. How does it know at a stoplight? Like it sees the stoplight and it'll tell you it's red, green, whatever.
Cameras, homie.
But how does it know, like at a 4-way stop sign, that it's your turn to go?
It's got
Like
cameras on it.
and it did perfectly.
Right.
I don't know.
Scared the shit out
I
of me.
guarantee you, it has to have cameras on it.
No, it has cameras everywhere.
But
Yeah.
still,
Watching
when you get to a 4-way stop and everybody's kind of looking at each other, and you're kind of waiting for like somebody kind of give you the nod, or you just go whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes it's kind of a little
There's a-
standoff,
Right.
know, and
There's a midget in the middle that's driving this shit.
I think so.
Yeah. No, did he show you the sound effects on the outside?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's the best
That's
part
the-
about the whole
So
deal,
his
the
was
sounds.
was Iron Man when he charges up. That's what his sound made. When I first heard it, I was like, "What's wrong with this guy's truck?" And then, like the second stop we go to, they make that sound again. I go, "Dude, what's wrong with your truck?" He goes, "Oh, that's my car. It's the Iron Man when he charges up, getting ready to." I was like, "Fuck, what the hell is that?"
So that's a whole other part of that
Yeah.
conversation is the charging, right? So
Mm-hmm.
like when you charge your electric vehicle and at the charging station, you do that through your vehicle and through your account that's
Mm-hmm.
on your vehicle, right? And so like when you pull into the station or whatever, so like down there, 281 and 20,
Yeah.
there's a Tesla station
Yeah.
there, right? But there's also options. So when electricity is delivered, it's delivered at a certain pace or rate or whatever, and that fits different criteria according to how fast it can do certain things. But if you want to charge your Tesla from 0 to full in 10 minutes, that's not the free, or that's not the $10 one. But you can do it.
so that's kind of like gassing up where you have 89, 90,
Exactly.
or whatever.
Yeah.
You're paying premium.
But it's
for
even
that.
to the extreme because
But that's the wild ass thing
Yeah.
is that you can still do that through your car, hooked up to your bank account, whatever, at that same place, and Encore will deliver that power to you, but they deliver it at a different intermittent rate than what they're normally delivering it.
Right.
So for that delivery cost, that cost X, and that X is whatever.
We're gonna push-
But if you're in a hurry and you got to get to
We're
Phoenix
gonna
in
push this
12
app
hours,
to you.
and you got to put the pedal to the metal
Yeah.
and make sure that the folks in Shreveport aren't dry, and gotta get that Coors Light to them on time.
Right.
In the parlance of 1983, then you can do that, but it might cost you. And
seen the
what's
weight
that
on-
number? I don't know what that number is.
that's why I see that. You see
Smokey
the,
and the Bandit.
Yeah,
reference.
yeah, I
Right,
understand.
sorry.
I understand.
Yeah.
No,
I assumed we were on the
I'm-
same
I'm
page.
with
I knew
you.
where he's going. So you see the weight on them because the batteries weigh a fucking ton. Mm-hmm. You've seen it. I've seen it. The Amazon.
The Amazon,
trucks.
yeah.
We've had a couple now that are
The
in town.
Amazon
They're
trucks
just
that
full.
go
They're
through
everywhere.
town.
Yeah, and I have a feeling it's fixing to blow up because certain guys in office and a certain guy's got Elon with them. People,
We
what's
don't
funny?
know what you mean.
Elon Musk is doing stuff for Trump. So
Oh, okay. Sorry, we didn't
I'll just
understand.
say it for you there.
But you're saying you think electric cars are about to?
I just think a
Be a
lot of
bigger
people
deal.
in the rural Texas is like, well, we can't charge this shit. You can only go
Right.
what 3 or 4 hours. With
So you bring up electric cars, and I brought up the Tesla for this very reason.
But wait, before
Go
the
ahead.
Tesla thing, so the
It's
guy
not
at
Tesla,
work
but go
has
ahead.
one. His backup, he put a noise on it when he backs up because
Right.
it's fart. That's an option you can pick from.
Yeah,
It just-
there's like
it just
a
goes.
zillion of them. And you can download whatever you want.
So you just
to it.
start hearing
Right.
like this. like just farting the whole time he's
But
backing
if
up.
you want the same thing and you want Shabuzi when you back up, you can add that too.
No shit.
Yeah.
So you can just download whatever
Yeah,
you want to
exactly.
make it sound like
And
whatever.
it will exterior, speaker like for the world to hear.
That's
So like,
awesome.
so like Daniels would be like,
yes, moaning.
when he takes it out,
So Ford lost 1.5 billion with a B
Billion.
on electric vehicles in 2024.
yeah,
Wait, they lost, meaning like they
Yeah.
weren't selling them? They
no, the Ford Lightning.
Okay.
The-
Yeah, the Ford Lightning was the
I didn't
big
know-
one.
yeah, I didn't even know they really had
1.5 billion. That Ford Lightning though. So one of my retailers, he has one, and I looked at it, and it's so weird for him to open the hood of the truck and there not be an engine in there.
Right. That's where his day bag. And
Yeah,
his
that's
shit
just
is.
that's his trunk now. And I'm like, well, you have a bed for that. He goes, no, I have a trunk for the stuff that I don't want to get wet in case I'm going on a trip. But they're awesome looking. But apparently Ford did not sell shit.
the
So
Lightning did not do
1.5.
good.
What was the price point on those? I'm not familiar with it.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm sure
They're high, but
Yeah.
they're not like that. That's the crazy thing is like vehicles in general have gone to the
Well,
point.
they're crazy.
Dude, they're
right
like
now.
a house.
And
They're
that's,
insane.
and that's what has kind of benefited the EV trend
Right.
is that we have a vehicle that we bought not that long ago that's a 2023 Ford Explorer, and it's got the captain seat, and that's
Right.
exactly what my wife wanted.
Right.
We went and bought it, and it was $55,000, and I was like, "What the fuck is happening here?" I bought,
And
a
that's
house.
before financing,
Yeah.
right?
No, they're
Yeah, that's just that's like the price,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And I mean, it's insane. Anyway, and that's the mid model. That's not an expedition. That's
Oh, yeah.
That's not tricked out
the-
shit. That's not big mud tires or
Right.
none of that shit. And so that has made the EV industry all of a sudden much more relevant, because if you're going to spend a shit pot of money anyways, well, then why not look at this where maybe I do have some savings somewhere, or maybe I do have a feeling that I'm helping the planet,
Yeah, yeah.
Or all those other things, right?
Combined, yeah.
And then not only is there Ford, but we also have Tesla, obviously, and then Rivian or whatever.
GM.
Yeah.
So
the craziest thing about the car prices going up.
I think it's on purpose for EV.
Well, no, the craziest. Nah, it's
Conspiracy theory for me. I
not.
think
The
it is.
craziest thing is it has not affected. Like it affected the market for a little bit, like during COVID, because they didn't have fucking vehicles.
Right.
They sell just as many vehicles as they,
Oh, right. No.
which is crazy to me because I'm thinking shit doubled and people are still just buying shit.
and interest rates are high too.
Yeah.
No, it's crazy. Like 6%'s like
So,
good.
but I bought that Jeep, which my Jeep's a 2013. So I bought it
Bragger.
2.5 years or so ago. And again, my daughter was taking my car. She was turning 16. So I had to figure out, I had about a month to figure stuff out. So I was going to buy something, a new car. And so I went back and I was going to look at like at a Hyundai or what. I'm cheap. So, I mean, about 30,000 is the most whatever. That's the most I'm going to spend. But I go and so this was, I mean, it was after COVID, but it was still kind of in the weird time.
21-ish.
Yeah, 21-ish. And so the dealership's like, you know, I'm looking at, it's a Hyundai SUV. I can't remember the name of it, but it's like
Sonata, Santa Fe.
something like that. It's about 30,000, 31,000 price. But I'm looking at it and I'm like, yeah, I like this. You know, the guy's showing it around and everything. And I said, so, you know, like what are interest rates right now? You know, I have decent credit, whatever. And, you know, interest rates are high, but he said, you know, to be honest, he said, if you want this today, you know, it's an extra $3,000, or, you know, it's about a 2-month wait if you want one. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, you know, to take it off the lot, like right now, the demand or there's a shortage or whatever's going on.
Inventory was shit.
And so it kind of turned me off a little anyway. And on the way home, I see that Jeep on the side of the road in Weatherford with the for sale sign sticker on it. And I pulled over and called the guy and looked at it. And I'm like, you know what? I've driven a Prius. I've driven a Sonata. I'm going through kind of a midlife crisis. So let me get something that's jacked up. And I'm not commuting Fort Worth anymore anyway. So I've had that 2.5 years and I put 10,000 miles on. I mean, I just don't drive a whole lot. And it is a beating to drive. Like, if I take it from here to Fort Worth,
sure it gets good gas
it's a
mileage.
beating. It
I'm
seems
sure
like
the
it
gas
takes-
mileage on that thing's good too.
I still make it to Fort Worth in 50 minutes or an hour, but it seems like it takes 3 hours.
But
Like the
nobody's-
whole way, I'm just
yeah,
like,
but
this is
nobody's-
an ass whip.
Nobody's driving by him yelling,
Yeah, well, they still do that. So, but I mean, it's
That's just because of the driver.
Yeah. but it's an ass whip. But but it's fun during this about 5 days a year when the weather's just perfect.
You take the
and
doors
it's not
off.
too hot and it's not too
Yeah.
cold. Again, you get about 5 days here in Texas.
You're hitting your run right now.
Yeah.
So
and
my-
you didn't
well-
drive it here.
Right.
Well, the thing is, if I had the doors off right now, then it'd be too cold going home.
It'll
But
rain,
coming here
too.
would have been perfect.
It'll rain too.
Yeah.
So I made that mistake. Natasha, she wanted the Jeep so bad. One day she wanted the Jeep, and so we got her a Jeep, and then we brought it out here, and but this one day she was like, "Let's take the doors off. Let's take the top off. Let's drive the Jeep with nothing on it." And I'm like, "Okay, well the doors are going to stay on, but we'll take the top off." We come out here, and it was a beautiful day. And then we had to drive home, and it was freezing cold when we went home. And I go, this will be the last time that we take anything off of this Jeep.
Anything about 72 degrees, below 72 degrees, you're freezing.
It's the worst.
We rented one when we went to Salt Lake this last summer. So went to Salt Lake, rented a Jeep, and it was a Wrangler 4-door, but it could take all the top stuff off.
Yeah.
Well, it's like 78 degrees every day in Salt Lake in June, July, whatever it was. So I'm fucking with it
Yeah.
the whole time, and I've never had one, so I'm really fucking
Oh,
with
yeah.
it, taking it all apart. We go to Jackson Hole. Well, it's cold there.
Jackson Hole's badass.
And then we go to Laramie. Yeah,
I've been there too.
I have family in Jackson Hole, so
I've been there.
cue the Vivaldi for real. But then we go to Laramie, and it's very redneck type of town, but very cool for 4th of July. And they have a zillion people driving downtown. We take the top off, and it's like 90. But no shit, that on and off of that roof contraption.
Was it hard top?
Fuck. No, soft. But like getting all the little things to fit in right. And
Right.
Yeah.
In my mind, I'm
Screwed
like, this is the worst design ever. Like, there's no way I would buy this vehicle because it would fall apart 100 times.
Yeah, right. Right.
And I'm renting it, so I don't give a shit. But
That's where you show me the fishing pictures.
yeah.
Tasha has a hard top, so it's like on the front it's T-top, so you take one off the passenger.
Is that
one
how
off-
yours is?
One off the driver.
Mine's 2 pieces, but it's kind of a one piece is kind of over the driver and passenger seat, and then you got the bigger.
On the back.
Oh,
Right,
so
right.
back and
Yeah,
So
so,
it's like a-
And
so,
I've only taken that off
three?
once.
So it's like a,
so-
it's like a penis and balls.
so yes, same thing.
I normally just
Now
deal
we're-
with the penis
now
and the balls. On the
now
back,
we're talking Blake's language.
I got it.
So the back
Fit that
over
one.
the back seats and the back of the Jeep, that's one piece, and then the driver and passenger, that's 2 separate pieces,
Okay.
and they just all clip together. And it's easy to take on and off. I mean, it's just like literally, there's no tools
The hard
involved.
tops
It's
are way
boom, boom, boom.
easier.
But the hard top is pretty fucking heavy, especially on the back. Like these pieces are easy. And so when we get home, I'm like, okay, well tonight we're not gonna fuck with it because it's late, and we'll put it on in the morning. So the next morning we go to put it on, and it's fucking heavy. I mean, it's all, and so it's me and Tasha, and so
One
Tasha's
fucking
trying
piece.
to Tasha, but it's kind of awkward because it's got this extra little thing that anyway, but it's awkward to hold and pick up. So Tasha ends up dropping her side, and it hits the ground, and now like the back corner of it has this little. It's all fiberglass, and I'm like,
Boogered in some kind of way.
I'm like, oh my god, Tasha, what are you doing? I'm like, just pick it up and put it on the fucking
And she
Jeep.
said, "What are you talking about, motherfucker?
You
ain't lifting
you
your fucking
motherfucker."
weight, motherfucker."
So we talked about Ford losing money. GM though, and
I think they made all this money through Daniel. Though.
GM, yeah, I don't know how to read into this because they don't really say if they made or lost money. They say that EVs became variable profit positive.
okay.
That is business speak.
That is 100% business speak.
Right.
So, and this article doesn't really.
That means they weren't losing money anymore.
Well, right, but at the
It
same
never
time,
clarifies.
Do they not get like tax credits and all kinds of stuff
Yeah.
from
Right.
Somewhere
producing those
We
EVs?
didn't lose money.
There was synergy
We
involved,
made
and
a
a paradigm
profit.
was shifted somewhere in that
If
conversation.
a paradigm is shifted, then things are going good.
Well,
They
I don't know.
they installed the flux capacitor.
Right.
That's,
and they tried to scale this somehow too. Somewhere in conversations that was done.
Yeah. So
Scaling is important.
with GM, I don't know how to read that. They didn't lose money, maybe, or maybe they did.
Well,
But it's
it-
variable profit positive.
I don't know anybody buy GM.
It sounds like close to zero if it's a variable.
Yeah. So
positive.
maybe they just flat.
Yeah.
They didn't lose. They didn't make, but they didn't lose.
Because
Is the
I
biggest
know,
part of that.
I know a guy
What?
that's owned a GM truck, 2 different ones in the last
4 years.
Yeah, he's had pretty good success rate with them.
I have great success with my
Well,
GM products that I buy.
I'll tell you one thing: they look nice.
Well, they look nice whether they work or not. Is right.
You've had some good times.
I have.
Look nice on the side of the road.
Yeah,
I'll say this:
dude.
out of you're talking about pickup trucks, right?
Right.
Out of pickup trucks, looks wise, I think the Ford F-150 for me, or F-250, whatever. I think Ford to me is a better looking product. Now, running, I don't know.
Well, I mean,
I don't know if they're better than Chevy or whatever.
Right.
But I think the looks of a Ford.
I think
product
they're
is
all
better.
about the fucking
I have
same.
always been like a Ford guy. Like 99%
Have you?
of the vehicles I've owned have been Fords.
Huh.
I do love Fords. The only reason why I switched to GM is because that Ford cost went so high. So the same product that I have in my GM, the Ford was like $20,000 more.
But what did you calculate with shop time?
Well, I didn't calculate shop time in that. You're right.
So I'm pretty sure I've seen you driving 2 different trucks in the last 3 years.
Well, then why you got to bring that up?
Because you bring it up a lot to me outside of this.
I don't know if y'all know this or not. There's a big thing happening this weekend.
No,
What's that?
Tell us. What,
Y'all,
wait, what's the date? Let me see.
today is the
7th. Okay.
today is the
Daniel
low
is-
battery apparently.
The Lions
Daniel's
Club banquet.
Yeah, we have a
Right.
Lions Club banquet.
Daniel's transition.
That is the big thing.
Right, the Lions Club banquet.
To Danielle.
My
or-
transition.
He's transitioning.
Both
That's
of those
a
are
perfect,
happening.
good name though. I mean, that's a good transition name, Danielle.
I've seen him in drag. He's actually cute.
I've seen you in drag, and you are
I'm
not.
not. I do not make a pretty lady.
No, there's a Super Bowl happening this weekend.
Oh,
It
I
is.
Forgot about
It
that.
is.
forgot all
It's on
about that.
Sunday.
Yeah.
Oh.
What I hear is that Taylor Swift's team's playing,
Yes.
and then there's another team playing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, that's true.
I mean,
Oh, and they're in the same division as the Cowboys, right? The other team.
I don't know.
Yeah,
if
not Taylor Swift's team,
Hey.
the other team.
Yeah, the other team. I know.
Don't talk about that.
So we kind of want to, like, we went through it last week and we
Yeah.
talked about it. Like, I think it's going to be a 2-ish score game. I think I had 11 point favorite to the Chiefs.
Yeah, you had the biggest spread.
His
Wait.
spread was only like 3 points.
No,
for
Okay,
the
this
Chiefs.
is y'all making up spreads?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, yeah.
What's
Okay.
the actual Vegas?
I have no idea.
I'll
Are
look
you
it
looking
up.
at? Okay.
But without even looking at that, what do you think is going to happen?
I to be honest, as much as I hate to say it, I think the Eagles are a better team,
No.
but I think the Chiefs are going to win.
Right.
No, I 100%, and I'm not looking at the spread yet. I'll find
As
it.
he stares at his phone.
No, I'm trying to find it here. in a
And
second.
also, obviously, as a Texas Tech guy,
Okay,
you know,
Chiefs
Mahomes,
1.5.
love Mahomes. So.
Yeah. That's
1.5?
That's pretty
1.5.
accurate. That's pretty accurate because the last
They're
game,
favorites. Yeah, so minus 1.5.
Because 2 years ago in the Super Bowl, Chiefs had to come back and win.
Yeah.
that
Now
game.
the over/under will scare you off the Chiefs in 48.5.
Yeah.
Just
Wow.
because the
I
Chiefs
don't
have
think it'll
not
be that-
been
yo.
super.
Yeah.
They've been
offensive
more
positive.
more of a defensive team, and
But they
Mahomes
find a way to
just does-
win, and that's the
And
That's the
that's
deciding
the,
factor.
that's the thing because
It's
if you
the
look
12th
at it,
man.
If you look at it from a stats perspective, should they have beat Buffalo? Absolutely
No.
not.
Well, and
Oh,
he
here we
did
go.
get that. Josh Allen had that first down. He had that first down.
I think he did too.
Did he, what do you think he
We
did?
need a chip in the ball now. Is
Yeah.
that what we need?
Yeah.
Oh, they were talking about that. Back,
Yeah, I heard it.
But you still can't see when his knee hits, so it's who cares?
Right, hey, but you can't overrule based on
He
what
could have
might have
fumbled
been.
it. He could have
I
fumbled
mean,
it the
he
next
had the
play.
first down. Does that mean they win?
No, but it gave him more life.
Sure.
There's always a pivot point. somewhere.
Right.
Like I said,
Right.
Mahomes
And Blake
is
is typically my pivot point.
Mahomes
He's a pivot man.
Pivot man.
Mahomes is good. Like he is that.
Oh, you can't deny that.
Yeah.
No, he's that good. So you want to ask my opinion with Super Bowl? I think it'll be a close
I
game.
don't want to ask your opinion. You told
Philly-
us last week.
Philly stacks up. They have a really good defense. They can run the shit out of the ball.
Right.
The deciding factor in me is the quarterback on both sides. You have arguably the greatest quarterback to ever play the game already, and he's still playing.
Jalen Hurts.
No. And then you have Jalen Hurts, who
Who a couple years ago people didn't even know if
Yeah,
he needed
who-
to be in the league.
well, I
Right.
knew,
It's
I knew
like-
he is benefiting from a healthy Barkley that's a fucking beast behind
Dude,
probably
this-
the best offensive line in the game. They just know what they need to do.
So when they
handle-
got rid of Kelsey's brother, they became the best offensive line in the game.
No, he was the best center. No, but they have arguably.
What about Travis Fredericks?
excuse
Cowboys?
me,
What was his name?
His neck's fucked up.
that was cool. He hasn't played in a while. He got the flu shot and that fucked.
And it still eats me up or tears me up that the Cowboys in the offseason maybe could have got Barkley.
I thought we were talking
or
about
Henry.
I thought we were talking about
or
the
Henry.
I thought we were talking about the Super Bowl.
Well, but
we are, but when you mentioned Barkley, and then it makes me
Yeah.
think of
Yeah.
Sure.
the beast
Yeah.
he was this year.
No.
That, I
It's
mean,
okay. Yeah, we've already went over this.
we
You
took
don't
Zeke
listen.
back. We took Zeke back.
You don't
so
listen
circle back to Super Bowl.
So-
when when Saquon Barkley was at Penn State, he did their rep max.
Squat, right?
No. Their rep max power clean. So for people who aren't familiar with that, I'm pulling from the floor up above my collarbones a weight and then bringing it back down and then doing it for repetitions. The weight being kind of like our multiplication factor, right? So he did 315 10 times.
That's just fucking insane.
Wait,
10 times in a row. Saquon Barkley.
Barkley, okay.
315 10 times. That is equivalent to a 500-pound rep max of.
That's cute.
Yeah, it is cute. Right?
He also
That
squatted.
sounds pretty
he
awesome.
also-
But I bet Matt Sutter could do that if he was.
He-
like,
He probably
100%.
could.
He also squatted like 700.
Yeah, no, exactly. It extrapolates out to the same thing, right?
He's a beast.
The point is, like that dude is insane in his ability, and even at New York, where parts are
He was
moving
with
all over
shit
the
teams
place
the whole time.
And I mean, I wouldn't even call them shit teams. I wouldn't call them shit coaches. You have a combination that doesn't work perfectly,
Yeah.
and that's the thing. When you get to the NFL, you're talking about the elite of the elite of the elite of the elite.
Oh, yeah.
like
This is
multiple
like
pieces.
This is the 2% of.
Yes,
Every
not
fucking
Even
2%.
less than that.
Yeah,
But I mean-
0.002.
And that's when
right?
I knew when Philly got him. I was like, fuck, because
He's a stud.
Because
Yeah.
it's perfect with Hurts
amongst
with the
studs.
Hurts with the zone read stuff, and that O line's really
Right.
fucking good.
Well, and Hurts too. Just so we're clear,
He knows what he does.
He was a badass at Alabama,
Yeah.
and then he went to another school and was a badass there.
Right.
Not to mention the fact that he's a son of a high school
Yeah.
football coach, super well read.
No. Right.
Like
He understands what
Doesn't
has
he
to
also
do.
squat like 700
Yeah,
pounds?
he's a
He's
beast.
also strong
That's
as
why.
fuck.
That's
Which
why
is
the
the
tush
tush
push
push.
thing,
Yeah.
which you have seen with going back to Kelsey. When he was in there, that tush push was fucking unstoppable. Like they couldn't stop it. It has been stopped a couple of times after Kelsey left.
But
That shows you how good
hold on.
Kelsey
But
was.
is that just
'cause-
Kelsey, or is that everybody?
Well, Kelsey's the.
But is that everybody like saying, okay, well, we know they're going to do this, so now how do we stop it?
Well, then they started doing like, let's draw people off sides, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna fucking they know they got to jump, which is
Yeah, you
smart
got
coaching,
17 things off of it.
which
yeah,
is
Right.
smart
obviously.
coaching. So I mean, that's why I give the edge to. You have to give the edge to Kansas City till somebody beats them, right?
Right, 100%.
And
And this will be the first team to
Philly-
ever three-peat if they do.
Yes.
yeah,
That's right.
Cowboys were the closest. but
Don't bring up the Cowboys.
but
Talking about Super
I think it
Bowl.
will be a close game because Philly
Yeah,
knows
don't
what
bring up the Cowboys. in
Philly-
front of the Super Bowl.
Philly knows what they need to do. They have a good defense. They know they can run the fuck out of the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Control the clock. Keep Mahomes off the fucking field. Run fucking Barkley.
Yeah, but does that matter though in today's game? Like, is that relevant? And that's a real life question.
Yeah.
So, like, when you look at high school football or small scale college football, you can say, oh, we're going to do this because that's our identity or whatever. But is that really relevant in today's NFL game where if you touch somebody
Yeah. Well, and
50 yards down the field, like
Yeah.
literally like brush them with your
My-
glove, that's a 50-yard
the
penalty
thing I
the same
heard,
as a catch.
the thing I hate the worst is the defensive holding call. That's a 5-yard penalty, but it's an automatic first down.
Okay, so how about this?
I hate that call.
In the NFL or in college or in high school football, the least punitive penalty ever is the ineligible receiver downfield.
Oh, God.
That is a 5-yard penalty,
It's like 3.5
and we
yards. right?
repeat.
Yeah.
We repeat.
Yeah.
So I, by nature, as a play caller, am going to show you something completely different than what's happening. I'm going to run offensive linemen down the field, and you, the officials, have to catch me doing that.
Yeah.
And if I get caught red-handed, you bad guy, you can't do that no more. Oh, I back up 5 yards, and I get to do it again.
Yeah. And it's
How
a
is
big,
that punitive?
Yeah.
That's not
That's
punitive.
not. That's what I said. There's so many.
They're not pulling your pants down and spanking
No,
you
there's
for
so
like it's
many.
the It's the
So why not do it like
yes,
a lot?
and so that's what everybody
Yeah.
does on every play all the time.
And that's when you see it. That's when you see it called. You're like,
right, it's almost bullshit now,
especially
right?
when it's close. Like, okay, the quarterback was scrambling. Guys don't know what to do. They're like,
we played Van in 2017.
Yep.
Okay, and
The Van Vandals.
Yes, Van Vandals. That's my dad's alma mater. By the way.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
My grandmother was there.
Wow.
ooh, man.
Meemaw was in the house to
geez.
watch us get our ass handed to us by the Van Vandals in Irving. Who plays football in Irving?
No shit.
That's
Goddamn.
I think that was my nephew Carlos's.
Yes.
Yeah,
He was
that
playing
was
in
the.
this.
That's when they went.
They were going deep, right?
That's when they went through.
So we
three
went.
rounds?
No, we played 3 rounds the year before.
Okay, so that was that year.
The next year,
Yeah.
we played and
But I was
beat-
there. I saw it. I was
we
there.
We beat Ranchview the first round, then lost to Van the second round. And so Van, very very good team, solid, and their coach was fantastic. I think he's still Moffitt. I think he's still there in Van, fantastic coach. But so their model was a lot of the same stuff that we're seeing all the time now. And I remember trying to explain to Stefan Sandoval, our linebacker, how to play a certain play, and they were running what we call dart, which is the tackle pulls instead of the guard, right? So they're pulling the tackle this way, and then they're running a inside receiver right behind where that tackle pulled, and they're just reading the inside linebacker. So if he steps towards where the run play's going, where they're throwing this receiver right behind him, the problem is that the guard right next to the tackle, he's going to block the linebacker. And so Stefan is telling me that he's seeing run. It's going that way. The guard is blocking him, and the ball is going right by his ear as they throw it to the receiver.
So that's like they're faking a jet sweep.
Yeah,
almost.
But it's just
RPO.
It's just zone to the right,
Yeah,
like the running back's
zone
going
read.
line. And he's like, "So what do I do?" I was like, "I don't know, man."
Yeah, because
I'm out on that. I don't know.
if you crash,
What do you think? I'm a coach?
if you crash, it's going behind
Yeah, and
you.
I got lots of answers, but that ain't one of them, bro. Because my answer is I'm trying to throw the flag from the sideline because that motherfucker is not supposed to be 4 yards up the field blocking you, but it's happening.
Right.
And it's happening every play to the point where he's like, I don't know what to do. And my point of that whole deal is when you move to the NFL or you move to high level college
so
football,
fucking fast.
it's that much more athletic, that much faster.
That's
that
why
when
I'm
they
surprised-
even step that way,
Right.
that's the instant
But
they
I,
got to decide.
but I'm surprised your answer wasn't shuck the block. As a coach, shuck the
no,
block.
I mean, it is, but he's the one off that
Right.
he makes all of the plays. He's
Yeah.
the I think the leading tackler in the history of Mineral's high school football.
Right.
500 and something tackles or whatever it was in the course of
His-
3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
Right. And that kid, who is not only a badass athlete, but also smart and
Right.
able to communicate despite being tired on the sideline, hey, this is what I'm seeing.
Right.
And I'm like, I don't know, man. Like, shit.
So
Yeah, I mean that's tough to do because you gotta. Do you crash? They could be running a jet sweep.
No, there's not a right answer. That's the
No.
point.
Yeah.
Is that the whole point about it is even if everything goes right for you as the defense and they throw the flag, what's the end result? We
5
back
yards.
up 5 yards and now it's
Do-
first and
well,
15.
we're in the same fucking thing.
We're doing the same thing again. Yeah.
Right.
And
And that's
you just
why-
tell that tackle, hey, slow down just a half a step.
right.
That's why I'm giving the edge to Kansas City because
No, and I agree.
Because
I agree.
Mahomes knows exactly what to fucking do. Andy Reid knows
And
exactly
I,
what to do.
100%. If we're talking like which coach has the advantage, Andy Reid.
Oh, by
like
far.
He's the
Zillion.
winningest coach for Philadelphia and the winningest coach for
Right.
Kansas City.
And
Like
he's-
for both
and he's,
franchises.
and he's
Right.
climbing up the winningest coach in playoff history. Like
Who's at the top of that right now? I guess I haven't.
that's Belichick.
Belichick. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but
That's
I mean,
no brainer.
that's why.
Of course, we all knew that. Why
That's
didn't
why
you?
always
Should
so
always
somebody
think, Belichick
if somebody-
and Brady, whatever the trivia
if
is.
somebody figures them out. It's fucking Kansas City.
Well, and I
mean,
think he is a prime example of what everybody has to be if they want to be successful, not only in the quote unquote football or sports world, but also in the business world or anything else. Is you have an identity and you try and stick to that identity, but you can't just be so bald faced, set on one thing that you can't move from one thing to the next. Because if the scheme, the
You
league,
gotta adjust.
the league
Halftime
that you're in
adjustments
allows
are-
you to do this.
Yeah.
Well, if you know that there's a a 45% chance that when you throw it 50 yards deep, you're going to get the ball 50 yards away because either A, you're going to catch it, or B, they're going to get a penalty.
Yeah. Right.
Well, shit. I mean, that changes the dynamic, right? And so when you're figuring all that out, that all plots out to a schematic, if you will,
right,
of to what's the most advantageous thing for me to do.
Well, now you're playing Moneyball.
Right. That's all it is. But it's also the same when it comes to the defensive side and who is the best available player for you to be able to match up to that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the chess match that I think circles back to the original football game, like in the 1918, New York Bronx, whatever you're on, polo fields, whatever
leather
it is.
helmets, let's go.
Yeah, all that shit. It comes back to the same thing as this guy over here, nobody can tackle him. Well, we got to get this many guys on this side and this many guys. So it does circle back to that, because if X is what Andy Reid is going to do because of all the things that the metrics say or the analytics say is what we're going to do, what's going to be the most effective, well, then what's the best body type that fits into that? And so then what's the best body type that fits into that? Well, then now what can I do against that? Well, if a skinny linebacker is the best linebacker to stop this,
right?
Well, then now I'm going to hand it to fucking Saquon. He's going to run over that dude,
But the defense is always at the disadvantage.
Oh, 100%.
Especially now, like it's an offensive driven league because that's more exciting.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, 100%. Well, absolutely. Because years ago everything was we're playing hard nosed football.
We're running the fucking football.
We're running the ball. We'll throw the ball randomly, but we're running the ball. I formation, offset I, power, all that stuff. And now it is just that whole thing has changed.
And plus, you have to adjust to each.
And that was really college that changed all of that. College changed all that, to the RPOs, to the options, and all that. I mean, it changed fucking everything.
It morphs the professional game as it morphs, right? It's a 2 or 3 year behind, but whatever happens here is going to happen here, because that's where your farm comes from.
But that's also why
the college is starting to drift in the NFL now. Right?
Yeah, but that's also why a lot of college players don't make it in the NFL.
Sure,
because they're in this.
Especially quarterbacks.
Yeah, they're in this conference or whatever, and sure, they dominate there, but maybe their opponents are just shit opponents. So if they make it to the NFL and they're running kind of I'm the best running back in NCAA, and they go to the NFL, and then all of a sudden now they're like, well, let's see what you got, and then they can't do shit. It's because you're going up against a different level of people.
Well, the biggest thing's quarterback.
Yeah, okay. I think the game moves so much faster even from the college level to
they say the
NFL
biggest two positions is quarterback is number one for sure, because you have to learn everything and everything's going faster. If you ran a college program where you're doing zone read stuff, and and then corner, right? They said everything's so fucking fast. Like,
I mean, you see this stuff on
you're
Jaden
covering
Daniels,
elite
right?
athletes every fucking.
Like his whole VR stuff. Yeah. Have y'all seen that?
Yeah.
Jaden Daniels is big into this VR stuff, which I guess he started when he was in college. I guess he started that. But
at LSU,
from what I've heard or whatever on Sports Talk, that basically everything's like 1.7 times faster, like what he's watching. And so, obviously this year, as a rookie, I mean, he obviously adjusted to the NFL. I mean, he was big, but I think that's the problem. A lot of quarterbacks you see that are awesome in college don't pan out in the NFL. And I mean, sometimes they get put on a shit team and there's nothing around them. And I mean, Troy Aikman, obviously, when he came to the Cowboys, had a terrible year, and his career turned out to be great and everything. But yeah, I mean, I think it's just so much faster than the NFL.
Well, like Johnny Manziel, great quarterback in college.
Yeah,
why didn't that? And maybe Hobbs, why didn't that translate to NFL?
I think probably her or Scott. Sorry, hang on.
No, go ahead. You go ahead. But he's not the only one, right?
No. For me, with Johnny Manziel, I think some of that's
the
personal,
line
like
to the left,
his own downfall.
And I think that's a thing. But then also too, so let's juxtaposition Johnny Manziel with Randy Moss.
Right.
So Randy Moss didn't get drafted by 27 teams before him because he was a redneck from West Virginia.
Went to Marshall.
Had a cocaine issue at some point in time or whatever at Marshall, and there was I don't know about this guy.
Well, but also probably like Marshall's schedule probably wasn't
right. All those
Alabama's or whatever. So
all those things put together, and then he turns out to be a double-nutted badass. Right. So is Johnny Manziel the same thing? Yes and no. But also, Johnny Manziel is limited by the one factor that is the end-all, be-all of all factors. And this starts when you're 13, 14, all the way up to the NFL draft. Your measurables.
Right.
And that is the number one key factor. And we keep touching on this like it's something that we're just going to kind of brush over. And that is that the number one biggest factor between who is successful and who is not is what God gave them.
Right. 100%.
So they measure their fingertips from their thumb to their pinky, right?
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, how far apart is that? Well, Saquon Barkley's is like 10 3/4 inches. Well, I don't know if you guys have seen my finger, but it ain't effing 10 3/4.
You can say fucking, it's okay.
It's
But
not
if you
anywhere
choose not to, it's
close
fine.
that. Yeah. And,
10 3/4, huh?
Yeah. And
So that's not 10
Well, they always
3/4?
measure-
no, it's not.
Well, don't
They
tell my
always
wife.
measure-
You're like 9 1/4.
Don't tell
that's-
my wife.
Quarterback hands.
Not in a quarter doesn't seem bad, though.
And that's not a quarterback. That's a running back.
But I
But,
mean,
you
like
get the
they-
point, right?
Yeah.
Like
Right, yeah.
all those different measurables, and that translates all the way out to
But-
talking to kids that think that they want to be a Division I football player,
Right.
And they're 6 foot tall, and I'm like,
My son.
yeah.
My
Your
son
son's
was a prime example.
He's a fantastic athlete and a smart kid, but he's 5'11" and a half.
No, he was 6'1".
Or is he that tall?
Yeah.
Okay. But even at 6'1",
Yeah.
With the hair.
you have to pick a genre that you want to play
Right.
at where
100%.
6'1" makes sense. And
Right.
where 6'1" makes sense is cornerback, maybe slot receiver.
And he wanted to be a wide receiver and did not want to play defense.
And that's it. That's the only place
Right.
where that fits. And if you don't want to do that, well, then you don't fit.
Right.
And if you're a quarterback, the thing that's not going to change is that the guys in front of you, they're going to get bigger.
Right. And you're going to get better protected.
Right. You're going to be better protected. But if you're Johnny Manziel and you're 6'1.5" or
Yeah.
whatever
Yeah.
he is, it's real hard to see over
don't
guys
think
that are
he was-
6'7".
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? You got to see through them and around them.
So put away all the bullshit with him, but Colin Kaepernick, would he
Okay.
have been a great quarterback in the NFL? Minus all the
I think he
bullshit.
was.
If he'd have no, I think he was.
Right.
Minus all the bullshit. If he had stayed in the NFL, would he have been a great quarterback?
Yeah, I think he kind of got hosed a little bit.
I agree.
Well, there's always a
By-
like, you see the
Public
Kurt
perception,
yeah.
whatever you want to call it.
you
Yeah.
see the Kurt Warner story, right? Like, pretty good college quarterback. Had some shots that didn't go his way. He's bagging fucking groceries and happened to get the backup job to Green and the Rams. And he goes down and fucking Warner goes in and now he's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Right.
And he wasn't even fucking playing like 2 years before the greatest show on turf and everything.
And I think that's
Because all these guys are elite athletes.
that's the one-off that we want to really fall
Yeah.
in love with. And I think that people fall in love with the story and the idea of that. But in reality, most of the time, and I'm about to throw a super hot sports opinion at
All right,
you.
I like
HSOs
it.
love
it.
him.
Love it.
Tony Romo
Love him. You don't.
sucks.
Yeah, you don't.
Terrible. He was a fluffer.
Okay.
And what I mean by fluffer is he came from East Minnesota, Iowa, Indiana, whatever the fuck, like tiny ass
Yeah.
school he came from.
Same college Sean Payton went to.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
Why I knew about
Yes,
him.
yes.
'Cause he was breaking his record.
Slapdick State, whatever,
Small-
whatever school
Right.
small
that was.
college.
Right.
Yeah, he went to the combine because they needed somebody to throw the ball to those guys that they were looking at. He just happened to fall into something. Now, is he a good dude? Yeah, he's a great guy. Is he a competitor and like has the backstory of a competitor and he fell into that? But when we fall in love with those guys that are the romantic story, the
The
Cinderella story.
overachievers.
Yeah.
Because Romo was a overachiever.
Yeah,
He
100%.
Undrafted. The only reason he got put on the Cowboys was Sean Payton said, Bill Parcells, hey, there's this guy that's breaking all my records at this small school.
So-
I think we should give him a
So
shot.
for that guy that makes it, Tony Romo made it, right?
Right.
For that guy,
But
the
he was-
number of guys that did not make it
Oh, yeah.
that are elite. I'm talking
Leaf.
about super elite.
Leaf's a perfect example.
Well, and Leaf is the opposite of that. That
Well,
was
the-
a
He was elite,
fantastic.
but he was elite, like physically.
Yeah,
like
physically
everything, but
elite.
stupid.
So you got to put all those things together, and when you put all those things together, it's a very hard package to make it all form
Right.
and function and perform too. Because then you get into the mental part of
Right.
it, and that's a whole other branch of, do you like watching forest fires? What do butterflies look like to you? You know, all those things, you know, to where you form into something that really makes a true competitor and a true, you know, elite player.
Right.
And it's just it's fantastical in my opinion, like putting all those things together. And
that's why, like, Mahomes,
It's like watching a Bob Ross painting.
Mahomes got Andy Reid, learned mentally, football game, elite arm strength. Like the stupid things he does. Everybody sees this.
The sidearm
Right,
bullshit.
the crazy. He's a baseball player too, I think. So
yeah,
like,
I know he was.
So now he knows everything about the game. He knows how to bait guys in.
Sure.
He knows how to run
You know,
to the sideline, and
Mahomes
but
was a
that's
risk
why-
too. I mean, you know, a lot of teams were afraid to
Oh
take
yeah,
him when
they
he
for
came
sure
out of the draft.
because he
and
came from Tech.
Kansas
you know?
City, you know, kind of bumped up.
'Cause he
what was
came
his
from
last?
Tech.
No, what
But
was
no,
his
I mean-
last game where he was his last college football game not against Missouri where they got beat like
Yeah.
77
Yeah,
to
they got
20 or
smoked.
whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah, and so Kansas City did kind of take a
Oh,
chance
yeah,
on him.
for
I
sure.
think they moved up in the draft to get him, but a lot of teams obviously passed on him, and you never know. I mean, he could have been a bust, but I mean, obviously he's worked out, but he has all the measurables too.
But Mahomes
he has the
has
height. He has the
Mahomes
arm
has
strength.
elite arm strength, but he isn't like tell Mahomes to run a 40.
Yeah. I mean,
Tell Brady to run a 40, right?
Right.
There's different, but they know how to move around the pocket.
Yeah,
Right.
but they're
Well,
not
yeah,
going to
but
run a 4-3
I
or anything
I
like
will
that.
step up and argue with that in that the professional game is very different than the college game in what you're expected to do and what you can do in terms of the rules and operating as a quarterback. Right.
Right.
So a 6'5", you know, guy that can't run under a 5 flat 40. He's not out of shit.
We got more in the fridge.
Yeah, there's all 12.
He's not out of participation, you know, because
There's another one in the fridge.
his ability is in being the quarterback, being the you know, disseminator of information.
Right.
And so really it's all about how can you process what is coming to you, what you're seeing, and then what you delineate to
Well,
those
Troy Aikman
other
was
10
great.
people.
Yeah.
Who?
Troy.
Oh yeah, okay.
He was great at being the leader, studying. They said he studied film all the time. Pretty accurate quarterback. He was a little mobile back in the day because he originally went to Oklahoma,
Sure, yeah, he was an
And-
option guy.
and he said I didn't want to run the option. Like I wanted to
Right.
be, so he went to UCLA.
Right.
Everybody says his arm talent was average for NFL.
Right.
Those guys are all elite, but he was a studier of the game and like perfectionist. Like Michael Irvin said, I could run that slant post 10 times blindfolded, and he'd hit me 9 out of 10.
Well, and a leader too. Troy Aikman, I think, knew how to lead people. I mean, if you've ever
Right.
seen clips of him like on the sideline and everything,
Just
I
bring
mean,
it to you.
He, sorry about that. I think he's just an overall leader. I mean, he's a dude that knows how to run a team. He is in charge of it. I mean, you know, there are guys on there that weigh 350 pounds that are 6'6", and he's in their face,
Right.
Well, it's
letting
like-
them know what they need
And
to be doing.
that, in my opinion, is the number one metric that can't be quantified, but that is the deciding factor. So
Right.
when I was working as a graduate assistant at Texas A&M Commerce, Charles Woodson came, and he was talking to all the kids, and you know they're asking like, you know, how do you make it to the NFL and all that bullshit, right? And so he says the number one thing that he saw as a separator between elite athletes, super elite, you know, the best in the world, guys that could compete at the Olympics, but they're playing this other sport, was flexibility and the ability to recover, right? Well, then he also said later to our kind of coaching group is that in certain positions, it's the mental part of it
Right.
that propels, you know, a certain level of guys to be able to say, not only from the capacity or the ability to process information, but also the ability to say, Brian, I need you to run through that wall. And for me to be able to say that and for you to be like, fuck yeah, I'm going to go do that. That's a totally different thing, right? Because if I'm the manager at Popeyes,
Yeah.
and I say,
Fuck you.
Brian, I need you to fry that chicken, and you're like, bro, I'm making $13.25
I'm
an
on
hour.
my,
Yeah.
I'm on my smoke break.
But
dude.
it's-
I'm on my smoke break. Yeah.
But there's two separate mentalities. It's the mentality to say, hey, do this. And the mentality to go, I'm not going to do that because it could hurt me. And to be able to push that aside and go, but he told me to do it. Let me do it because he wants me to do it.
And it's not even told me to do it. It's me and Brian are one.
Right.
We're on the same team. We're doing the same thing. His command is not a command to me. It's a mission to me.
Right.
It's the same thing as me breathing. That's what's going to happen.
Right.
I'm going to effing do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm moving
Dude,
forward.
I like the fact that you edit yourself.
I try.
I love it, dude.
He's so used to it now.
He'll say slap dick, but he
Well,
won't say
that's
the
what-
F word, and I
That's
love
what
it.
Dion does, right?
I work with ladies a lot.
Yeah, I understand.
So.
But that's what
He
Dion,
knows some people in Sri Lanka. He doesn't.
yes. Just all of my Muslim brothers out there.
To me,
Assalamu alaikum,
to me, that's
and
what
I will
Dion
not
does, right? Dion
Say
can
the F word.
Dion can talk to the guys. He's Dion, right? But he can communicate like we're here for each other, the brotherhood stuff. You know,
Sure.
that's a big.
Which would have been a much better decision than Schottenheimer, right?
You're fucking right. You're fucking right. but I will give.
offsides like one.
Hey, earlier we were talking about Andy Reid. Have y'all ever seen the
Walrus.
pass, punt, and kick
Yeah,
video?
fantastic.
yeah.
of
When
him?
he looked like he was a 24-year-old guy
Yeah.
out there with kids. and
Have
he
you
was
ever seen that,
13.
Daniel?
No.
Yeah.
Do yourself a favor and
What,
Google
you never seen
Andy
that?
Reid.
What is it?
pass,
70s
punt,
or
and kick.
80s?
It was in like the
70s. It was
1970s.
70s.
So he
70s
was,
for sure.
I think, 12 years old.
Yeah, he was supposed
And
to.
he's
be.
in a pass, punt, and kick deal. So he's
He's in
But
the
he-
he's
but
he's
in
in
the
the competition.
But
The kid behind him looks like a 12-year-old.
But he
Andy
showed-
Reid looks like he's in
But
the NFL.
Andy Reid showed up like wearing a helmet, like full like pads,
Yeah.
and he looks like
Google.
He looks like a
Google.
30-year-old man. And go
It's
figure.
unbelievable. I mean, I don't know how tall he was
And
there. He looks like he's
He
6'8",
looks like a
and the
30-year-old
kid next
man
to
with these
him's
little kids, and he
3'2".
won.
Oh my God, that's like the first thing that came up
Yeah.
Yeah,
to search
look at him.
images.
Yeah, so it's from like 1976
Yeah, it's gotta be
or
in the
something. I
70s.
don't know, but
He looked like a 30-year-old man.
Is that the picture I'm looking at?
yeah. But you got to see the full thing where the kid behind him looks like a normal
Yeah, look at him
12-year-old.
So he's in a Rams.
He showed
Yeah.
up fully dressed.
no, he was in a full uniform.
because he was a diehard
shoulder
Rams
pads
fan.
and everything.
He was a diehard Rams fan. It was in L.A.
Oh, the kid behind him.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Look at him.
Yeah.
Look, play the video.
That's not. This is just a picture.
Okay, but there is
There's a video of
yeah,
it?
Yeah, yeah.
He won shockingly.
The kid behind him is half his size.
Yes.
Shockingly, he
And- but
won.
he's all. But the kid behind him is also in full
Yeah.
garb.
Yeah.
No, he was a grown ass man
Yeah.
with a bunch of little tiny.
I mean, he looks like Seth
He looks
Hobbs
like he
So
looks like if we showed
at
up.
the Pee Wee Football League, like
no.
and Seth put a helmet on and entered
So
the contest.
how old was he in this?
He's supposed to be 13.
12 or
13,
whatever.
something like that.
How old was the kid behind him?
But 12.
Same age.
12, yeah.
Same
No
age.
fucking way.
Yeah.
No, he looks like I showed up at, Mineral Wells Rams Stadium on a Saturday, and I was like,
For
hey
a
guys,
punt
y'all
pass.
playing
Which we all
football
know,
together or
like-
what?
Yeah. It's the same fucking thing.
What are we doing here?
Which we all know, like in junior high.
Believe it or not, I can kick the ball
I think-
further than you.
full grown.
I think he had a
and-
mustache under the
I
helmet.
have friends in 7th grade that played football that were 5'7" or 5'8". They're still 5'7" or 5'8" now.
Okay.
And they had beards in junior high. And they,
Look,
Are you talking about me right now?
here's a more zoomed out picture where there's like
Yeah.
6 kids
It's
behind him,
amazing, right?
It's insane.
and he's like a 2 foot ahead
He's
of
13 years old.
Oh my God!
No, he won that
He,
competition. believe it
go
or not.
figure. Shockingly, he won.
Holy shit! I've never seen that before.
I think he won entirely from the throwing.
But it doesn't look like he grew much after that
no.
to his regular
That's
life.
the Walrus.
Not up, anyways.
Yeah, yeah,
But-
right.
Football brain, insane.
All right, so we got on the Super Bowl because last
yeah,
week we
yeah.
were talking about we were going to make bets
Okay.
on the dumb stuff.
Insane, like the stupid thing.
Like so
Like
How
so-
long is the
Star-Spangled
national
Banner.
anthem?
yeah,
or
like
whatever?
like
Coin toss.
coin toss,
Yeah.
Star Spangled Banner, color of the Gatorade.
Yeah.
And we'll MVP. Have you seen the TikToks where like it's already been released, the script, and here's the score and who's going to win? And y'all haven't seen any of that?
I don't have TikTok.
Oh,
but,
God.
Oh God, yeah, me either.
but give me some of those.
Well, that's where Daniel gets his news.
I do have it
from.
on my phone. This is a $50,000
Is the-
phone.
Thank you. Yeah, it is right.
I
So if
can't
you-
imagine whatever Daniel's
So
looked
some
at
of
on
the-
TikTok that they now have, because doesn't it know, like whatever
Your
videos you're
algorithm?
watching? Yeah, your
Yeah.
algorithm.
So some of the craziest
Little
things
Bill
people
imagine the
Gates
bet.
conspiracies
mixed in
he's
there.
watching.
So I got a list.
Oh
on
yeah,
the,
100%.
I got a list on like the craziest things people bet on.
So
on
here's
this
what-
Super Bowl.
Here's what I'll tell you. They've already said that the color of the Gatorade is going to be purple,
Okay.
Okay.
and the Chiefs will win like 41-34.
Okay.
So
Something
say
like
48 and a half.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, so it's way above that.
Wait, you said 34-31?
41-34.
I got it like
Okay,
a
all right.
27.
So they're saying 7
point.
point.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Anyway, but what so let's go.
So
So the things you can bet on.
Will any player or coach cry during the national anthem? You can bet on that.
Wow.
I bet there will be a player
And the
on the
picture,
sideline
the
cry.
picture is the Philadelphia coach cried. From the,
I don't know about a coach. I bet one of the players.
oh, he cried like a bitch.
During the anthem?
Will a player leave the game and not return due to concussion symptoms?
Okay, so I'm
You can
going to
bet
stop
on
it.
this.
Stop it right there. I'm going to tell you a coaching story real quick.
Okay.
I worked at a school, my first job as the head football coach, athletic director. And it's a rural town south of here. They were...
It's empty, stupid.
He gave you another 12-pack. Thank
Yeah,
you.
it's right there.
Stupid.
They probably had a river with a view. Probably.
It did have a river with a view, but they pronounced it differently. And it pronounced it differently according to whether you live there or not.
Yeah.
Anyways, so this place, very, very challenged when it came to athletics. And we were pretty successful as compared
Due
to
to
the
coaching,
average when
mostly.
I was there. Obviously, it was all coaching.
Right.
And in a game, a kid was becoming a problem. I told a coach to deal with it. One of the kids that he was communicating with is deaf, actually deaf. So we made like sign language. He's a badass player, by the way. Best player on our team. So the end result is I tell on the headsets, this is like game 5 too. It's not like at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
I tell on the headsets, a very experienced coach, tell his ass that if he doesn't want to do it, he can take his ass to the house. First half. District ball game.
To the deaf kid?
No.
Okay, just to the difficult kid.
Kid that's having problems. One of our
Take your ass to the house.
top 5 players on the team.
Right.
He eventually communicates that to him. Look, you're going to have to jump on board or you can take your shit and go to the house.
Right.
And I turn as the ball is down here, and there's 80 yards of field this way, and this kid is throwing shit off that I have bought his uniform headed to the locker room. By the time he gets to the goal line, he's got nothing but his boxers on, and he's headed to the locker room. And I said, "Well, John, the coach that I talked to, that didn't work out like we thought it was."
He goes, I will go to the house. How
It's
about
like-
that?
So he said, "I'll call
Yeah.
your bet and
Backfire. I'll
yes.
call your bluff. And
Jesus Christ.
The next week, that kid said, "Hey, do you think I can play basketball?" I was like, no, F you, bud."
see you later. So the next one, if the Chiefs win, will Andy Reid be doused in barbecue sauce after the game instead of Gatorade?
No. The answer is 100% no. Why would that
The
be?
game is in
For
New
s-
Orleans.
for
It would
some
be
reason-
Ramalade and not
Yeah.
Yeah.
barbecue.
Right.
Don't know why that was there.
Now, does this have Taylor Swift getting engaged?
Yes, it
okay.
does.
Okay.
That's one of the
Gotta
best.
be there.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
Drake's Super Bowl curse. Everybody know about this one?
No.
No.
So apparently every team Drake cheers for doesn't win.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
And he's been at championships games. So everybody's wanted to see what he'll show up wearing.
Okay, so it's what jersey he
Yeah.
wears to the.
And
or color
that team
or
that team
whatever.
will lose.
Okay.
So you bet against
No
Yeah,
shit.
that's a
That-
bet.
it's just, that's kind of like the
So,
Ted
and he's
Cruz.
a 0
Yeah.
4 so far. Like he's a loser.
He's over. So none of the teams he's ever wore is one.
Raptors is a big team that he cheers for. So,
Oh, right.
Yeah, he's from
Canadian,
Toronto.
yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
But-
I'm pretty sure they're 0 for and
Yeah.
yeah.
they're
Everything.
fixing to be over. Fuck Canada. How many players will have a passing attempt? You can bet on that.
Is both teams combined?
Yeah, just how many players will have a passing attempt? Like if it's a halfback pass.
So
or-
obviously,
Okay.
obviously
Okay.
2 players, the quarterbacks.
yeah, but how many players?
But will they do some?
Because
trickery?
everybody always tries something like the Philly, something.
Will the punter throw one?
so you
Yeah,
can,
I'm with you.
So you can bet on that.
Okay.
But it's an over/under. You got to pick the right. Like you got to say 4.
You just
Or is it
over is
over-
2.5,
Okay.
under is 2.5.
Gotcha. Okay.
That doesn't make any sense, but that's what it says.
No, the over under is 2.5.
Number of beers sold. You can bet on that.
Holy shit! What's that over under?
Over is 120,000.
I think you take the over.
Okay,
100.
so the Super Bowl seats how many?
The
Or
Superdome.
Superdome?
Superdome?
sorry.
No
Yeah.
idea.
Let's see.
Maybe-
70-something thousand.
Yeah, maybe 65 or 70. I mean, it's big, but I don't
Yeah.
think capacity-wise.
Standing
it's big.
room, maybe 75-ish.
Yeah, maybe so.
Yeah, 120. I'm going over.
Yeah, I mean, if
For
Blake,
sure.
if Blake was going, like if we could send him,
Yeah, I'm
and
gonna-
then bet the over.
I'm gonna fucking
Oh,
crank that shit up really high.
Are you looking at capacity?
Yeah.
Okay.
Stop it.
73,208.
I'm going.
Okay.
I'm still going over.
So that's one.
It's New Orleans.
1.25 per.
Yeah.
per
Obviously,
person.
there will be
It's New
people that
Orleans.
don't drink, and then there will be people that
It's
have
New
10
Orleans.
beers.
Yeah.
So,
I'm going.
No. You have the
Yeah.
the extreme both ways.
yeah.
So this is a big one. How many times will Taylor Swift be shown live throughout the game?
I'd say over
Oh,
12.
like
before
without
before
yeah.
you say the number, what do you got?
I'm gonna say 15.
Ooh,
I was going to say a dozen. And
I'm gonna say like 7.5.
5.5.
Ooh,
No, oh my God, she's gonna be shown so much more than that. During halftime, they're not gonna show her. Maybe
What
they will. I don't
color
know.
of Gatorade will be doused?
Purple.
Purple's number one.
Yep.
orange.
Then blue. Then yellow, lime, green.
is purple and
Red,
normal
pink, orange,
Gatorade
clear.
colored for football games? I've only seen really orange or green.
No, purple is a newer.
I know, but I mean, are they using that a lot
Yeah,
in NFL games? Okay.
they are.
I mean, I know I've seen
Oh,
purple
where you
Gatorade
going?
at
Pee
the
again? What are
you, colorblind?
convenience store. I'm
Yes.
just saying I've never seen it.
Well, no, it's
It's like the one on the sideline.
Yeah, it
it's
is
normally
more.
to me, it's either lemon lime or orange or whatever.
I would have said orange on one sideline and
Yeah, purple's the number one. Orange is
obviously
like.
you're not gonna have green
wait.
in the other.
How many times will the chains be used to measurement?
Oof,
I'd
that's
say
gotta be
0.
Like, that's got to be like over under's got to be like 0.75.
1.5.
Because
One and a half?
They don't really
Oh,
use chains
shit.
anymore. Everything's spotted on a hash.
1.5.
Yeah, I don't think that's like. I mean, I don't know, but
Will a kicker hit the upright or crossbar or on a missed field goal on an extra point?
yeah, hit the upright. That seems more likely than them dragging the chains out there here lately.
Yeah, for sure.
Doesn't Phillies kickers had some issues lately, hadn't he?
very much.
Like he's kind of had some yips.
Yes, like if you were a betting man, I'd pick Philly to like hit a because he has issues a little bit. Who will the Super Bowl MVP of the game thank first?
I'm gonna say
Texas Tech
God
Red
is
Raiders,
bad
probably.
odds. Lord and Savior Jesus Christ is bad odds here.
Probably right.
Well, so they've already said that Kelsey will be the MVP.
So the
according
number
to the-
one
hold on.
was.
According to the script,
Don't
Kelsey,
hold on me.
Kelsey will be MVP, which means Taylor Swift. That's going to be his. Will
Right.
you marry me?
Okay.
God, I'll puke. So teammates is number one.
Teammates before God.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Oh, God's down there.
No shit.
God's down there.
Coach is number two.
Jesus Christ, Lord and Savior is different
Family
than
is
God. or the
family's
same?
number three.
Wow.
Fans? What about fans?
Then God's four.
Ouch.
Owners five. Does not think anyone is the fifth.
That'll never happen. They're going to thank someone.
So we got to make America great again and move
Yeah.
Yes.
the big man up on that list, especially before, Swiftie. Although I do dig her music, being a dad of two girls.
Of course.
Yeah. There are multiple songs that I can now play on the guitar because of
Because of your kids.
because of Travis Swift.
Travis Swift.
No, I say it on purpose. Like
Yeah.
that.
That's why earlier I was like, I heard Taylor Swift's team made it to the Super Bowl. I'm like, oh my God.
No,
was-
that should be our next thing. Is who takes whose last name?
Hey man, she did bring a lot of new fans to the watching NFL
No,
games.
100%.
my
No,
understanding,
she
so-
brought new fans to watching if she's going to be shown on TV.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
who's going to be
So
with her.
Got a few more.
But
Okay, go ahead.
NFL
Trying
corporate
to
probably
get
loves
to
it though.
Oh,
for sure.
100%.
Coin toss, heads or tails.
Okay.
Always.
So
Always
hold on.
tails.
This is where we bet. Me and you, we're going to bet. If you take one,
You'll
then
be
the
$10.
then
Who's up first?
So then the next one,
The other guy.
I
goes
get to
first.
pick first.
Okay.
So I'm going to let you pick first, heads or tails.
Heads.
And we're just going to bet $1.
Heads.
All right.
Okay.
Blake's in for
$1.
$1. Okay.
You got heads, I got tails.
Are y'all writing this down?
No,
No.
it's on.
They got
Oh,
it
it's
on.
on. It's on video.
Who will get
documented.
MVP thanks? Oh, we already did that one. Travis Kelsey proposes to Taylor Swift after the Super Bowl.
I'm gonna
That is
say-
a bet.
I'm going to say yes. Are we gonna? Are we? We'll just let's go the ones we're betting.
Now-
Who scores first? Like
Now-
what team scores first?
Wait,
Just
real
read.
quick on him proposing to her. Is that only
I think that
if the
should be
Chiefs
outside
win,
of your-
or if Philadelphia wins? Do you think he puts the ring and he's like,
Yeah,
He's like,
he's
yeah,
like,
not.
yeah,
No,
I'll
he
do
was
that.
I'm just
not.
reading the strangest
Okay.
things people bet.
Okay, let's not do that.
No.
What major brand will the first Super Bowl commercial be?
See,
It'll
again,
be
I
a
think
beer.
that's outside
Budweiser?
of your.
It's got to be beer.
No.
Right?
That's outside of your yes or no.
No.
Bet, yes or no.
Yeah,
bet,
yeah. There's too many variables there, so we just got to do. Okay, so let's do it like this. Stop looking at that.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go heads or tails. You've already took heads.
Blake
I took tails.
has taken heads, correct?
And yeah. So I'm on tails. That's $1 bet.
Okay.
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 So who?
A whole dollar?
Yeah, whole dollar. So who scores the first touchdown? Philly or KC?
All right, you're up.
Now I'm up. I'm gonna take Philly.
that's what I do. That's a good one.
Stupid bet.
So you have KC.
So basically, Blake's
Well, I
up
can't
$2
take-
to none now.
Right.
Wait,
I can't take another bet.
Wait, was that first touchdown or first
Okay,
score?
so-
I'm sorry.
Yeah, first score.
Okay, so field goal,
First score.
whatever.
Yeah.
You
Okay,
said
Philly's
first
gonna-
touchdown.
Oh, I did say first touchdown. Okay.
Loser.
So, no, we'll leave it there. First touchdown.
Okay.
I'm still taking
12.
Philly. So let's go first score. Now it's your bet. First score of any kind. Now it's yours.
KC.
Okay,
You're,
so
you're an idiot.
Okay.
So you've lost $3 to me.
All
Thanks.
right. You owe me $4.
how about halftime leader? Is that your next one?
Okay. Yeah. Oh, well, I mean, if y'all have got some, yeah, let us know.
No.
So halftime leader. Now I pick first. I'm going to say Philly halftime leader.
Damn it! I wanted that one.
So you got KC.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
What else?
Let's go.
First team to punt.
What
was
about
gonna- I was gonna say.
I heard one earlier today. Saquon Barkley over under on yardage.
150.
Well, I think I heard 115. So I mean, I think most people think
I
he'll
think
get
that's-
100, but the 115.
For the entire game, right?
115, I think, is a pretty good number.
So that,
115
this
to
is you over and
125.
under.
Over 115 rushing.
Yeah, Saquon Barkley over or under 115.
Over.
Over.
Okay. So I have the under. Now, all these are $1 bets.
And you have red and orange underwear on, by the way, right now. Like so far from all your picks.
100%
I
he
picked
does.
over
But
on
he,
Philly.
but he went. Yeah, he went over.
I
on
think it's going to be
Saquon.
120, and they're going to lose on the field goal
Don't
kick
like-
at the end.
Oh,
First team to punt. That's my pick now. I'm going to say the Chiefs are the first team to punt.
Another dollar to me.
3 and out.
okay.
First
Um,
first one's 3 and out.
Who is more successful on fourth down conversions?
Oh, KC. Goddamn.
I think you're right, but also it means I have Philly.
Okay.
Will there be a tush push by Philly?
Yes.
Well, then the
Well, I
answer
mean, they've got to be like
It's
on
the
the
same-
half
I
yard
mean, that's
line or
yes,
whatever.
but that's
I mean,
fourth down conversions, yeah.
Right.
No, they do fourth down conversions on them.
But they'll do that on
there
first
will be.
down.
They
When
do
if
all
they're on,
kinds of
I mean, they got to
bullshit,
be
though.
like,
Yes,
And
there
so
will
does-
be a tush. Yes, there will be.
I think it's going to be a convergence of like Andy Reid is not scared to do
Oh, yeah.
whatever he wants inside of the minus 40.
And he has
Right.
maybe the
Right.
best defensive tackle in the game. Chris Jones is pretty fucking tough, boy. I
I
know
would
he's
call
getting,
him a defensive end.
I
but
know he's getting old. I know he's getting old. He's like over 3. I think he's like 320. Yeah, he's pretty
Hobbs?
fucking bad.
I'm good. Thank you.
Okay.
What's
Uh,
next?
Y'all got anything else we can bet on?
So-
so right now we're at 5. So
Will-
I need
okay.
one more for me to make it
To
try
make
to
it even,
Yeah.
and then you're going to pick the winner.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, so.
Well, we both think the same team's winning. So just give me one more that we can bet on.
do an over under
Oh,
on passing
Do the
yardage.
do the
overtime.
engagement.
What now?
No. Okay. I got one. Which team will have the most total offensive yards?
Oh, nice.
Oh, I would go with
I'm
Philly. on
no,
that.
but it's not your pick. I'm going. It's me, Philly. So you get the Chiefs.
So you feel like Blake, like Kansas City's going to win, but Philadelphia is going to have the better game.
Well, if you watch most of the games on KC,
Games them style.
they
Like on games on
They
the picture
haven't-
box that they have.
yeah
over
they haven't had the
my
best
folks' house.
offensive performance, but they always keep winning. Philly-
Stats wise, though, you feel like they lose the stats game, but they win the game.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that what you think as well? Like
Yeah, I think KC wins the game, but Philly wins the stats game.
Okay.
And plus, I think it come down to their field goal kickers.
He thinks it's gonna be field goal. I think Casey's just going to win.
No, I think
I think we're in agreement that we all think Philly's a better team and
Yeah.
Casey's going to win.
No,
now.
they're the more complete
I will
team,
never-
but
I mean, this year they're a better team.
the
I will
deciding
never-
factor is Mahomes
Yeah.
and the kicker. Philly's kicker sucks dick, and they have. The,
I
and
will
Kansas
never
City's-
say Philly's a better team than anyone.
If Philly wins, fuck them. I hate them. hate them.
Well, I will issue my prediction.
Go ahead.
I think that the original 11.5 or whatever is much more likely, and I think Kansas City stomps
gonna
a
kick
mud
that shit.
hole in the
I hope
ass,
you're fucking
and it's boring
right.
in the second half.
God, I hope you're
And
right.
we are watching commercials that somebody paid $7.5 million for some kind of chip dip or whatever.
Yeah.
And that's the only part that we're
you're
watching
right.
because Patrick and all the guys have already, high five and low fived on the sidelines, and it's a sleeper.
And
I
had
said it's
purple Gatorade poured on
Yeah,
them.
I said it's a 2-score game.
I hope
By Casey. Casey's going to win by at least 11 points, if not more.
yeah.
I hope Hobbs is right, and I hope they beat the fuck out of Philly.
No, I think they will, and that comes from the person that my wife's side of the family divorced every kind of allegiance to Dallas. They hate Dallas whenever they fired Landry, when Jerry bought the team, and either went Broncos or Chiefs. That's everybody in the western part of the United States went one way or
Yeah,
the other,
yeah.
right? And so they went Chiefs, and so Chiefs was their loser of a hold on for the whole time until God created Patrick Mahomes, and then he spit out a kid, and he created Patrick Mahomes Jr., and then that's what became.
This is our savior.
Yes. So 30 years in the making.
God
eventually,
damn.
we have somebody that can shit out something that's worth half a
Oh,
damn.
God, I hope you're right.
But at the same time, I also understand that Patrick Mahomes is that guy. So
Yeah, he
all
is.
the intangibles that we were talking about leading people, and I don't know if homeboy at Philadelphia. I don't know if he is that.
I don't think he is.
That
He's
and
got-
that
he's got-
really does what it.
Yeah.
And I think he's fantastic,
Right.
but I don't know if he's that.
I
Yeah.
don't think he's that
That's-
to beat. He's
right.
not that to
That's
beat
the
Mahomes.
difference.
It's already went
And
down
I hate
once.
Patrick Mahomes. Like I want to punch him in the face every time I see him.
but he's a-
I can't stand his ass.
Hey,
Like,
guys, this is me, Patrick Mahomes.
and he carries himself like I
Yeah.
want to punch him in the face.
Yeah.
Right,
If
right.
I had drank enough at the bar,
Super
Right.
douchey.
punch up.
Right.
Super douchey.
Yeah,
guy.
no, yeah.
But-
got his headband on,
Yeah.
his
His
shit's
little
shaved
stupid-
up sideways,
and he started
got a
that-
dangly
he started the
earring.
stupid haircut that you see
I
with
want
the-
to kick him
But
in
he's
the
a
crotch.
freak. His arm's a freak of nature.
But
really
he
proud.
gathers
Yeah.
guys behind him.
Right.
And they line up behind him. And a guy like Travis Kelsey, like, why does he associate himself with Patrick Mahomes? It ain't because they're buddies.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, those guys are so totally
Yeah.
different
Right.
in their
The
social
Kelsey boys
sphere.
are bros, right?
Right. Yeah. The
Beer
the
drinking bros.
epitome. Yeah, but and also the epitome of the pro football playing family, right? Like they have this, and Patrick is way over here, in my opinion, like the cult of personality. But somehow they line up behind him, and the same that could be said, in my opinion, with Andy Reid. Like they line up behind him.
Right.
Because they
There's,
see
there's
him on the-
something there.
Somebody's got to
They-
buy in.
Well, they see Mahomes on the field and they're like, "Fuck."
right.
Fuck.
I mean, it's like,
Fuck.
God damn, this is dude. So it's on the sports,
Verbosity coming
Hey.
from Blake.
Fuck.
sports,
Yes.
Sports.
Sports. Fuck.
Luca trade.
Oh, here we go. I was
Hobbs.
wondering if we're going to get to this because this happened since y'all's last podcast,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like
this
right
is,
after.
This is in my notes. Luca
Dude.
trade.
Okay.
What do you think?
What
When
do I think? Personally?
What do you think personally?
That went down late
I want the sports
last Saturday,
guy.
right?
Yeah.
Yes,
It was-
Saturday.
it was,
9 o'clock at night.
No,
was
about
up-
11 o'clock at night.
And
I think.
I
was
woke
that
up and I got the alert and I'm like, what the? I was like, this is fake as fuck. No fucking way they traded Luca.
So here's my big picture. Now this is not fair because it's a week out,
Yeah.
Right.
If you have decided as an organization this is what you want to do,
sure,
it makes total sense.
it makes total sense to me, except for what they got for the trade.
No, I disagree. They got it.
You don't think they could have got
In your
better?
face, bitch.
In what other instance does someone trade a superstar for a superstar? Who's leading the NBA in scoring and all like like every statistical category right
I
now.
have no fucking clue.
It's fucking AD. He's leading all of
You
them.
got me there because I'm not a basketball guy.
I don't watch anything on basketball.
AD's averaging about 28 points.
Yeah.
Now Luka was averaging, I think, a little more than that, but he's been out. He's been hurt, so is
But
AD.
is it not a superstar for a superstar?
Do you
Man,
think
it
do
is.
You
AD is a
personally think
superstar.
It's
that
a
was-
race thing.
All right, here we
What?
go. This
now,
is spicy.
now you got Daniel.
Now we got spicy.
Yeah, no, it has to be because in Dallas we
Who's
have a
the-
white guy. He's from goddamn Ukraine or Belarus or wherever he's
Slovakia or
from.
whatever.
Yeah,
Slovenia.
but yeah. Sorry, I missed it, but not Slovakia. That's also incorrect. Wherever the hell he's from.
Yeah.
But that being said, they have gotten rid of most of our international players.
Right.
So, I
Right.
mean, there could be.
Yeah. So who's the GM?
The guy that came from Nike.
Nico.
Nico
Yeah.
Harrison.
Yeah.
No, Nico Harrison came from Nike, but he's looking at it from what can I do right now?
So
what can I
Well,
make?
because I don't know shit about NBA, but here's one thing I do know: it is a win right now league. Like
So-
NBA is not. We're going to look at
We're not building a team.
Yeah, it is right now.
Yeah,
What can I do to
For
win?
sure. So
And
obviously,
the only build is right now we're so shitty that we might get the first pick. That's the only, and that's just this year.
Right.
Everything else
We're
is
still in the playoff hunt.
right.
so obviously Nico and Luca had. Right.
So, something behind
His
the scenes is
workout-
going on. Yeah, for sure. Between them.
It's always been talked about. Guy doesn't want to work out. He's out of shape.
Right.
Blah 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 blah.
He
Right?
smokes at halftime.
He drinks
I've heard
beers,
that.
Blah, blah.
Yeah.
And so, what do you really think of it personally?
I mean, obviously, I'm not in the room. I don't
But
know.
what would you?
Me personally,
Yeah.
I think that there has to be smoke with fire.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So like if Nico
There has to be
Harrison
something
has,
else, right?
if he has a golden goose in the hand that everybody thinks in Dallas. I watched the news like 2 nights ago, the Dallas news, and they had like Luca Day, where all the news
That's
is like
a memorial.
the Green Day song is playing. Like
Time of your life.
Yes,
Yeah.
holy shit!
They had
and
a-
got
they had a
Luka on his
memorial.
jersey. Yes,
Memorial.
yes. So if that is the perception, and the reality is so far
From that.
different than that,
He has
you
to do
telling me
something,
there's
man.
not something going on there?
He has to. There has to be something else that we
Right.
don't know.
He has an arm growing out of his ass. He has,
Right.
you know, he dresses up like Little Bo Peep every other day.
Or he's-
Right.
Whatever. You know,
Yeah,
something
there's
is
something
going on.
there.
This dude's not going to make it another couple of years, right?
Right.
Well,
Something.
I'll tell you, I was sick to my stomach. I mean, seriously, like I love Luca, and AD's an awesome player, but man, it was like a gut punch to me, and to me, it doesn't make sense.
No,
like,
it's
I
like
don't.
I said, Luca's
get it.
exciting. When you watch a game, even, no matter what the Mavericks record, he's an exciting player, right?
And time will tell, obviously, who wins this trade. But I feel like the Lakers got the better end of it, to me.
So
And
what about the unsaid so far, which is the attitude on the court and in the room. So the I got fouled, I'm going to get it because Luka.
Yeah, he whines.
No, not whines. Whines ain't the right word. He was in danger of not playing in multiple playoff games because of the number of technicals.
Yeah.
As a result of bitching at the
Yeah, no,
referees,
you're not
which
wrong.
is a short list, like him and Tim Duncan. That's it. like nobody else bitches as much as him, and there's nothing that wears people out more.
LeBron?
But I don't think of LeBron actually because he's got so much stock built.
Yeah.
that I don't know that he actually gets to
But
that
Tim
point.
Duncan is
Yeah, Tim
there.
Duncan's it.
And
Yeah,
he still
it's a
won
whole
his
other-
championships, though.
Right, but he didn't bitch when he got those though,
Yeah.
or he bitched on the way to getting them.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
Either
Yeah.
way,
Yeah.
like I don't know. I think that shouldn't be discounted. And if you see that on the floor, well, then what's he like to deal with at practice?
In the locker room.
What's he like to deal
That's
with?
what
in the
people
locker
say,
room?
there has
And I
to
don't
be-
know. I
Well,
honestly
people
have no idea what
There
the
has to be
answer to that.
something else to. You have arguably the top 2 player in the NBA.
Yeah, he's way up there. There's no doubt. No doubt.
There has to be
And
something.
probably if you're lining out a list of best players, I'm not going to argue with you if you say that he is ahead of AD.
Yeah.
I have no problem
But there
with
has
that
to be
argument.
something else to this.
But what are you trading
Yeah.
for? He's younger. AD's
7 years
older.
younger,
What are
yeah.
you trading for? But what is your workplace relationship going to be like?
There has to be
What is your
some-
team going to function?
Right.
Be like, and then what in the end are you not paying his ass?
That's what
That's
I think.
that's the number one thing
to me,
unsaid.
To me, the biggest factor was the Supermax contract.
Yeah.
Was the thing.
Right.
That's
and
the NBA
maybe
now.
Dallas is looking at the NFL, model that they have put out, which a lot of teams have been successful with, especially like LA, etc. Which is we're going to put all of our money on veteran players in a piecemeal, and then we're going to put our quarterback, San Francisco, our ABC stud that are draft picks, and we don't have to pay them a ton, and then we're going to make it this
Ride
one
that-
run, and then
You've
we're
got
gonna
a few
disappear
years
for a
to
minute.
make it happen.
You
Run,
ride the
disappear.
rookie contract,
Right.
and you're done.
Right, and if you subscribe to that sort of thought process, then maybe, and I know NBA is way more complicated than that, and you've got flat Earth guy, can't think of his name,
Kyrie.
Kanye,
Kyrie.
Kyrie.
Kanye, Kyrie,
Kanye.
tomato.
I think they're both flat
I
earth
thought,
guys,
I thought he was talking about me.
Oh, yeah, exactly. All those guys are the
Kanye,
same.
Kyrie, Daniel.
All the same.
Yeah. But again, you still have to piece it together. You still have to make it work. If you have three great players and a bunch of dudes that literally can't walk and chew gum at the same time,
Blake, he needs a beer.
then you're going to end up with the same prospect as one badass, but four guys that are a little bit in between. Like
Right.
it's a math problem all the same way.
Let go of me.
And I think in the end that's the path that Nico is taking.
Right.
And that's also the path that LA is taking. They're all playing their bet on what is the best algorithm
Right.
to make my team the one that's going to be successful. Is it top down? Is it top is cool but not as much money, and then 2 and 3 are badass, and then 3 down is shit?
Yeah.
Or is it dispersed all evenly? Like, what's the best model to be
Right.
successful?
Right.
I think that's what everybody's playing.
But I don't know that Nico took into account the fan perspective of how much they loved Luka. So even if AD coming here and Max Christie or whatever, that works out to where, again, the Mavs are kind of borderline
the
making.
other day, by the way.
Yeah, he had a good game. By the way, I mean, so they're borderline making the playoffs, but let's say they make it and make a run or whatever, and whatever, win, awesome. I mean, everybody's still, but people really liked Luka. Fans now,
No,
organization wise, again, behind the scenes,
Looking at jersey sales too.
I know.
Business.
man, again, I just think it's like I said, a gut punch for a
Right,
lot
and
of
that's where
DFW.
that's where you come into the difference between the Adelsons and or Mark running the organization and the
Mark
difference.
wouldn't have traded him.
If you trade, whether he would or wouldn't, go right down the road and ask yourself the same question about Jarrah.
Yeah.
Would Jarrah have traded him? Fuck no.
No.
Not
No.
in a million goddamn
No,
years.
no, no.
And
Jerry
that's
would have
because
super
of what-
maxed him
he
now
wanted the
instead of waiting
jersey
until
sales.
because
and
of
all
the
that
jersey
stuff.
sales,
Yeah.
right?
No, Jerry would have
the
never
winning
done
and
it.
losing don't matter.
Yeah.
And Jarrah would have been just fine with JERRUHH. Would have been just fine with, him arguing with the refs.
And that is why Dak has signed such a big contract.
Yeah.
right.
Well, that's another reason. But like Jerry's laughing his ass off because this Luka thing that took the heat off me. For a little
I
bit.
disagree. I think the last 7 days is some of the worst days of Jerry's life.
Really?
Because they're
the
not
Heat
talking about
lost
the fucking Cowboys. They're talking about
Right,
the
Yeah,
well,
Cowboys.
yeah.
that is true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He wants his. He does want his name in the.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Whether it's I have a baby with somebody from Little Rock or
Gate agent from Little Rock.
whatever. Yeah. It doesn't matter. It has nothing to do with the truth.
Like he always
what
said,
matters is they're
no-
talking about me. Yeah,
Any publicity is good.
100%.
Bad or nothing.
No, I
Do you
don't
think Dak was a good sign?
Oh, I'd love to hear this.
Me personally, I think that Dak is an okay player, but I'm tainted by what everybody else has now,
Yeah.
which is the body of work.
Right.
And the body of work tells me that he is a well above average NFL quarterback.
Okay.
So if I'm throwing darts at is a 4th round pick that turns into a well above average multi-contract NFL quarterback a good pick, there's no doubt it's a good pick. It's unbelievable. That's
But
like
do you think
one
he's
in
worth the
200.
contract he got?
Yeah, of course he is. But worth doesn't mean shit. Worth doesn't mean anything.
Worth is when your contract's up
Worth
and
is
you're that
when
guy.
your contract's up and when you're that guy.
Right.
Yeah, it doesn't. The worth doesn't mean anything.
Right.
Worth is you were a 4th round pick, so all the talking heads in the world said that you were number 130
Yeah.
out of all the players in the NFL.
Right.
130. You're the 130th best pick, and you are going to start for an NFL team multiple years in a row. If that pans out to be your thing, then it is a win in an exponential factor. So yes, you should pay him. Now, is he the best? That's a whole other conversation. Like, what are you trying to be?
Okay, I guess my question is he a guy that will take us to the Super Bowl
No.
and win?
No.
I
Agree.
agree.
That is the most divergent conversation
Right,
ever.
right.
Because for
But
But you could also say,
but we're talking about we're talking about like Luka and blah 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 and fan perspective.
5 is different than 11, though, too.
Well, but we're talking about Luka fan perspective, and we're talking about Dak fan perspective.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think, as a fan base, that anyone believes Dak will ever take them to the promised land.
Right.
I don't think so either. And I mean,
So-
obviously, people like Dak. He's a great human,
Right.
and he's a good
Right.
football player. You know what I mean? So
Yeah. I
there's
mean, he's in the
there's
NFL,
Nothing
so-
there's nothing negative with his personality where people are like, man, I don't like that guy because he seems like an awesome dude, and
Right.
interviews he's sharp and all that. But I don't know that he's the guy to take us there either.
Okay, so let's throw all that out of the window and let's juxtaposition Luka versus Dak. And let's say that tomorrow we wake up and Dak got traded to Minnesota and he's gone.
Yeah,
Are we going to have the same uprising?
absolutely not,
Why not?
because Dak is fucking terrible.
Black? Oh, what?
Oh,
oh, racist.
he says that all the time.
I always say he's
no,
racist.
it's because he's just terrible. I don't think he's a good
I
quarterback.
don't think he's terrible.
I don't think he's terrible, but I agree. I don't think there'd be an uprising either.
Yeah.
I think there'd be some people like, oh, man, depending on who you got for a trade or whatever.
Right.
But
that's-
Luka
that's
has won
also-
how many titles?
No.
Zero. But he took
Okay.
us last year. I mean,
Right,
he
he got
took
him
us to the
there.
dance.
Yeah,
How'd that turn out?
but he
They lost to the
he got
Celtics,
him there.
But he got him.
Right.
And Dak
Dak's
hasn't got
won
him
one playoff
anywhere.
game or whatever.
Yeah,
But again, I mean, so back to like the contract. I don't know that Dak deserved that contract, but he was up at the time. Look at Kirk Cousins, who's gotten paid.
You have to. That's why I
millions
try
and
to
millions.
tell them
I
all
think
the
Kirk
fucking
Cousins
time.
sucks. But when his time came up, he's a guy that starts in the league that other teams are like, well, what else we got? You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
they're not willing to take
Well,
a chance on
That's why he's
a
telling
Brock
all the time
Purdy
is
or
you have
something
to-
that could be good.
Right.
If you want to keep your quarterback, you have to.
So
Even-
if you're a starter and it's your turn and you're
You're
a
gonna
bus
you're
driver
gonna
that's
get
driving
paid.
the team,
Yeah.
you're gonna get
He's
you're
not
gonna get
freaking
paid.
paid.
Well, and if you boil it down to even more than that, what's the guy that was at Minnesota this year?
Quincy Carter.
No,
It was
From
Sam Darnold.
Sam
Darnold.
Darnold,
Okay,
yeah.
so Darnold.
horse shit. Yeah.
Okay.
but he's about to get paid too.
Yeah.
I mean,
Humongous.
No, I don't think he will.
I think he's about to.
yes, ridiculous.
He's gonna get paid. Yeah, 100%.
ridiculous because he won 13
Yeah.
regular season
Yeah.
games, some crazy shit like that.
Yeah.
With a team
Yeah,
that
Minnesota was good.
had not done it in the past.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden he's like, bam, I'm
Yeah.
gonna do it, and like pulled off the shelf too, like
Yeah.
driving
Yeah.
Uber buses. And all of a sudden he's
Well, yeah,
he
like
shows
a
up
year
and he's-
ago.
Well, he went to
Same thing, people were like,
USC, right? USC
Okay, this dude's a
quarterback.
decent backup, and now Minnesota. I'm telling you, this year, dude, he won the lottery because
but-
he is about to get a
He's-
paycheck.
But I think Dak
dumb.
hurt himself when he got caught on camera saying we fucking suck.
No, Dak hurt himself when he got injured.
Well,
and he can't run.
but I
anymore.
mean, just I'm talking
When he
about.
broke his leg,
I'm talking
that's
about
how
yeah.
hurt himself.
that's
Fan
what
base. You're talking
Dak-
about fan base.
But I'm talking about fan perspective. We
well,
fucking suck.
Let's get it straight. Y'all don't listen. Dak hater.
I hate
From the
Dak.
Hey,
Okay.
from the get go, because
I'm not a hater, but I don't.
I'm more
Hey.
of a Romo hater than Dak.
See, and
hater.
I love
Hey,
Romo.
From a racist person.
Yeah.
They've always said I'm racist.
I've always said don't like Dak because he's black. He's a 4th-round pick from Mississippi State. Beat Bama in college. He's got. I
And
like
he
his.
replaced Romo too, so that's probably.
I
Gonna
do
Yeah,
like
no,
his.
it
I
doesn't
do
like a
like
knife
his
in my
leadership
side, dude.
quality.
Sure.
Um,
I'm not look
I'm worried now about
longevity.
But-
his mobility.
So,
right?
so
It-
Daniel,
he just can't. You have to be mobile a little bit, right?
what do you
can't be
think would be a
statue.
way to go? Like to draft somebody and hope that they
He
turn
doesn't
out to
know.
be good,
He
or
don't know.
or do you think there's somebody of equal level that the Cowboys could trade for,
Well, unfortunately, they've got him locked in a long-term contract, so that's out of the question trade-wise.
Well, and again, it's not like the Cowboys go, you know what? Let's get Patrick Mahomes. Let's,
Right.
You know what I mean? So
100%.
I'm talking about like,
But I think
again, are you getting a Kirk Cousins or a Sam Darnold?
I think you.
That's where I look at Dak and I'm like,
you have to
Are you
draft.
shitting me?
You have to draft, and you have to build with that guy, right?
Need to run the football.
Like Cooper Rush,
yeah,
great quarterback.
okay,
You fucking suck.
okay.
No, Cooper Rush.
I'm a few
Hey,
beers in.
I will give Cooper Rush credit. He made him some money,
right.
but he
Co-
is
Cooper
what
Rush-
he is.
Cooper Rush is not the guy that's going to.
No, you always told me he was going to take us to the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
Always told me.
100%. He's not the guy.
No.
Right?
No.
And who's the guy they got from fucking San Fran?
Trey Lance.
He's not the guy either.
No.
But you have to develop something, right?
Yeah.
And
Again, Brock Purdy, good.
Yeah.
You know, Mr. Irrelevant. I mean, he
Hey,
was the last.
I
person
told you
drafted.
about Brock Purdy 2
Right.
years before he drafted.
Right.
And I don't think Brock Purdy's great, but he also has a good team around him. But
he has a good brain. He understands.
yeah,
but you have to
The
develop.
coach is the main thing in
Yeah.
San Francisco. He knows how to run the system.
It doesn't matter where he
He
comes from,
knows.
whether you draft him, you pull some other, but you have to develop something. You have to develop something, and they don't do that. The Cowboys
No,
just don't do
That's
that.
what drives me
well,
crazy.
but
is
they did kind of with Dak when they first got him.
He was the
He
last
was the
one that
fourth-
they.
he was the
yeah.
fourth
And so he
round
was kind of a surprise that this, you know.
But so was Romo.
yeah, Romo was.
Romo
too.
was undrafted.
Romo was a
Fluffer.
miracle, I believe. Was
Yeah,
the
miracle.
what Jerry said.
Fluffer.
Fluffer. You're right.
But the thing is, they have not took stock in a quarterback since Troy Aikman.
100%.
So the other thing to just kind of wrap your head around is all of those people that you talked about and everybody else that played right next to him, whether they were a star running back, a star lineman, a star defensive player, anything in between, their hit rate is totally the spin of the roulette wheel.
Mm-hmm.
And what I mean by
Yeah, it's
that is
insane.
they're all elite.
Right.
They're all elite
Right.
athlete-
Oh, yeah, God almighty.
athletes.
They got there, so they're elite.
Yes, the elite of the elite, and the difference between those is so minute, but it's the intangible that you don't know about. And when I say intangible, I mean like, what is your reaction to when somebody gives you $7.5 million?
Right.
Right. So that mental capacity to be able to process that is not something that you can quantify, even on a test that they work very hard and spend millions of dollars trying to quantify.
Right.
They still don't understand. Are you going to blow that on hookers? Are you going to use that
Sorry,
to
Michael
your
Irvin.
advantage? Right.
Right.
And he was elite.
He
was a performer,
Hall of
and that's-
Famer.
and that splits us into a whole other diversion. Is you can still be a fuck up and be smart and be a good
That was
player.
Irvin
Right.
and Eric Williams
Right.
blowing
So-
coke on prostitutes.
So the combination of taking that big swath of unbelievable players, pulling them all on the roulette
hard.
wheel, dropping your ball, watching it spin around, hitting on one, because that's what you're doing, is
Right.
hitting on one.
100%.
And then, is that guy going to be the guy that in a year and a half, nobody remembers who he is? Or is a great player for 5 years, who cares?
Right.
Or is a great player who almost makes it Sam Darnold? Who cares, right?
Yeah.
It's Sam Darnold, who
Yeah.
the fuck is that? Or is a guy that takes teams to the Super Bowl?
Roger
you know?
Party. So, who should the Cowboys draft in the first
All
round?
right, so I was going to ask this earlier.
Because I got mine.
So, I mean, I know that your team, Ashton Genty. What about... I mean, Blake is 100%, has his Frisco Lone Star jacket.
I was
You're
going to bet Ashton Genty.
fucking right.
Right. And that should 100%
guy's
be what you do. Yes.
a
A
beast, and
stud running back
If
who
he
will...
falls to you at 12, why would you not?
He
take
will
him?
play on average somewhere between 2.5 and 3.5 years in the NFL, and I totally think you should
Yeah.
put all of your money on him because that
Sure.
will take our franchise
And he
where
can
it
take
needs
your
to go.
quarterback better.
Yeah,
than,
2.5 to 3.5 years on average.
Yeah,
Right.
So
sure.
yeah, that's the worst fucking decision ever. That's terrible.
God damn, we got to-
Wait, you think taking Ashton Genty is?
Yes,
Okay.
running backs are the worst.
I love
worst draft.
I
pick
know, I get it.
So
ever in the first round.
I don't know shit.
And I
about-
love Ashton Genty. I think he would be a
I
great
think he's
player.
generational.
I don't know shit
agree.
about who they should draft.
I still don't think he's taking.
What I know is that they have to. There's a
I
lot of
like other running backs too, like
Tosh
Rocket,
Brooks, Texas Tech.
Sanders. Center, South Carolina.
Yes, Texas Tech.
Yeah.
Tosh Brooks was good.
He's
dude.
just he's a Thunder to go with the Lightning. He's not going to be like your guy.
But there's a lot of things that the Cowboys have to put into place that I don't know. They have enough draft picks.
They
to
might
do
need
it.
a center.
Right.
They might.
Yeah.
There's a
Beyondish?
couple other things. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's so much they need, and it doesn't matter. You could have the best running back in the fucking world, but you don't have a line to block for him. Who gives a shit?
Right.
Right. 100%.
It's one in the trenches. Sure.
Two in the stink.
Yeah, I was,
One in the pink, one in the stick. That's what we're
I was leading that
This is
way.
where
as
we're
well.
getting off. This is
Yeah.
hour 2 and a
All
half.
right, I got one more. Hey,
go
so
ahead.
Oh, I got more.
we were very sports heavy. No, we're almost done.
Okay.
Before we leave,
Nope.
ude uye understande utway am a say.
Pig Latin.
Pig
Got it.
Latin.
Yeah.
So y'all
Yeah.
pig Latin. So when's the last time y'all
Saddam
heard?
Hussein's son.
Tombstone?
Uday Kuse. Oh.
When's the last time? When's the last time y'all heard pig Latin?
The movie
It's been a
Tombstone when Tombstone when Doc starts saying it to.
That was actual Latin. That
Yeah.
wasn't.
That was actual Latin, not pig Latin.
All right, we're on Latin stuff.
Yeah. that-
He goes, it was close.
Ugle. Men in Tights. Robin.
All right, hey,
Men in Tights.
run by what she said again, and I'll.
In
I'll
vino
translate.
veritas.
Ude uye
Yeah, there
understande
you go.
utway am a
I
say.
think,
Yeah.
that's-
Do I understand what you're saying?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah. So a few of those words were vowel.
Pig Latin.
vowel
Robin
startings.
Hood. Men in Tights.
Well, so
That checks boxes. Go
honestly, I don't understand. I don't remember the last time I heard pig Latin, but I got really big into watching as I fall asleep
Pig Latin porn.
pig Latin porn. They're going, oh yay, es yay,
That's
orme.
just Hispanic porn. I think.
He doesn't speak Spanish.
I think. Oye.
The one Mexican guy doesn't speak
Holy
Spanish.
shit.
That's not Pig Latin.
I've been watching Three Stooges as I fall asleep. Three Stooges I've always loved Three
Oh
Stooges.
God, yeah.
As I fall asleep though, and
There's no
then
Mexicans in
there was one. Yeah, right.
Is this
right.
after you take an Ambien or no?
No, I don't do
Oh,
that
no.
anymore.
Okay,
no.
gotcha.
Oh, damn.
But I was almost done. And then they started speaking pig Latin, and I went,
Wait, on the
"What
Three
is this?"
Stooges?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
I mean, I've seen episodes. I don't remember a
Yeah,
Pig
so
Latin.
so there was one episode where there was a famous. Yeah, he had fists. Famous redecorator,
Okay.
and his name was Ome.
Oh May.
Well, that's Mo in pig Latin.
Right.
Sure,
So-
everybody knows that.
Yeah.
So now we're to who's on first.
Yeah, who's on? Yeah,
Yeah.
2 seconds.
So now it's Larry, Curly, and Mo sitting at a table, and Larry and Curly are. I'm sorry, Mo and Larry are
Get their
speaking.
names right.
Mo and Larry are speaking pig Latin. Curly didn't know what pig Latin was, so he's like, "You speaking the pig language?" And anyway, and it woke me up, and I'm like, I haven't fucking heard of pig Latin in fucking forever.
No, and I want to say when I was a kid, like 13 or whatever, like it was
Long
an
time
old
ago.
thing then to
Right.
me, right?
Yeah.
Well,
So when I was a kid, like me and a neighbor, friend or whatever, when I first learned it, like, and then the other neighbor kid that didn't know it, we'd sit there and kind of
Yes.
talk, and he's looking at us, and
Oh,
we kind of,
yeah,
you know, it's a
oh,
funny
shit,
thing
yeah.
that we knew it, and then eventually we let him in on it and all that. But
Yeah.
but a couple years ago, though, in a conversation, pig Latin got brought up. But yeah, you're right. I don't know if kids nowadays still do that or not.
I'm not saying
100%.
But it was kind of a
I
secret
would-
language that, you know,
I
like
would
you could
highly doubt it.
have a buddy. But
So I want you to try that on your kids.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh my!
Try that on your kids
I
and
have to
see.
write
If,
it down though.
yeah. Oh yeah. 100%.
Oh yeah.
You know how long it took me.
my kids don't want to
took
hear
a
what
whole
I'm
week
saying
worth of
anyway.
This,
I mean,
this the whole time we've been recording.
What if your kids don't
I've
talk
been-
to you?
Hold on.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. The whole time we've been recording, I've been replaying that ude, uye,
7-word
understand
phrase.
it. Yeah.
Also,
In my mind, so I didn't mess it up. But I guarantee you, my kids they're going to look at me like, what the fuck are you saying?
Sure.
they usually do that though.
But 100%. They said, even if I was speaking regular English, they're going to go, what the fuck what are you saying?
So to tie on to that, what else has been completely not a part of our culture now that was either when you were a little kid or even before that?
Saturday morning cartoons.
Okay. Yeah.
For
100%.
sure.
that was big.
God damn. I
Like
love
Saturday
that.
morning cartoons is not a thing anymore.
No, zero.
No.
Agreed.
At all.
And really,
No.
the newspaper, I think.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
I
now
missed,
that-
I missed the paper.
They're two different things as far as like what's the cause, but
Yeah.
I agree.
I miss The crossword and the
No, the comics is the only thing I missed.
Right.
crossword.
I used to.
love the crossword.
The only time, the minute we got any kind of newspaper, let me get that comic section.
Yeah.
So
I miss
the
going
fact
to-
that Blake is missing the crossword has blown everything that we've done in the last 3 hours
Well,
out of the
I
water.
loved crossword.
He never got it right. He just
No.
put letters in.
I
He
made-
colored it.
Yeah, I made it.
It was like Tetris.
He
was
picked,
like, "What's
he
this
picked it up
picture?"
and he's like, paper. What's this? No, Blockbuster Video.
Okay.
Oh yeah,
I've talked to my
renting
kids.
videos.
I've talked to my
Okay.
kids about this, like the anticipation of
Friday night.
Friday night. I'm gonna go get a video or
Or a game.
video game or a fucking movie. We're
Pizza.
gonna get pizza.
And walking around and grabbing them off the
Yeah.
shelf and actually,
Yeah,
looking at the
looking at-
back and
Examining
reading what
what
the
they
movie's
had.
about.
And to
How
them,
many of them there was
Yeah.
in the stack?
And
So
to them
like,
they-
Yeah.
there's only one left of this one.
Yeah,
Ooh,
and to
shit.
them they can't
gonna get
comprehend.
it?
Like,
Or going to the front. Has anybody turned this one in? I don't
Yeah.
see. There's no
And
little
if you
tag.
just-
What
Yeah.
about in that box, Becky? Can you check
yeah.
that box?
And
Yeah.
if you just stumble across something like, oh shit, yeah, that's Big Trouble in China.
I think that,
Oh, that
Big
shit-
Trouble in Little China.
Loved it. So
I thought maybe you were behind the curtain at
So my-
Downtown Video. I go,
Right.
oh, shit.
no,
Whole
that's
other,
the point.
Yeah.
No,
Whole
but
other thing.
I was like, my girls, I've talked to her about them. I'm like, the anticipation was almost just as good as like
Well, but some
you
things,
wait all week. To
some
get
things
that.
I think we're circling back to, and one of the ones that my kids don't feel as weird about it here lately is when I was a kid, say before 12, 13, we would go to Pizza Hut and we would order a pizza
Yeah, fucking right.
and we would sit down and eat a pizza as a family.
Yeah.
Now, that's not completely out of the realm, but for the 30 years in between, that was a total like non sequitur. Like that wasn't going to happen, right? Like,
Yeah.
and now it's sort of circling back around to maybe that would be something that we would
Yeah.
do as a family is eat one thing. And
But
I
that's-
use pizza as examples.
Yeah,
so you
but
get the point.
but what you're talking about is just, and it doesn't matter what it is. It's sitting at the dinner table and eating together as a family.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
no,
what-
no. So
Yeah.
so we do that every night. Tasha makes dinner, or on the random off chance that I make dinner, typically it's Tasha, and we all sit at the dinner table. Now, the one thing that I do hate about that is that most of the kids
Sure.
have their phone going, and I'm sitting there trying to talk to everybody, but they'll have like a the AirPod
Yeah,
in their
take the
ear,
fucking
and they're listening to a video they're watching or whatever, and I'm like,
TikTok.
Well,
Probably right.
Yeah,
I would
TikTok.
offer though that you have moved ahead of a significant portion of the
100%,
population
but
just
at least-
by doing what you're
but
doing.
we at least sit and
Yeah,
and
I
so I've recently said no phones at the dinner table.
Okay.
Even if we
Good for
sit
you,
in
man.
silence,
That's
it's
awesome.
cool. Because like forever, my family's always done Sunday dinners. So every Sunday, my family got together. We did dinner, and it was a thing that we did. And no one brought a phone to the table. We all sat there and we talked and we bullshit. Brother, sister, mom, everybody. We've done that forever. But at my house, I'm like, okay, we're not bringing the phones to the table anymore. Like even if we sit in silence, that's fine. And you can just hate the 5, 10, 15 minutes we're here sitting at the table, and you can't wait to get back to your phone. That's fine. But we're gonna sit here, and I'm gonna talk. Whether you listen, hear me, or whatever, that's up to you.
Sure.
But we're going to do that.
I'd like to extrapolate that out and make a shout out to Troy Huseman, who said I should definitely 100% come and do this as opposed to help Bill Terry stuff.
Thank you,
capsules
Troy.
Yes, sir.
So shout out to you, Troy, who will 100% be listening to this on his drive to see his mom in Amarillo. And one
He
thing
listens
that I
to
will,
us every time.
yeah.
That blows my
He-
fucking mind.
Yeah, bored to tears. I'm
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah,
But, I
100%.
mean, the only thing more boring than this is driving to Amarillo.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
So you're welcome.
Quantitative. But no, one thing that he does that I'm super jealous of and I hope I can replicate is he does a family, their family do a video call on Sundays.
That's
and he
awesome.
has 3 different kids that live in different parts of the United
Right.
States. And at a certain time, they all come together and they do a video call. And I'm sure occasionally maybe it doesn't work out or whatever.
Right.
But I think that's the same exact thing as dinner together is let's bring ourselves back together. And I think there's some serious value in that as we as a society start to, trend towards isolationism,
Yeah.
right?
Drives
Yeah.
me fucking crazy.
How can we bring ourselves back together? And if we as men or as humans decide that what, this is great, and I'm going to follow this. I'm going to make a podcast with all this equipment, right?
Right.
But at the same time, I'm going to draw a line somewhere and say that in the end, the most important thing is that my family is able to commune together.
Right.
Even if at the end we hate each other.
Mm-hmm.
Think about the times where you hated your dad or hated your mom or hated your sibling, and fast forward for 30 years, do those same things that occurred then, those same feelings, translate to a situation where you either learned something or you felt value from that. And so Troy, again, hats off to him 100%. I think he's a badass human, is building that right now, and I hope to emulate that, because I think that's badass.
Yeah.
So like I said, my family.
Talkie.
Yeah, shut up. Ever since I was literally, my papa died in 85, so I was 5 years old when he passed away. It was literally the day after Christmas. Sucked for Christmas.
Yeah, no good.
But prior to then, my papa and my granny, they were divorced. But every Sunday, we would go to my papa's house. My granny and all the ladies would be in their in the kitchen cooking. Kids outside playing. All the men would be sitting at the table, bullshitting, playing dominoes, talking, just cussing and discussing, And so my dad and my mom always made it like it was a priority that Sunday dinner was family time. Whether it was lunch, dinner, whatever it was, family time. We'd always come together as a family, and we'd have something to eat and hang out, play games, whatever the case was. Kids running around outside playing, family time. Now, unfortunately, over the last year, me and my family have had an outing. We have not reconciled. I'm hoping that comes to an end.
Yeah.
And it sucks because every Sunday, I know what I'm supposed to do.
Right.
Me and my kids are supposed to be, and my wife, supposed to be at my mom's house, having Sunday dinner, cussing and discussing. And
Good or bad.
Good or bad. Right. And we would, there was always disagreements.
Sure.
But we'd always come back together. And for whatever reason, we can't come back together over this stupidity, disagreement that no one wants to admit they were wrong. I have admitted I'm wrong, and it takes a lot for me to admit that I'm wrong, but I have admitted I'm wrong in that situation. I'm not wrong. My reaction was wrong. But I've told everybody that was involved, I'm sorry. I did. Maybe I overreacted. Maybe I did. Maybe I didn't. Whatever.
I'm going to say you did.
Probably. Right. Right. Yeah. But I've apologized. And there's only so much I can do to apologize and say, hey, let's get back, let's do it.
Well, it sounds like on your end, I mean, you've reached out and you've done what you can. And
right.
I bet it all works out and you'll get back together.
I hope so.
And I hope it does.
And I pray it does.
I think it will, but I mean,
right.
It might take.
Whatever it takes. But that's the one thing currently missing. So at the very least, my family that I live with, we're going to do this every night for dinner. That's what we're doing.
But I think that's a microcosm of where we are as a society.
100%.
We lack those learning points. So whether it's a good day or a bad day on Sunday, you learn what not to do and what to do. Who to look up to, who not to look up to. Blake, he's thirsty.
Look up to me, please, Blake.
Right. But you learn all those things, and you also learn, cousin Brian is a dick, and if you're not careful, he's going to thump you on the head with his class ring.
You son of a bitch.
You learn all those societal things before you get into school or workplace or whatever.
Right.
And so if you're devoid of all those now, which I think a lot of families are devoid of those relationships and devoid of those interactions, then the consequence is I look like such a less alcoholic than all of you guys. My cup here.
What's in that cup?
Water.
That's why I didn't sit right next to you.
And then I think if we don't have those, then our kids, they're gonna fail or they're gonna succeed, but we don't know.
Right.
We don't prepare them.
Right.
So what?
Oh, go ahead, Boy.
No,
you go ahead.
Well, I was going to say
because he's talked enough.
My mom passed away in 1999, and a couple years later, my dad got remarried for 14 years, and he lived over in Weatherford. they got a divorce a couple years ago, but since then he just recently moved back to Mineral Wells. So I see my dad every once in a while. I don't talk to him as much as I used to. I love my dad, but he's here in town now, and I keep meaning to make a point where once a week or whatever that, like Wednesday we go to lunch or whatever.
Yeah.
And I keep making a point to do that, and I haven't gotten around to it because my dad's 76 now, so I don't know how much longer he'll live or whatever. But it makes me want to make that point because you don't know how long you have together and stuff. And anyway, that's on my agenda. And talking about this makes me think more. I really need to get with my dad and say, man, Dad, we really need to do this. Let's make a date, Tuesday, Wednesdays, whatever. That's our day. Let's go to wherever, and we meet there every Wednesday at noon or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And again, he's out enjoying his life. Like he does karaoke around town and stuff. And so I run into him occasionally. And
Jerry's a rock star.
He really is. Again, I'll be somewhere and all of a sudden he walks in. I'm like, hey, or people say like, hey, I saw your dad last night or whatever, which is really cool. But I just talking about your that you're wanting to get your family kind of back together and whatever's kind of separated y'all. That makes me think again that I really need to. Make it a priority to, again, don't know how long you have together. So
two things.
God damn it.
Yeah.
You talking again?
Yeah. Yes, I am. You're damn right. Two things. One, and these are two things that I've heard before, but it all puts everything into perspective for me, which is the reason why I want to get my family back together. Number one, the minute you're born, you start dying.
Sure.
So it's a matter of how long till that happens. But the minute you're born, he's
part of it.
You're starting to die. And number two is that when it comes to like Christmas, like everybody like, oh, how much you gonna spend on Christmas, blah, blah, blah. It's irrelevant how much money you're actually spending because that money is tied to the amount of work and life you're doing. So it doesn't matter how much I got paid per hour, but that's an hour of my life that is $15 an hour that they're putting a monetary value on. Sure. But you only have so many of those hours in your lifetime. So I'm spending my life, no matter what the cost is, I'm spending my life to give you something that I hope and pray that you'll like. And because Christmas and Thanksgiving, those are huge times. And even New Year's, huge times for my family. So anytime I give you anything, I'm giving you my life. Yeah. A portion of my life that I've spent my life money on in hopes that you'll like it. Right? Yeah. So there's all those things that are put into perspective that the minute you're born, you're dying. And the minute that I give you something, no matter if it costs me money, but
it costs you time.
It costs me time.
Right, which is
life.
Have whatever amount of, we don't know.
Yeah, we don't know that in time. It costs me time to give you that. And that time is my life. And I hope you enjoy this.
Does your family listen to this podcast? Or do you know?
They used to.
Okay.
Again, I don't know if they.
But again, I hope they do, and I hope they,
100%
hear this and know that you want to, whatever, make things right.
100%
get back. So
go ahead, Blake.
No,
go ahead. I'm done. Go ahead. I gotta pee. Go ahead.
No, he's fixed to go.
All right, so you need to leave your headphones on for this.
I'm listening.
All right, so
I'll stay.
This is something I stole, but it's not. I'm not stealing it. So the beginning of a new day. And this is the first time I heard it was University of Alabama. Gosh damn it! Why am I?
Bear Bryant.
Bear Bryant. Sorry. Okay.
Just
he's
you
the
just
first.
threw it out?
Yeah. Bear Bryant. So he's the first one that I heard say this, and then I sure enough heard Lou Holtz say it, and I was like, man, I like that a lot. They stole it both from pretty much an unknown author. It sits on my mirror in my bathroom. Not kidding. It sits above my desk in my office, and it has sat in previous offices I've had for 20 plus years. And it's the beginning of a new day. This is the beginning of a new day. God has given me this day to use as I will. I can waste it or I can use it for good. What I do today is very important because I am exchanging a day of my life for it. And that's the part that I am exchanging what I do today for a day of my life. So how valuable is that to you?
Oh, yeah.
When tomorrow comes, this day will be gone forever, leaving something in its place that I have traded for it. Mm-hmm. So I'm trading what I do today
for a day of your life.
For a day of my life. I want it to be gain, not loss, good, not evil, success, not failure, in order that I shall not regret the price that I paid for it. So,
Gosh, damn.
what do I trade a day of my life for? And what is the value of a day of my life? And then, yeah, is there going to be successes? Is there going to be failures? Is there going to be
Absolutely.
good times? Is there going to be bad times? But in the end, can I say that I did not only what I could do, but I had the ability to reconcile at the beginning of the day, that I understood that I'm going to trade the end of my day. And I think a lot of people get lost in the 9 to 5 or 8
Right.
to 4 or
Right.
6 to 5 or whatever your
Right.
your grind is, and then sometime at the end of the day, I think we all look up and say, "What did I do today?"
Right.
You don't
So
know.
you knowingly traded part of your day to do this podcast.
Yeah, which is
Well, it's like
significant
we touched
in
on it.
my value
Yeah,
of
right.
this.
Well, we
experience.
touched on it last week.
Thank you,
like,
Troy.
Last week, Daniel asked me, "What when you die,
Yeah.
when you pass away, what do you want to be remembered
What do you?
for?"
How do you want to be remembered when you
and
pass
I
away?
and I said, "My kids. I hope they had a good life, and I hope they loved their dad, and I hope they was a good dad,
Mhm.
was a good
Husband.
family man, husband, everything like that." God damn, I'm getting emotional.
I see you.
Your dad is special because you know you're old
Yeah.
Yeah.
when when it becomes obvious to you that your dad cared more about you being better than him.
We
See,
talked about that last week.
See, but like my family's, I guess my childhood's complicated.
It is.
We've talked about it.
Yeah.
No, whatever your tactile response,
Yeah.
like your response.
But I've
Yes.
always wanted to be a good dad.
Right.
Yeah, and
From what I've seen, you have been. I'll say that as from an
But-
outsider's
No,
perspective.
I
But
agree.
The
See,
the
'cause, I
family,
mean, I see
which
your
is weird,
daughters,
like
you
the,
know,
the
in high
family
school.
table. So we
You need
bought some
tissue.
Chess bought some stupid tall table. All the girls in my life are 5'1", right? That's the
No,
tallest. thing.
his table comes up to my
Yeah,
chest.
that-
I'm not a
that-
tall man,
you
but
know,
his table comes up to my
A
chest.
stupid tall table. Like when we bought it,
the
I'm
answer
like,
to
"What?"
that is tall chairs.
And I was like,
Right.
"What?" And we had those two in there. So we just recently, I got Chas a new table for her birthday. It's a low city one.
Okay.
And
It's
that's-
just a regular
Right.
table.
No,
Regular
Not
height.
for midgets or anything,
Yeah.
just a
But
normal
as
size.
soon as we bought it, we all started playing games as a family, board games
Okay.
again. Blew
Change
me
the
up.
dynamic.
Loved it.
Yeah.
I could care less about this stupid fucking phone.
Right.
I'm stupid.
Because you're hanging out with your family.
Yeah. And we've been doing that all the
Which
time.
turns out the time you spend with the ones you
Mhm.
love is more valuable than the time you spend looking at anything on your phone.
Mhm.
And that's what the kids these days don't understand. Like all they care about is who can I connect with?
Right.
Who's going to like my videos? Who's going to like my pictures? Who's going to do this?
And they're really not connecting with people in person anymore.
Yeah.
Right.
It's-
Right.
That's why I, told my
I think
kids
it's
are
I think it's
socially
very
stupid.
important though for us to understand that
I'm gonna go
that
pee.
it's not their fault,
It's not.
No.
and
I
that
don't blame
that
anyone
that
else.
design, and I don't know that it's our fault either. That design,
Mm-hmm.
everything that happens on this machine
Yeah.
is designed to draw you in.
Yes, for sure. Because I get caught in it. and I'm
Right.
like,
Yeah.
"God
All
damn
the
it."
time. And so it's not our kid's fault.
No.
It's not anybody else's fault. It's not the employee who, when you're issuing a safety, debrief that you believe is super important, and that if they F this up, like things are going to go bad and we're going to lose money, or one of us is going to lose our jobs or whatever, and they can't help but go, "Oh shit, did y'all see this one I got
Yeah.
on Twitter going here?"
Look at this
Yeah,
photo.
yeah. That's not their fault.
No.
That is the design of this machine and the
what's-
design of all the software on this machine. And so it's not our kids' fault either.
nobody.
But it's also our fault if we don't
Intervening,
try.
blocking it all.
Yeah,
right?
if we don't try to.
So that's what I loved about when we just started playing board games. We started doing it a bunch,
Mm-hmm.
and all of a sudden it became like a habit. 2 or 3 days a week,
Man, I
we were
like
sitting
that.
there playing board games, no phones. We're playing stupid Monopoly.
So we do that some, but
we taught our girls spades, and
Yeah.
they're like
we
trying
do
to
it
teach
very
them
much
that.
more like on vacation or,
Right.
or like holiday.
No, we
type
started
of-
that like at the house.
So the reason why I say it's our fault because, and maybe y'all talked about it. I don't know. I was peeing. It's our fault because when our kids were little,
We didn't cut it off.
well, no, when our kids were little, we'd go,
Here's the iPad.
Here's an iPad. Watch it.
right.
Watch this video.
100%.
What's the same?
Here's long car trips. Here's a whatever. Watch
It's
this.
the same concept.
DVD
Yeah, basically.
player on the back of the head.
And we're not saying it, but we're saying, shut up and let us get there.
It's the same concept. When
Shut
we're
up and let
little.
us get done with what we're doing. And then all of a sudden we're mad because now they're on their phone all the time and watching and seeing what everybody else is doing, and it's something we created.
Yeah.
As parents, we created because we wanted peace in the car. When our parents wanted peace in the car, but we didn't have this. All we had was look out the window, talk to mom and dad.
Are we there
Fight
yet?
fight with our brothers and sisters and whoever we had in the car. Fight with them. And are we there yet? How much longer? We're 30 minutes into the fucking 4-hour trip. Shut the fuck up.
Well, it's the same concept when we'd sit in front of the TV.
Right.
It's just now we got the TV in our hand.
But we didn't have the TV all day.
No, it's
We
way
had one
different.
TV in the house,
Or
and
limits.
we could watch.
And you watch in the living room, at least kind of.
Yeah, we could watch in the living room,
Yeah.
and then Saturday morning cartoons. We could watch whatever we wanted.
So that's one thing that I've stuck to.
And then mom and dad had the rest of the TV for the rest of the day.
Yeah, for sure. I got a book from my grandmother, my Meemaw, my dad's mom, very early when my first child was born, and I didn't really apply it to her, but I didn't know until my second child was born. And so now in my house, a 20th century, 21st century house with all the trappings that you could imagine.
The accoutrement.
Right, yeah. My 10-year-old does not have a television in her room, and it's because of the book I got that said, dads raising daughters or some shit like that. And one of the top 5 things: don't let your daughter have a TV in her room.
Fuck, I need to read that book then, because
But it was the paterfamilia, excuse me, like the starting point of here's where you're gonna start to lose connection with her because she's gonna bring it. Now that was written 20 years ago.
Right.
These weren't a part of
Right.
that, but it's the same principle.
Right.
And so that is one thing that's kind of hung with me a little
What's
bit.
funny is I told Daniel, we've talked about it. Y'all don't listen, obviously.
well,
but
they're
No,
100%.
zero. This is my first podcast.
Thank you.
me,
Brian used to
Except
be
for the
Long time listener.
stinky fish.
first time caller.
Yeah,
so
first
my
time
wife
Stinky
read
fish video. I was in on that.
So
Oh,
my
did
wife-
you see that?
Oh yes,
So,
it was
my
fantastic.
wife-
It was
who's-
fucking terrible, by the way.
All right. So my wife, who's my age, we're old, 43, whatever. Not old compared to some, but
Bitch.
You're younger than me.
no, she read
All of us.
She read like a little House on the Prairie book, like somebody wrote, right?
Yeah.
She's like, I never watched that. I was like, really? How can
Laura
you?
Ingalls Wilder.
I was like, how? Can
Right.
Yeah. I was like, how can you be like our age and never? Because I grew up watching
Michael
I
London.
think we all did.
Yeah.
A little bit. Like we don't want no episodes.
You didn't want to watch it, but that
Yeah.
was what was on.
Right.
So she's like, I want to watch it. So I looked up Peacock and I said they got all 9 seasons. So now every night, pretty much, it's me, the wife, and the daughter watching Little House on the
Dude.
Prairie.
So
and
you
we
were the-
started over.
That show's a banger too.
But
I love it.
I hated it.
I loved
I
it.
fall into it like you forget about everything. And to top it off, my wife and the 18-year-old daughter are doing word searches with highlighters and watching. I said, "When did y'all turn 90?" But I love it. It's they completely vanish, and then of course my 15-year-old is nowhere to be seen because
Yeah.
we try to get it
But-
to go down
and
there.
You take your wins where you can get them.
Yeah, right.
yeah.
And so that's like that's the reason why, and unfortunately this one is also, that's the reason why we talked last week about, because I had 2 guys here that raised a daughter. He had 2. The other guy that was here, Dave, he has 1 daughter, but also a son that's younger, Blake.
Oh,
Blue.
Oh, David Blue. Okay.
David Blue.
Gotcha. All right.
Yeah. But I'm sitting here with 3 guys that both have 2 daughters, no sons.
Oh boy.
And I have a older son, younger daughter, and I'm like, how did y'all fucking do it? And I'm asking those 2, how did y'all fucking do it? And then here I am sitting with 3 gentlemen that all 3 have 2 daughters. How the fuck did y'all do it?
Man,
And very close in age, to be honest.
Right.
My youngest
Yeah.
is a little bit younger.
Yeah.
My oldest is the
Same
same, as
age?
his,
Yeah.
a little bit younger than his, but really very
so
parallel.
Blake, I guess, has the oldest.
Yeah.
Because yours
she's
graduated
fixed-
last year, right?
Yeah, she's
Or your
fixed
oldest
to,
one.
she's fixed
Well,
to be 19.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then,
And
So
then
I have an
Taylor,
18, so-
Taylor's 15.
right.
Yeah, and then Seth and I have
But
18-year-olds essentially are seniors. But
What's the split between your kids?
Mine is about to be 18 and turned 10 in.
So 8 years?
yeah.
And
Yours is close.
18 and 15.
Yeah.
I
Well,
feel like
yeah,
ours
yeah.
like 3 years.
Yeah, 3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just raising a daughter,
Daniel doesn't even hit that spot. Yet.
Dude.
That's what I was telling him.
and right now, like she's 8th grade, junior
I
high,
said junior high's
and it
ruthless.
fucking sucks.
Sure.
That's the worst.
But
stage.
that's the case with both
because
of
there's a turn to where
Yeah.
they're daddy's buddy and
Yeah.
all that, and
Yeah.
then all of a sudden
They
they're
hate
a
you.
shithead. They
Yeah.
they hate you. And
No,
it's
I had
like,
to- I had to-
They
anything I
circle
say
back,
is stupid.
Yeah, that's what I
That's
told
what
him.
that's what I'm waiting for.
That's what I
They
told him. I
circle
said,
back.
And Caroline did circle back. Kate, somewhat,
She's
but she's
close to
still
the transition.
can
But
be
she's
a
still
turd.
younger, right?
Yeah, she's still young.
I mean, she's a sophomore, but she's 15. So
Yeah.
she's a summer kid. We
Yeah.
started early, but man, junior high. I'm telling
It's
you,
ruthless,
Kate,
man.
Kate was my daddy's.
Yeah.
She was the boy I didn't have. You know what I mean? She was
Yeah.
like, she was cool. You know, just all this kind of stuff. And then junior high hit, and again, anything I said was stupid. You know, just dad,
yeah.
shut up, whatever. And again, she's kind of starting to circle back some, but Caroline was kind of the same way. Caroline's super sweet.
She's your older one, right?
Yeah, she's the older one. So
Senior?
senior in high school, super sweet girl.
Same as yours, right?
But in junior high, she changed too. And it's that age. I don't know what the
No, 100%.
science behind it is, but
the
man,
junior high spot is when they
it's a weird deal.
when
It's
you're
gonna-
stupid, they didn't want to talk to
No.
you.
It's going to break me even worse because my older one will be out of the house and my younger one's 10. So I've got another year,
yeah.
2, 3.
Golly.
And then all of a sudden one day it's going to be like that. And then there won't be another one
Yeah.
for
Right,
me
yeah.
to,
Yeah,
to go
There's
over
no,
to.
There's no buffer.
No, I'll just be
Yeah.
like hanging out
Yeah.
by myself, like doing this, me and the
Right.
dog.
Right.
But that being said, so I don't have boys, but with you and Tristan, like, were there ever times like where like he's testing you, like where like you thought maybe you're about to have to throw down or anything, or you know what I mean? Like I didn't raise boys, so I don't know, but
Right.
with that dynamic with the
So
teenage
so
kid
with
and,
my
you know,
son, and I made it very simple and very clear with him. Once testosterone and
Yeah.
and you know all those shit
yeah, he's super athletic
started,
kid.
yeah.
And, you know,
Once all that shit started hitting, and he started really bucking up
Yeah.
and wanting to really fight the family dynamic. And I said, dude, I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm not gonna put up with your shit, but I'm gonna tell you right now. You've got 3 chances in your life to whoop my ass.
Okay.
I said, and I'm only gonna give you 3, because, and the same thing my dad did to me and his dad did to him. 3 chances, because the first time is when you're full of that fucking testosterone. And you think I'm gonna whoop my dad's ass, right? And you're so little that it's just all starting. And you think you can do it, and you just
Can't do it. All right.
And then number 2 is gonna come like high school age. So like
When
all that
he's
it's like
physically
junior high,
maybe able to.
physically able to, but is reluctant to,
Right.
right? And he may try, but I'm still gonna overpower him. And the third time in his life is going to be when I'm too old and he wants to, but he won't do it. Which is exactly like, I swear to God, what happened with me and my dad. When I was in like around junior high, I wanted to whoop his ass because he's telling me I can't fucking do some shit and fucking, you don't know what I can do, Dad. And he just overpowered me because I'm a young, bullshit, lanky kid and I just don't know what the fuck I'm doing. And the second time I was lifting weights and I'm strong and I'm a fucking full of piss and vinegar and I can fucking take you, Dad. And no, I can't, because he has dad's strength,
Right.
which is a thing that I
And
taught my son.
experience and all
Yeah,
of that.
the thing I taught my son, dad's strength, which I'll go into that here in a minute. And the last time when my dad pissed me off enough where I wanted to whoop his ass, like I was 18, 19 years old. And I'm like, Dad, I'm not fucking putting up with your shit anymore. You're not going to tell, I'm a man now and you're not going to tell me what the fuck to do. But I couldn't. Because now, granted, my dad's 50, I'm 80, so he's 30 years older than me. So at 19, I mean, he's 40, 39, 49 years old. And I'm like, but you're an old man, and I respect you too much and I love you too much, and I'm not going to do it. Even though I wanted to fucking whoop your ass, Dad, get the fuck out of my house, whatever apartment that I'm living in, get the fuck out of my apartment, but I'm not going to fucking put my hands on you, Dad, because I love you too much and I won't do it. And those are 3 times in my life, and my son has gone through 2 of those already. One he hasn't gone through, and I hope he never goes through, because I don't want those 1, 2, 3 times to happen. But the first time when I told him that, he was like, well, I'm ready now to whoop your ass.
let's go.
Let's go. And I'm like, okay. And I just pinned him, and he's like, okay, I'm done. And but with boys, it's just a matter of, I'm not trying to show you. I want you to be better than me in all aspects of life. With my son, be better than me, and even my daughter, be better than me in all aspects of life. Because that's I want you to be. I don't want you to be me, or I don't want you to live my life. I don't want you to do what I did. I want you to be better than me in everything you do.
Yeah, and you want to help them to be better.
That's
I mean,
the
right.
measure. That's the measuring
100
stick of paternity, right?
Right,
Is-
100%.
Just be better than me.
Just be better than me, no matter
Got a
what.
better life than I had. Go.
Right. But if you don't make it there when you think you should, just know I'm here to help you
Sure.
reach that level.
Yeah.
And with the son, it was so much easier because I knew what he was going through. I knew, testosterone and puberty, and I'm with it. But with a girl, I'm just fucking lost. And we've talked about this 100 times on this podcast about how I'm lost with a daughter and I don't know what the fuck to do and blah blah blah. But I always reach out to people that have a daughter and have gone through it and say, is something wrong? Am I doing something wrong
No.
as a dad? Is there something I can do better to help to help get through this bullshit?
She's gonna go to the mother and tell
Yeah,
her all kinds
100%.
of stuff and not tell you nothing.
But I
And
guarantee your daughter, whether you realize it or not, looks up to you and
For
stuff
sure,
like that.
sure. Yeah, no.
And whatever, you know what I mean? Again, whatever you feel that she's not showing you love or not showing you whatever, it will turn around.
It's just
It
the
will.
lack of conversation at all.
Yeah.
She's 14. It's just the
Yeah, I'm
And-
telling
and I
you,
know-
it's
I
the
know
age,
where
but I'm
you're
telling
a
you,
It's a black hole for
I'm
sure.
telling you, she looks up to you.
I know we're a year or two from getting through that
Right.
shit.
Dude, kids will make you feel like a crazy
Yeah.
person. I mean, they
Oh,
really
fuck.
will.
I was-
There's-
I was-
there's
I
times
had
I'm
a
like,
hard-
What am I doing?
I
Like,
had a hard time when my girls weren't talking to me. Like, especially the oldest one's gone through it, and now she's on the back end where she hangs out with us. But my wife realized that I was having a hard time with her. Not like I would push it too hard, and be like, "Hang out with me, like talk to me. You're my daughter." She didn't want
Try
to
and
say
be way too
yeah,
cool.
she don't want to say anything to me, like, and I get mad because she didn't want to talk. And she's like, "I went through it too. She goes, I can even remember it. For some reason, I didn't want to talk to my parents. Period, especially my dad, for no reason. Like she said, I can't even remember why I was mad at him, but I didn't want to talk to him.
And like my daughter will cry. And she's like, I'm
Yeah.
like, why are you crying? She's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck is that?
Their
Dude, it's a
hormones
weird-
are going.
it's a weird
crazy.
deal, man.
Yeah.
So
And
just let it pass and make sure she talks to her mom, and
Yeah.
you'll be fine. And they come out there like Audrey now. Like I said, we watch Little House on the Prairie and do crosswords. Awesome.
Y'all are dorks. You're
Oh, she,
I'm out on Little House on the Prairie.
No, when we were walking it, she's like, "What happened to my life? I watched Little House on the Prairie
It's a
with
good
my
show.
parents."
I'm telling you, good show.
And I was like, "But it's cool. You're hanging out with us." She's like, "It's cool for y'all." She goes, "You're old." She goes, "No." Her words were, "You're in your 40s. I'm 18." I said, "What's that supposed to mean?" "You're old."
Mm.
I was like,
All right.
I don't care if you call me old. Oh wait, one more shout out.
Okay.
I guess it's just it's a weird shout out, but my Aunt Nancy, my great Aunt Nancy, passed away today.
Oh,
Sorry to hear that.
I hate to hear that, buddy.
She was my grandmother Ann, Kenny's mom, my
Okay.
mom's mom. She was a sibling of 11 kids.
Jesus
Wow.
Christ.
And Nancy passed away today. She was the last one. She was the second to the oldest.
Wow.
She was 86 in Poteet, Texas, down by San Antonio,
Mm-hmm.
I know exactly
where
where
the
it is.
Strawberry
George Strait was
Festival.
born. Yeah.
Strawberry
The
Festival.
Pirates.
She passed away today at 86. She was the last sibling. So, love you, Aunt Nancy, and I'll see you on the other side.
Shout out for my high school football coach, Blake Cooper. He had a heart transplant today.
Oh,
Oh shit.
Yeah, he's mid-70s, I believe. And about 6 to 8 months ago, I noticed that he was getting old man skinny, right, on Facebook pictures. And I just assumed that was old man skinny. Well, no, it was because he knew that he needed to get himself to a point where he could be a viable candidate for it. And the other day I threw out on Facebook, and a bunch of my friends replied to me from a very ragamuffin, like I'm talking about knothead kind of group that I had when I was in high school, very much akin, I'm sure, to Mineral Wells, that, you know, he spent all his heart on making knotheads like me, knuckleheads like me, you know, do something better, and
Wow.
just wore it out. And
Wow.
needs a new one. So today had one successful. Now, of course, that's a long process.
Recovery, yep.
But today successful, and so I hope he hears this, and I hope
Tell him.
that's going to be something that he can wear the next one out.
Wow.
Doing the same thing.
Dude, that's awesome.
Oh, well, tomorrow's my niece's birthday, Crystal, and also my father-in-law's birthday. So I guess shout out to them and happy birthday. I don't know that they'll listen to this, but
Doubtful.
happy birthday to them. And,
I mean, if you tell him.
Blake Cooper will 100% not make it to this point. The number of F words that have come out before. I know.
Just tell them listen to the end.
Yeah.
Say, don't listen to it all. Start
Yeah,
it
right.
and then skip to the end, listen to the end. Be good.
Heck yeah.
and then I was going to play the Little House on the Prairie theme song.
Oh, awesome.
Go ahead and
I have
play
that
it.
on my phone for
Go ahead
some
and play it out.
What's funny, when they first started watching this was without me, and I was like, oh, damn, I
She's
flashed.
is this where she's running down
Yeah.
the hill?
Yeah,
Yeah.
all three of them. I
the flowers,
flashed back to like being like 10. I was like, God damn.
Well, happy birthday.
Yeah, tomorrow.
Crystal.
Oh,
Crystal and Donnell, my father-in-law.
happy birthday tomorrow.
Yep, tomorrow.
I don't know why we're
When
saying
the,
this
when the
today.
Chiefs wait.
No, Sunday.
No,
Yeah,
that's
that's
Sunday.
Sunday. Tomorrow.
Also, should be Saturday, not Sunday.
Yeah.
A whole other 30-minute conversation.
Yeah.
Congratulations on the new heart. Hope their recovery is just as well.
Heck yeah.
And I'm sorry, Blake. I
Yeah.
didn't know that. Thank you. We should.
Yeah.
Was this why
I
you
just-
had all that pent up?
I guess, I don't know. But
You started. You
That
started.
and the daughters thing.
Yeah,
the
the
daughter,
thing.
thing always chokes. I can talk about kids and choke up all the damn time.
I know.
You
Idiot.
do the same thing.
Hey, it's gonna be a long one. We appreciate you listening. Thank you too for coming in, though. Thank you, Seth Hobbs.
Yep.
Thank you, Brian
Of course.
Shoemaker.
Oh, we said y'all's names. Shit.
That's fine.
Blake.
I think we started with that.
Yeah,
So.
yeah.
Who's
we did.
Blake?
Blake, go fuck yourself. And we'll see you later. Bye.
Like-
See you guys.